Data tag equals fine recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930 slash TT keyword add. However, Suluo did not comfort her at this time. Just because she was willing to follow Yi Zairamu, Suluo would never treat her badly. Okay, that's it. Sister Yahu will be at Luohua Entertainment tomorrow. I'll take Zairamu to terminate the contract. Suluo looked at Tanya and asked. I guess it's Yang Zairadong. He's very popular in the company recently, Tanya said. Okay, let's go meet him tomorrow morning. Suluo smiled. I'll pick you up tomorrow morning, said Tanya. Okay, let's do it earlier tomorrow, say 7:30, so we can finish it earlier and start again earlier. Suluo pulled Yi Zairamu up and said, We're leaving first, Mayo Mio. Come with us. Suluo looked at Lu Mayo Mio and said, Oh, Lu Mayo Mio nodded immediately and followed Yi Zairamu out. Liu Liu. Yi Zairamu looked at Suluo in confusion, curious why he called Mayo Mio. Mayo Mio, can you drive? Suluo asked when they reached the door. Yes, Mayo Mio nodded. Okay, let's go buy a car first, otherwise it will be inconvenient, Suluo said with a smile, then pulled Yi Zairamu to the side of the road and hailed a taxi. The three of them got in the car and drove towards the auto city. Mayo Mio, how old are you? Suluo, who was sitting in the passenger seat, asked Lu Mayo Mio in the back seat. Brother-in-law, I'm 23 years old. What, older than me? Suluo looked at Lu Mayo Mio in surprise. Pachai, Yi Zairamu laughed out loud. After all, when Suluo and Lu Mayo Mio got along, Lu Mayo Mio looked like a younger sister. It seems so, Lu Mayo Mio said uncertainly. Okay, are you a native of Shanghai? Suluo asked curiously. No, I'm from the countryside. Lu Mayo Mio lowered her head as she spoke. How long have you been an assistant? Suluo asked curiously. She didn't mention Yi Zairamu's name. After all, they were in a taxi. It's been more than 2 years. Lu Mayo Mio thought for a moment and spoke. Yes, after I changed the contract, she followed me, Yi Zairamu added. I understand. Suluo didn't say anything else. 10 minutes later, the three got off the bus. Zairamu, what kind of car do you like? Suluo looked at Yi Zairamu with a smile. I'm fine with either, Yi Zairamu replied with a smile. Okay, then let's just pick one at random, Suluo said, and took Yi Zairamu's hand and walked into the nearby Porsche for Son's store. Sir, madam, would you like to buy a car? As soon as I entered the store, a female sales manager came to greet me. Yes, Suluo nodded. Are there any cars you like? The space is bigger and more comfortable. In the end, Yi Zairamu chose the new Cayenne, an SUV. In order to avoid attracting attention, Suluo took out her ID card and registered the car under his name. Including the license plate, it costs nearly 3 million. Twin turbocharged 4T. Mayo Mio. Suluo smiled and handed the key to Lu Mayo Mio. Okay, brother-in-law. Lu Mayo Mio took the key and sat in the driver's seat. Suluo and Yi Zairamu sat in the back row. Zairamu, do you want to go see the house? After getting in the car, Suluo looked at Yi Zairamu and asked. Are you going to buy it today? Yi Zairamu asked. If it's suitable, you can buy it, Suluo said with a smile. Then, the three of them took a fancy to a villa in the Giyuanting Villa area, next to the Jinxiu community. Giyuan Court, Villa number 36, white European style, 2-story duplex villa, total area 688 square meters. Finely decorated, move-in ready. There are 2 master bedrooms and 6 guest bedrooms on the second floor, all with separate bathrooms. The first floor includes a kitchen, dining room, living room, study, and 2 guest bedrooms. The total price is 84 million, with a courtyard at the door and 10 parking spaces. Suluo and Yi Zairamu both felt that this place was suitable for them, so they bought it in full without much hesitation. During this period, Yi Zairamu was also prepared to pay money, although not that much, but still 40 million, but was stopped by Suluo. I'm planning to convert the 2 guest rooms on the first floor into a recording studio and a piano room. Liu Liu, what do you think? After completing the formalities, the three of them walked into the villa. Yi Zairamu took Suluo's hand and said excitedly, Sure, no need to ask for my opinion, this will be our home from now on. Suluo nodded and said with a smile, Yeah, then I'll contact Sister Yo and ask her to help me arrange it. Yi Zairamu said as she was about to contact Tanya. Wait a minute, Zairamu, Suluo said, stopping. Yi Zairamu glanced at Mayo Mio and then pointed to the sofa in the living room. Let's go over there and talk. Looking at Yi Zairamu's puzzled eyes, Suluo said. Suluo sat alone on the sofa at the side, while Yi Zairamu and Lu Mayo Mio sat together. What's wrong, Liu Liu? After taking a seat, Yi Zairamu looked at Suluo curiously. Mayo Mio has been an assistant for more than 2 years, right? Suluo did not answer Yi Zairamu's words, but looked at Lu Myomio and asked. Yes, Lu Myomio nodded. You should be familiar with the work of an agent, right? Su Luo asked directly without keeping the question in suspense. Ah, Lu Myomio's heart moved, and she looked at Su Luo in confusion. Yi Xiaomu, who was standing by, immediately understood Su Luo's thoughts. She suddenly felt that she might have been a little stupid recently and had ignored Myomio beside her. Maybe it was because I was used to Myomio being by my side all the time, so I subconsciously ignored her. Chapter 102, System Optimization. It's just as you thought. I want you to be Xiaomu's agent. Of course, you can still serve as her assistant for the time being. Su Luo said to Lu Myomio with a smile. Can I? Lu Myomio said hesitantly. You can definitely do it, Myomio. I'm sorry I ignored you. Yi Xiaomu looked at Lu Myomio and said apologetically. Sister Xiaomu. Lu Myomio held Yi Xiaomu's arm and called sweetly. Then it's settled. Let Myomio arrange the first thing, which is to renovate the recording studio and piano room, Su Luo said with a smile. Should we talk to Sister Ye? Yi Xiaomu asked. Tell her about it, Su Luo nodded. Then Yi Xiaomu picked up the phone and started communicating with Tanya. It's getting late, let's go back first. After Yi Xiaomu hung up the phone, Su Luo stood up and said. The three of them walked to the parking space, and Su Luo sat directly in the driver's seat. Myomio, when the company is established, I will arrange a car for you, Su Luo said with a smile. It's okay, Lu Myomio waved her hand. You should. You need to train hard and become a top agent in the future, surpassing Sister Ye. Yi Xiaomu touched the head of Lu Myomio, who was sitting in the back row, and said with a smile, Sister Xiaomu, don't worry, I will try my best. Lu Myomio nodded seriously. Su Luo first sent Lu Myomio to Tanya's house, and communicated with Tanya again in person about Lu Myomio being the agent. Tanya agreed. After all, Su Luo asked Tanya to come here, and her primary task was definitely not to be an agent, but to manage the company. Although Su Luo knew a thing or two about management under the influence of Su Siyuan, he didn't want to work too hard for the company all day long. Myomio, you go up first. I want to talk to Sister Ye, Su Luo said to Lu Myomio. Okay, brother-in-law, Lu Myomio said and ran upstairs. Sister Ye, you still need to take care of Myomio. Even though you are no longer Xiaomu's agent, I promise that you will make a lot of money from your 10% stake, Su Luo said seriously. After all, Xiaomu received the notice and originally split the profits with the company in a 3-7 ratio. After that, she would split it with Tanya again, so she could still get 15%. Now it only has 10% of the shares, but the artists have not changed. Although Tanya accepted it and stated that other artists will take their share normally, it is obvious that it is losing money now. It's okay, don't think I'm at a loss. In fact, I think I've made a profit. After all, you Su Luo are also an artist under the company, Tanya said with a smile. That's good, Xiaomu and I will go back first. You don't need to pick us up tomorrow. Let's meet downstairs of the company at 8 o'clock. Su Luo nodded and continued speaking. Okay. Sister Ye, see you tomorrow. Yi Xiaomu said goodbye to Tanya. See you tomorrow. When he got back into the car, Yi Xiaomu was already sitting in the passenger seat. Wife, let's go home. Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu smiled at each other. Well, let's go home. Yi Xiaomu smiled sweetly. Half an hour later, Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu arrived home. Mom and Dad, we bought a house in Giyuanting next door. Su Luo greeted Yi's father and mother with a smile. It's the villa, Mom, let me show you, it's so beautiful. Yi Xiaomu added with a smile, then sat next to Sun Tingting with her mobile phone. Yi Zhenhua's curiosity was also aroused. He leaned against Yi's mother and kept looking out. It looks very nice and it doesn't look cheap, Sun Tingting exclaimed. That's right, it's almost a small goal, 84 million, Yi Xiaomu said with a smile. This, Sun Tingting and Yi Zhenhua were so shocked that they were speechless. But it has been detected that the host has already purchased a wedding house. Faced with such an empty room, please choose. 1. Invite Yi's parents to live with you and receive God-level music theory knowledge as a reward. 2. Invite Su's parents to live together and optimize the reward system. Su Luo looked at the options given by the system, and an idea occurred to her. System optimization. System, what will happen after this system is optimized? Unknown. Oh my gosh, I feel like I want both. Now that I have the music theory knowledge, I can redeem the song reward card from before and then make the song. Tongzi, these two options don't conflict. Can we choose both? Yes, host. Then select all. Choose successfully, and you'll be rewarded with God-level music theory knowledge, the additional ability of absolute pitch, and an optimized reward system. The system is optimizing 1%, 50%, 100%. System optimization is successful. In less than a second, the system had completed the optimization, which made Su Luo feel that the optimized content seemed to be not much. System optimization is complete. After selecting a task to trigger, you can determine the type of reward. Tongzi, this optimization is very good, but the quest triggering mechanism is not optimized. Bad review. Host, the direction of system optimization is random. I understand. I don't blame you, be more sensible next time. Host, just watch me do it. Su Luo felt happy in her heart, and then she withdrew her mind. Looking at Yi's father and mother who were still in shock, Su Luo spoke. Dad, Mom, there are a lot of rooms over there, why don't you move there? Su Luo invited. Yeah, why don't you move there? Yi Zairamu on the side also echoed. We won't go to your new home. Besides, it's not far away. If I miss you, we can just run a few steps and get there. Sun Tingting waved her hand and refused with a smile. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu invited them twice more, but Yi's father and mother still did not agree, and finally the matter was dropped. Su Luo then called home and invited her parents to move in, but was similarly rejected because they moved to Shanghai just to be neighbors with their in-laws. If we move out, wouldn't it be a waste to buy this house, which cost several million? Therefore, the invitation has been sent out, and whether or not you agree in the end will not affect the outcome of the task. Zairo Luo, when are you planning to move in? Yi Zhenhua asked when he saw Su Luo coming back after the phone call. Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu. The two of them had never discussed this issue before. Moreover, Su Luo always felt that it was not appropriate for her to move out. Dad, we plan to move there after Kingaming returns from Zishi. Yi Zairamu blinked at Su Luo, then said to Yi Zhenhua. Okay, Yi Zhenhua nodded. Neither he nor Sun Tingting objected. Then Mom and Dad, I'll go cook. Su Luo stood up and said at this time. Zairo Luo, sit down and chat with your dad. You can cook occasionally. We are here, so there is no need for you to be busy. Sun Tingting immediately stood up and stopped Su Luo. Otherwise, why do they say that a mother-in-law loves her son-in-law? Chapter 103, Limited Love. On this side, when Yi Zhenhua saw Sun Tingting leave, he immediately winked at Su Luo and said, Zairo Mu, watch TV for a while. Zairo Luo, come with me to the balcony to smoke a cigarette. Dad, aren't you afraid that my mom will scold you? Yi Zairamu looked at Yi Zhenhua, who looked like he was addicted to smoking. Why are you talking about me? What's wrong with me smoking a cigarette with my brother-in-law? Yi Zhenhua said proudly. Aren't you afraid that your brother-in-law will cheat you again? Yi Zairamu teased, thinking of what happened the day before yesterday. Zairo Luo, can you do it? Yi Zhenhua turned around and looked at Su Luo with half belief and half doubt after hearing this. Absolutely not, Su Luo said righteously. But it has been detected that Yi Zhenhua has doubts about the host's behavior. Please specify the reward direction first. 1. Money shares. 2. God-level skills. 3. Entertainment works. 4. Other options. Is there no system optimization? Su Luo thought to herself. Not on this mission. After buying the house, Su Luo still had over 20 million yuan left, and she still needed money to set up a company. Although his skills are very good, he already has quite a few skills, which are enough for now. As for his entertainment works, he currently has 10 songs and a serialized Zhu Xian Zhuan on hand. With 10,000 words per day, it will take nearly 5 months to complete. Pick one. The selection was successful. Since only one option was chosen, the rewards for the mission selection are all in the form of monetary shares. 1. Criticize Yi Zhenhua for smoking and receive a cash reward of 100 million yuan. 2. Accompany Yi Zhenhua to smoke on the balcony. Reward, 1% of Luohua entertainment shares. Su Luo looked at the two choices. Is there any need to hesitate? Master Taishan, please forgive me. Choose one. Successful selection will reward 100 million Chinese yuan. Cash source, 125 million from virtual currency sales and 25 million from taxes. The choice has been made. Su Luo looked at Yi Zhenhua, who looked relieved, with 9 parts of guilt and 1 part of determination flashing in her eyes. And 90 points of righteousness. Dad, I will never let you smoke. Zairamu is pregnant now, I have to tell Mom about this. Yi Zhenhua looked at Su Luo, who was changing her face like Sichuan opera with a look of disbelief. Yi Zairamu, who was standing next to her, was also shocked by Su Luo's appearance and reached out to push Su Luo. What are you doing? Haha, Dad, did I really act like a righteous man just now? Su Luo immediately looked at Yi Zhenhua in a flattering manner and spoke. Just complete the task. If you really piss off your father-in-law, you'll be in big trouble. The corner of Yi Zhenhua's mouth twitched. I'm afraid my son-in-law has a serious brain disease. I was craving for a cigarette and asked him to have one, but he turned out like this. Stop it, you scared my dad. Yi Zayamo put his hand on Su Luo's waist and said in a low voice, You little bastard, come here and smoke with me. Yi Zhenhua shouted helplessly, then walked towards the balcony. Tongzi, let's not play the reverse next time, it's too embarrassing. Su Luo thought to herself. The missions are random. I understand, you just need to remember my request. Dad, I'm here. Su Luo shouted, then turned around, blew a kiss to Yi Zayamo and walked to the balcony. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals recommended products. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. After smoking and eating, Su Luo and Yi Zayamo returned to the room, and Su Luo sat at the computer typing. Yi Zayamo was beside her, squeezing Su Luo to the right. Su Luo felt her small movement and moved her upper body to the left. Two people, you touch me and I push you. Yi Zayamo found this particularly interesting, and her eyes narrowed with a smile. Su Luo's typing speed did not slow down, and even became faster. I haven't heard you sing for a long time, Su Luo said softly while typing. Yi Zayamo looked at Su Luo's serious profile, with a slight smile on his lips, thinking that the time was just right. What do you want to hear? I'll sing for you. A gentle voice came out of Yi Zayaramu's mouth. Well, I think it sounds a bit sweet, Su Luo said with a smile. A bit sweet, Yi Zayaramu wondered. Su Luo just used a song reward card. Limited love. Song reward card 1 used successfully. Reward song. A little sweet. Then let me teach you. Su Luo turned to look at Yi Zayaramu and said with a smile. Yi Zayaramu's eyes lit up when she heard this. She knew Su Luo was good at composing original works, so this song. This is, follow my lead, pick an apple and wait for you to pass by. Pick an apple and wait for you to pass by the door. It's you who made me see a flower bloom in the dry desert, and it's you who made me want to write a love song for you every day. Yi Zayamo smiled sweetly while learning. How is it? After singing it once, Su Luo asked. It sounds nice. Yi Zayamo kept nodding her head. It sounded nice. Can you sing now? Hee, I didn't remember the lyrics, Yi Zayamo said with a smile. I'll write it down for you. Su Luo found a pen and paper and began to write lyrics. Looking at Su Luo bending over the table and writing seriously, Yi Zayaramu supported her chin with her small hands and watched. Suddenly, Yi Zayaramu seemed to remember something, took out his cell phone, took a photo of Su Luo, nodded, and said this one was okay. Next, I turned on the front camera and took a picture of myself. I needed to edit this picture, so I opened the photo editing software, adjusted the tone of the photo, and beautified the lighting. Of course, how can a girl's photo not be retouched? Su Luo's is an example. Yi Zayaramu looked at the two photos and smiled, then opened Weibo and edited her status. Yi Zayaramu, it was you who turned my world pink from that moment on. At Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. Click send. Very good. Yi Zayaramu happily put away her phone. Wow, Mumu is showing off their affection. I love this profile, but I still like Miu Miu. Suzai is too handsome. I admit that I can't compete with you. The background colors of the two photos are different. I have reason to suspect that one of them was beautified. So Mumu also uses beauty filters when taking photos. This is really leaving no room for those with average looks to survive. Mumu is ordinary, but at least he gave you a chance to survive. Madly. PFFD, did the person above watch the trailer for the celebrity couple? Miu Miu got flattened in the fall. Today's celebrity couples are so popular that even dogs won't watch them. Although Yi Zayaramu has not appeared in the past 2 days, this update still attracted the attention of many fans. When will Miu Miu show up, even if it's just to sing a song? Has Miu Miu been put on ice? I've finished writing it and I've divided it into sections. Take a look, Su Luo said, handing the paper in her hand to Yi Zayaramu. Liu Liu, are you going to sing a duet with me? Yi Zayaramu said with a smile. After the contract is terminated, I will write a song for you. Su Luo nodded and said with a smile. A little sweet. Lyricist, Wang Sulong. Composer, Wang Sulong. Original singer, Wang Sulong BY2. Chapter 104, Important Kiss, Kiss 3 times. Of course, Liu Liu, you're so awesome. Yi Zayaramu leaned forward excitedly and put his arms around Su Luo's neck. Well, he pressed it against Su Luo's face. What? Kiss 3 times for the most important kiss. Su Luo raised her hand and touched her face, then wiped it on her body. Yizayamu's expression changed instantly. You despise me. There's so much saliva, let me wipe it, Su Luo said with a deliberate smile. Ah, you despise me. Yizayamu went crazy and then her eyes rolled. He pulled Su Luo's head over, stuck out his little tongue, and pressed it against Su Luo's face again. Don't wipe it. After Yizayamu stepped back, he stared at Su Luo, who was about to raise her hand to wipe her face, and said angrily, There's saliva all over my face, Su Luo said, pointing to her left cheek. So you still dislike me? Yizayamu said coquettishly. What are you thinking about? How could I dislike you? Su Luo smiled and rubbed Yizayamu's head. Then I just kissed you and you wiped your face. Your kiss is too sweet. I'm afraid it will attract mosquitoes, Su Luo said and blinked at Yizayamu. Hateful, Yizayamu's face immediately turned red. I'm going to take a shower. Stop typing and stand up. Standing up a little flustered, Yizayamu walked towards the bathroom. Are you asking me to take a shower? Su Luo stood up with a smile. Go away, I'll wash myself today. Yizayamu, who was teased by Su Luo, pushed Su Luo hard. Okay, then you just need to be careful, okay? Su Luo did not force Yizayamu and reminded her gently. Yeah, Yizayamu's heart was still pounding at this moment. She picked up her pajamas on the bed and ran to the bathroom. I just posted a Weibo, remember to like it. Yizayamu opened the door, poked his head out, spoke with a smile, and then retracted his head. Su Luo looked at Yizayamu and smiled dotingly. She had typed 40,000 words in 3 hours that night, and with the previous drafts, she had already written 50,000 words. After setting the daily update schedule to 4 chapters, Su Luo turned off the computer. He walked to the window, sat on the tatami mat, then took out his cell phone and opened Weibo. Seeing Yizayamu's Weibo post, Su Luo couldn't help but smile and forwarded it. Su Luo, it's you who made my life depend on your cooperation from now on. At Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. As soon as Su Luo finished posting, he, who has more than 8 million followers, immediately started commenting. So sweet, I just love this CP. Yes, most of Su Luo's fans are CP fans. I'm jealous. My girlfriend won't let me make an official announcement. She hasn't come back yet and said she went to get her hair done. Su Luo, maybe it's because you're not her boyfriend. This haircut might not be a serious one. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. This is a sad story, but I can't help but want to laugh. My condolences. Love it, love it. This beautiful girl is perfect for me. Please ask Miu Miu if he minds you having another girlfriend. Su Luo, I King Su Hai have already come ashore, sister, you have no chance. Seaman Su, please put yourself in the right place and don't insult the Sea King. Su Luo was browsing Weibo and chuckling. He thought that these netizens were really funny. Liu, Yizayamu called out in the bathroom. Su Luo immediately put down her phone and walked to the bathroom door. What's wrong, Yizayamu? I feel a little dizzy, Yizayamu said softly. Su Luo became anxious when she heard this and immediately opened the door and walked in. The whole room was filled with fog. As the bathroom door opened, the fog began to dissipate, and then Su Luo immediately rushed towards Yizayamu. You took a shower for too long and there was no ventilation, so you're a little short of oxygen. How do you feel now? Su Luo supported Yizayamu and said gently. It's okay. As Su Luo opened the door, Yizayamu instantly felt comfortable. It just took me a long time to wash my hair, Yizayamu said softly with a pout, and then said worriedly. Will it affect the baby? For a moment, Su Luo felt a little worried. This was due to lack of oxygen. I don't know either. Come, put on your clothes first. I'll go find Mom. If that doesn't work, we'll go to the hospital. Su Luo nervously supported Yizayamu's soft body and helped her put on her pajamas. No, it's okay. I don't feel uncomfortable now. Yizayamu refused, saying that she was afraid that her parents would get worried and move over to take care of her, which would mean she would lose her world of two. Then let's go to the hospital tomorrow morning and ask. Su Luo looked at Yizayamu, who did not seem to be feeling unwell, and spoke. Then Su Luo helped Yizayamu out of the bathroom. Oh, I'm not disabled, don't worry. Seeing Su Luo's cautious look, Yizayamu acted coquettishly. I'll wash with you from now on. I'll wash your hair, you scared me to death. Seeing Yizayamu lying on the bed, Su Luo breathed a sigh of relief. Don't be so nervous, it's okay. You have to do everything with me from now on, got it? It's okay, Liu, don't be nervous. Come here, let sister hug you, Yizayamu said, sitting up and opening her arms. Su Luo bent down and let Yizayamu hug her. Don't worry, everything will be fine, Yizayamu said gently in Su Luo's ear, and then blew a breath. Su Luo's body trembled and her ears immediately turned red. She stood up straight. Well, I'm going to take a shower first. Su Luo fled in panic. At that moment, the radiance emitted by Yizayamu and the temptation of the breath blowing in her ear made Su Luo cry out in her heart that she couldn't bear it. Ha ha ha! Looking at Su Luo's expression, Yizayamu laughed out loud. Then he took out his cell phone, opened WeChat, flipped through it, and found someone named Cheng Yali. Zio Cheng Cheng, are you there? Hey, isn't this the newlywed Miss Mumu? Haha, you know everything. Yizayamu smiled and typed a reply. I'm just in seclusion writing my paper, not disconnecting from the internet. Tell me what's going on. If there's nothing wrong, I can't look for you. Then if you have the guts, don't say anything. Zio Cheng Cheng, I was wrong. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I just took a shower and I feel a little dizzy. Will it affect the baby? Cheng Yali, 29 years old, is a friend Yizayamu met in college. She studied medicine and is currently a doctoral student at the medical school. It won't have any effect for a short time, but you should pay attention to ventilation when taking a shower in the future. If you are worried, you can go to the hospital for a checkup. Thank you, Zio Cheng Cheng. I feel relieved when you say that. Mua, love you. Hey, you weren't like this before. Young women are really scary. The sweetness of love is not something that someone like you, who has been single since birth, can understand. Yizayamu replied with a smile. Chapter 105, Is It Beautiful? I can't stand the pain of love. Isn't studying good? Men will only slow down my operation. Studying medicine is so scary. I'm even worried that you might use your boyfriend as a test knife. Isn't this a basic requirement? Cheng Yali replied with a smile. If you want to be her boyfriend, then you should be used as a training ground by her. Isn't that normal? If he can't even do this, what's the point of having him? He might as well find a cucumber and practice his knife skills. Zio Cheng Cheng, when will you graduate? There are still 2 years left. Alas, I really can't find a boyfriend. Cheng Yali's reply sounded somewhat helpless. Is there no outstanding boy among your classmates? Yizayamu asked curiously. I'm a medical student myself, so I absolutely cannot choose a boyfriend who studies medicine. I'm afraid I'll become the target of his acupuncture. Is the acupuncture you are talking about the same as what I understand? Yizayamu covered her mouth and laughed. Does your husband know that you are so unrestrained? You guess. Chat records between best friends are usually deleted, and the content is definitely not something that a boyfriend or husband can see. Then the two chatted for a while, agreed to have dinner together when they had the chance, and then stopped talking. At this time, Su Luo had also walked out in her pajamas. Liu, don't worry, I just asked my friend and there's no problem. Yizayamu smiled and spoke when he saw Su Luo. Why don't we go for a checkup tomorrow? Su Luo lay on the bed, holding Yizayamu's hand and said softly, Don't worry, it's really okay. But if you're worried, go to the hospital tomorrow. As Yizayamu spoke, she leaned against Su Luo, her fingers gently sliding across Su Luo's hand. Go to sleep. Su Luo touched Yizayamu's smooth and tender belly, then held Yizayamu in her arms and closed her eyes. The night deepens. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add a new day. Su Luo, who was pushed to the edge of the bed, woke up in time. Looking at Yizayamu's unrestrained sleeping posture, Su Luo shook her head. Who would have thought that the goddess like Yizayamu would sleep in such a wild and unrestrained manner? Of course, her sleeping position must be corrected later, otherwise it will affect the baby. Su Luo propped up her upper body and moved in front of Yizayamu. Looking at her delicate face, Su Luo moved closer. Then Yizayamu slowly opened his eyes, blinked at Su Luo, then raised his head and kissed Su Luo. What time is it? Yizayamu asked softly. It's past 6. Then it's time to get up. The two walked to the bathroom in unison and washed up in tacit understanding. Su Luo took a towel and gently wiped the water off Yizayamu's face. Yizayamu raised her head and closed her eyes, letting Su Luo wipe her face. Feeling Su Luo's gentle movements, the corners of her slightly pursed lips curled up. Well, a reward. Yizayamu stood on tiptoe and kissed Su Luo on the cheek, then quickly ran back to the room to change clothes. Su Luo smiled and followed him out of the bathroom. When the two people walked out of the room, Yi's father and mother were already having breakfast in the restaurant. Dad, Mom, good morning. Zio Luo, Zio Mu, come and have breakfast, Sun Tingting said with a smile on her face. Okay, Mom. 30 minutes later, Yi's father and mother went out to work. At this time, Su Luo was helping Yizayamu comb her hair in the bedroom. Seeing Su Luo being so cautious as not to hurt her, Yizayamu smiled. I'll do it myself. It will be done soon. Su Luo grabbed the roots of her hair with one hand and combed it with the other. Yi Zaiamu's hair is of very good quality, black, smooth, and has a fresh fragrance. Yi Zaiamu was sitting in the mirror, smiling. Su Luo was dressing her carefully. She couldn't help but think of a line from a poem. After finishing her makeup, she whispered to her husband, "How deep or shallow are the eyebrows? Does it look good?" After simply styling her hair and applying some lotion, Yi Zaiamu turned to look at Su Luo and asked with a smile, "A stunning appearance. Haha, it's not that exaggerated. Let's go, sister, you should be here," Yi Zaiamu said with a big laugh. Su Luo nodded, stretched out her hand, let Yi Zaiamu hold it, and then they walked out of the room together. Downstairs, Tanya and Lu Maomia were already waiting. When they saw Su Luo and the others, they got out of the car and greeted them. "Sister Ye, let's go to the hospital first." Su Luo got in the car. "What's wrong?" "It's nothing serious. Zaiamu just felt a little dizzy last night and planned to go to the hospital to see a doctor," Su Luo explained. After consultation, there was no problem, just as Cheng Yali said. "Sister Ye, who is at Luohua Entertainment today?" Su Luo asked as several people got back into the car. "All 3 major shareholders are here. Yesterday, Tanya had already told Lu Ming in advance about the contract termination today, so all 3 major shareholders came today." "Okay," Su Luo nodded. This was the best way. Basically, the contract could be terminated on the same day. Luohua Entertainment's headquarters is on the 56th floor of the International Trade Building in Mo City. Su Luo walked in with a few people. "Sister Mumu." The receptionist saw Yi Zaiamu next to Su Luo and immediately smiled. "Hi, Zioling, is the chairman here?" Yi Zaiamu greeted. "Yes," Zioling nodded. "Okay, I'll go first." Yi Zaiamu nodded and spoke. Tanya took out her phone and called Lu Ming, the chairman of Luohua Entertainment. "Mr. Lu, we're here." "Okay," Tanya responded and hung up the phone. "Zio Luo, they are waiting for us in the conference room." "Let's go," Su Luo said, and followed Tanya to Luohua's large conference room. When I opened the door, I saw 3 people already sitting inside. This is Luohua's largest shareholder and chairman, Lu Ming, the second largest shareholder, Han Guodong, and the third largest shareholder, Yang Xiaodong. Tanya introduced the 3 people one by one. As the saying goes, in the workplace, people are very superficial, so they did not show any strange expressions at this time. "Let me introduce myself. I'm Su Luo, Yi Zaiamu's husband." Su Luo pulled Yi Zaiamu to sit opposite the 3 shareholders. "You all came here today to discuss Yi Zaiamu's contract termination, right?" After everyone sat down, Lu Ming spoke first. "Yes, Mr. Lu." Tanya sat next to Yi Zaiamu and nodded in response. "Then you should know that according to Yi Zaiamu's contract, if she terminates the contract early now, she will need to pay a penalty of 100 million yuan. Of course, this doesn't include the termination compensation for her endorsement contracts after her pregnancy was revealed some time ago. We paid that money in advance, totaling 80 million. The company had already decided to put Yi Zaiamu on ice, so Lu Ming was not surprised by Yi Zaiamu's termination of the contract, and he would not offer to retain her. Chapter 106, Add WeChat and Show You Something. We at Zaiamu didn't directly receive any contract regarding breach of contract for endorsement, but Director Lu said the penalty had already been paid. However, we, Zaiamu, did not entrust the company to handle the breach of contract, yet the company has already compensated for the breach of contract. So, can I understand that the endorsement company determined that Luohua Entertainment was the breaching party and had nothing to do with Zaiamu? In other words, it was actually Luohua Entertainment who proposed to terminate the contract. Therefore, we will not bear the 80 million yuan endorsement compensation. In the case of normal endorsement breach of contract, the spokesperson himself needs to confirm the breach of contract terms and agree to it before compensation or liquidated damages can be paid. If the person disagrees, either mediation or legal proceedings can be taken. The endorsement for Yi Zaiamu was not confirmed by Yi Zaiamu, but compensation was directly paid. This means that either it was an illegal operation or Yi Zaiamu was not the party in breach of contract. Obviously, Lu Ming also knew about this situation. If Yi Zaiamu terminated the contract, according to the contract, these endorsements would still belong to Yi Zaiamu. In fact, although Yi Zaiamu's pregnancy brought certain negative impacts, her endorsement contracts did not require termination. Instead, when Luohua Entertainment decided to put Yi Zaiamu on ice, it had already proposed to terminate the contract on behalf of Yi Zaiamu and the various endorsement companies, and paid compensation for breach of contract. Luohua Entertainment, without Yi Zayaramu's consent, directly bypassed Yi Zayaramu and proposed to terminate the contract with the endorsement company, such as the 5 endorsement contracts for Huawei mobile phones. The loss caused by this is nearly 50 million yuan. Here are the data and the lawyer's letter, Tanya said, handing over the documents in her hand. Of course, this 50 million is actually a fictitious value after conversion through some data and some fame. After all, the endorsement fee had already been paid. The subsequent sales volume had nothing to do with Yi Zayaramu. You, how dare you send us a lawyer's letter? Yang Xiaodong said angrily when he heard Tanya's words. Let's talk about the matter at hand. We must protect Zayaramu's interests. In that case, if you want to terminate the contract, you have to pay a penalty of 100 million yuan, Yang Xiaodong said. Director Yang, don't let your imagination run wild. The contract with the exorbitant penalty is inherently problematic. Regarding this, here's another lawyer's letter regarding the exorbitant penalty. Director Lu, please take a look, Tanya said, taking out another document and handing it over. Lu Ming took it calmly. In fact, Lu Ming and Han Guodong had no objection to Yi Zayaramu. To terminate the contract, they just needed to follow the contract. Therefore, these two people have not expressed their opinions yet, but Yang Xiaodong is very dissatisfied with this. After all, he actually stood with Li Yang from Brothers Entertainment. Otherwise, how could Li Yang be present at Yi Zayaramu's celebration party and even drug her? Then we'll go through legal procedures. However, if you offend Luohua Entertainment, I'm afraid your future will be difficult. Yang Xiaodong glanced at Lu Ming, and seeing that he didn't say anything, he took the initiative to speak. In fact, going through legal procedures is quite troublesome. Generally, a lawsuit involving liquidated damages may last for 1-2 years. This is actually not good for Yi Zayaramu's development. The reason why the lawyer's letter was sent out was to first make a gesture and speed up the termination of the contract. Mr. Lu, is this what you mean? Tanya ignored Yang Xiaodong and looked at Lu Ming and spoke. Lu Ming didn't say anything. After all, Yang Xiaodong was also a member of Luohua Entertainment, and he couldn't slap him in the face. You don't need to ask Director Lu. If you want to sue, then go ahead. We can afford it anyway, Yang Xiaodong said proudly when he saw that Lu Ming did not object to him. Tanya was speechless for a moment. After all, they definitely wanted to terminate the contract quickly. Although she had anticipated this situation, when it really came to this, she was actually a little undecided. Mr. Lu seems to trust Mr. Yang very much. He doesn't mind being used as a pawn, does he? Su Luo glanced at Yang Xiaodong, then looked at Lu Ming and said calmly, Su Luo, stop trying to sow discord. Yang Xiaodong stood up and said angrily, Director Lu, Director Han, I'm here today to terminate Xiaomu's contract. The peaceful termination of the contract will not cause any loss to Luohua now. Su Luo didn't even look at Yang Xiaodong, but looked at Lu Ming and Han Guodong with a smile. If you want to terminate the contract, just pay 100 million, Yang Xiaodong said loudly. It's so noisy. Su Luo picked her ears and then said casually. People who don't know would think Yang Xiaodong is the largest shareholder. Upon hearing this, Lu Ming turned around and glared at Yang Xiaodong. Even Han Guodong, who rarely spoke, glanced at him. Cough, Yang Xiaodong coughed dryly and sat down with a wry smile. No matter what, he is also a shareholder of our Luohua. If we take the liquidated damages according to his wishes, it will also benefit us, right? Lu Ming smiled and said that although Yang Xiaodong's words were harsh, Luohua would definitely get some liquidated damages in the end. As for public opinion, it has no impact on them. They neither discredited Yi Zayaramu nor breached the contract on their own initiative. Mr. Lu, why don't you add me on WeChat and show you something? Su Luo said with a smile. Lu Ming looked at Su Luo seriously and found that he seemed to be confident. After thinking for a while, he took out his cell phone. Bite. You have added Lu Ming as a friend. Mr. Su, I suggest you watch it alone. By the way, remember to turn off the sound, Su Luo said and glanced at Yang Xiaodong. Then he opened his phone and sent the video evidence of Yang Xiaodong using his status as a shareholder to obtain kickbacks. Lu Ming picked up his phone, turned off the sound, and started reading. After all, he is the chairman of a company, and keeping a low profile is a basic skill. This, Lu Ming put down the phone, hesitating to speak. I still have a lot of these things, and I can guarantee their authenticity. Mr. Lu, you are a sensible person. You know whether this thing is beneficial to you or not. Su Luo spoke calmly. Lu Ming, as Luohua's largest shareholder, held 35% of the shares. Han Guodong holds 29% of the shares, Yang Xiaodong holds 23% of the shares, and the remaining 13% are held by scattered small shareholders. If this information is used well, it might be possible to take over the shares held by Yang Xiaodong. The key point is that no matter whether it is Lu Ming or Han Guodong, whoever gets Yang Xiaodong's shares will exceed 51% and can then control Luohua. If Han Guodong gets it, then it will definitely not be his turn to be the chairman. Han Guodong and Yang Xiaodong both looked at Lu Ming in confusion. Chapter 107, Lu Ming Compromises. Lu Ming's face was gloomy and uncertain. He was thinking about the interests involved. To agree to a peaceful termination of the contract, Han Guodong must agree. If my attitude changes now, Han Guodong will definitely be suspicious of what Su Luo sent him. Yes, the information in Su Luo's hand is the evidence of Yang Xiaodong's economic crimes in Luohua. Through these evidences and some other means, not only can Yang Xiaodong be sent to jail, but his shares can also be obtained. But in the current situation, Lu Ming is somewhat passive. He does not agree. Su Luo asks Han Guodong to cooperate with him. If he agrees, he will have to face Han Guodong's questioning again. I don't know, Mr. Lu, what do you think? Su Luo asked with a smile. Yi Xiaomu didn't know what Su Luo sent to Lu Ming, and looked at him with confusion. I'll tell you when I get back, Su Luo whispered in Yi Xiaomu's ear, then reached out and held her hand, squeezing it gently. Yi Xiaomu pulled out his hand and patted Su Luo, but in the end, he held Su Luo's hand with his backhand. Yi Xiaomu could also see the atmosphere at the moment. It seemed that the initiative was already in Su Luo's hands. The worry she had just felt was gone at this moment. Mr. Su, this is making it difficult for me, Lu Ming said helplessly. In fact, if Su Luo had met him alone, the matter seemed to be easily resolved, but it would be difficult to handle in such a public setting. But this is what Su Luo did on purpose. No matter what, it was you, Lu Ming, who agreed to put Yi Xiaomu on ice. This will cause you some problems, but it's not too much, right? That's your problem to consider. Su Luo shrugged and said indifferently. Mr. Han, what do you think? Lu Ming asked Han Guodong tentatively. Han Guodong's heart moved, wondering what Su Luo had just sent to Lu Ming that made him agree to terminate the contract. Boss Su, I don't know what you just sent that actually made our CEO Lu change his mind. In that case, I'll have to think about it. How about you send it to me too? Han Guodong, who had been silent just now, did not answer Lu Ming's words. Instead, he sat up, looked at Su Luo and said with a smile. Su Luo spread her hands and looked at her phone. It's already 10:15. I'll wait another 15 minutes. If you can't give me an answer, then I'll do what I want. After Su Luo finished speaking, she leaned back in her chair. Tanya looked at Su Luo with a puzzled expression, and Lu Mio beside Su Luo was also confused. Liu, what did you just send? Yi Xiaomu's curiosity was piqued again. Call me husband from now on and I'll tell you, Su Luo said in a low voice. You're so annoying. Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu huddled together and bit each other's ears. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals fine recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. On the other hand, Lu Ming and the other two had serious expressions on their faces. They were suspicious of each other, and to a certain extent, they were not of the same mind. Mr. Lu, if you're like this, I can only suspect that you and them have engaged in illicit transactions. As a shareholder, I disagree with Yi Xiaomu's peaceful termination of the contract. Seeing that Lu Ming seemed to be interested in terminating the contract with Yi Xiaomu, Yang Xiaodong spoke. Old Han, what about you? Mr. Lu, what happened just now? Why don't you show it to me? I can support you, Han Guodong said meaningfully. The news about Su Luo was too sudden for Lu Ming, and the timing was not good. Time passed by minute, but Lu Ming still did not express his opinion. Mr. Han, let's add each other on WeChat. Su Luo took out her cell phone and said to Han Guodong. Lu Ming thought to himself that this was not good, but he couldn't say anything to stop it. Otherwise, it would be exposed. But you have added Han Guodong as a friend. Mr. Su, why don't you send me the news from that day? Han Guodong said with a smile when he saw that he was added in WeChat chat. Mr. Han, this news has nothing to do with you. After Su Luo finished speaking, she looked at Lu Ming. 10 more minutes, Su Luo said, and continued to play with Yi Xiaomu. Liu, tell me, I've been curious about this for a long time, Yi Xiaomu said in a low voice like a spoiled child. I'll tell you when we get back. Su Luo covered Yi Xiaomu's ears and whispered. Old Han, I need your support on this matter. Lu Ming finally spoke up and agreed to terminate the contract peacefully. What's the reason? I want to know, Han Guodong thought to himself. Well, let's talk alone. Lu Ming had no choice but to pay a price. Okay, Han Guodong nodded. Mr. Su, do you mind if we go out and talk alone for a while? Seeing Han Guodong's agreement, Lu Ming stood up and said to Su Luo. As you please. Su Luo stretched out her hand to gesture, then spoke casually. Then Lu Ming and Han Guodong walked out of the meeting room. Su Luo, you. Yang Xiaodong felt a little uneasy when he saw this situation. I know it was your idea to put Yi Xiaomu on ice. Looking at the situation now, you can only oppose it if you can get the votes of all the small shareholders. A 34% stake is enough to oppose a decision. Then Su Luo stopped looking at Yang Xiaodong, only to see that he looked a little flustered. He had a feeling that Su Luo knew him very well. 5 minutes passed quickly, and Lu Ming and Han Guodong both walked in with happy expressions on their faces. Su Luo didn't know what the two of them discussed outside, but it seemed like they had reached an agreement. Mr. Su, Mr. Han, and I have agreed to resolve the issue peacefully. Let's sign the contract directly, Lu Ming said with ease. Mr. Lu, Mr. Han, you? Yang Xiaodong's expression changed, and he asked uncertainly. The two of us have reached an agreement to accept Yi Xiaomu's request to terminate the contract, Lu Ming said lightly. What? I don't agree. Yang Xiaodong slammed the table and stood up. I've already discussed this with Director Han and a few other junior directors. This matter has been finalized. It's useless for you to object. After Lu Ming knew about Yang Xiaodong's situation, he felt disgusted with him, but he did not show it. However, his attitude became much colder. You are damaging the company's interests, Yang Xiaodong said angrily. Shareholders who support this decision already hold over 67% of the shares. It's useless for you to object. If you don't want to, you can choose to leave. Director Han glanced at Yang Xiaodong indifferently and said calmly, You guys. Yang Xiaodong's face turned black and white, and then he turned away. Mr. Su, look, why don't we just sign the termination agreement directly? After Yang Xiaodong left, a hint of anger flashed in Lu Ming's eyes, but he immediately restrained it and looked at Su Luo and said, Mr. Lu, I have the right to make demands, Su Luo said with a smile. Just thinking about terminating the contract peacefully is not an option, as all of Yi Xiaomu's endorsements have been terminated. Chapter 108, Thoughts Clear. Okay, Mr. Su, please go ahead, Lu Ming smiled bitterly. This was considered as owing someone a favor, so he had no choice but to agree. You've seen the two lawyers' letters, right? Just pay the 50 million for the endorsement and the matter will be over, Su Luo said with a smile. Lu Ming and Han Guodong agreed after discussion, and after some bargaining, they finally settled on a compensation of 30 million. Then he called the legal department and signed a termination agreement with Yi Xiaomu, and arranged for the finance department to deposit 30 million into Yi Xiaomu's account in 3 installments within 3 months. Finally, Su Luo took out her cell phone and sent all the video evidence to Lu Ming. As for the subsequent issues, Su Luo didn't care. Mr. Lu, Mr. Han will be leaving first. After signing the contract, Tanya stood up and said, Okay, take care, everyone. Lu Ming and Han Guodong stood up and said. Su Luo took Yi Xiaomu's hand and walked out of the meeting room first. Xiaomu, long time no see? As they were about to leave, a young man shouted with a smile at the door of Luohua Entertainment Company. Standing next to him was Yang Xiaodong. A hint of disgust flashed across Yi Xiaomu's eyes, and he leaned over to Su Luo's ear and whispered, He is Li Yang. Then Yi Xiaomu spoke with a cold and serious expression. Please don't call me Xiaomu, I don't know you well. When Li Yang heard this, a hint of anger appeared on his face, but he quickly restrained it and smiled again. What are you talking about? We've had dinner together. Li Yang deliberately said something ambiguous to disgust Su Luo. At this time, Su Luo took 2 steps forward and stood in front of Yi Xiaomu. If you can't speak, I will teach you how to speak, Su Luo said calmly. Pa, after saying that, he slapped Li Yang in the face. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930, /TT keyword add instantly. A red slap mark appeared on Li Yang's face. He was a little confused at this time, and even Yang Xiaodong beside him was shocked. The employees of Luohua Entertainment were also looking at Su Luo in surprise at this time, and some female employees seemed to have stars in their eyes. This domineering attitude of protecting his wife, coupled with Su Luo's beauty, is this an idle drama? You dare to hit me, do you know who I am? Li Yang covered his face and said in disbelief, "I'm not your father, how would I know who you are?" Su Luo teased with a smile. Puche, Yi Zaiamu behind him couldn't help but laugh out loud. When the others heard Su Luo's words, they all tried hard to suppress their laughter. Even Yang Xiaodong, who was originally angry, suddenly put on a mask of pain. He couldn't laugh. If he laughed, he would. Puchai, Yang Xiaodong couldn't help it. "Fuck old Yang." Li Yang looked at Yang Xiaodong in shock. "Mr. Li, I'm sorry, I really couldn't help it." Yang Xiaodong's face was full of uncontrollable smile. Li Yang was helpless, and the anger in his heart grew even stronger. "What a draft!" Pa, another slap came from the backhand, and Li Yang's other face turned red instantly. "Can't you speak?" Su Luo shook her hands and said helplessly. Li Yang covered his face with his hands. "Your posture is a bit eye-catching. I am a small flower blooming in my mother's heart," Su Luo sang 2 lines. "Ha ha ha!" The employees of Luohua Entertainment couldn't help but burst into laughter. Many of them had just gotten married, and their children were in kindergarten. What Su Luo sang happened to be a nursery rhyme, and a dance performed by kindergarten children. Listening to Su Luo's singing and looking at Li Yang covering his cheeks with his hands, they are exactly the same. Li Yang felt aggrieved. He didn't even dare to speak casually for fear that Su Luo would slap him again. "Wife, do you feel better?" Su Luo turned to look at Yi Zaiamu and asked gently. "Yeah," Yi Zaiamu nodded with a smile. Seeing this, Su Luo turned around and looked at Li Yang with a smile on her lips. But the words she said next were extremely cold. "Say something sarcastic like that again? Humph." Li Yang was stunned by Su Luo's 2 slaps at the beginning. Now facing Su Luo's threat, he kept nodding in fear. Su Luo certainly knew that the current situation was only temporary. Once they reacted and called the police, revenge would follow. Yang Xiaodong was also a little panicked at this time and was about to call the police, but Su Luo turned around and glared at him, so he could only smile awkwardly. Yang Xiaodong thought that after all, it was Li Yang who spoke in a sarcastic tone first. Even if Su Luo was violent, she was the first to attack, so she would have a good impression on the police. Disrespecting women and Wu Qian's affairs are among the most despicable things in the eyes of the police and the prisoners. Then Su Luo leaned forward and spoke in a voice that only she and Li Yang could hear. "Last August 26th, room 8609, Jia Hotel, Pingjiang Road, Shanghai." After Su Luo finished speaking, she ignored Li Yang's expression and walked out with Yi Zaiamu, Tanya, and Lu Maomeo. "Honey, you're awesome." When they got downstairs, Yi Zaiamu said excitedly while hugging Su Luo's arm. "Are you happy just like that? Humph, I won't let him go." Su Luo first smiled at Yi Zaiamu, then looked up at the China World Trade Center and snorted coldly. Tanya smiled and nodded. Lu Maomeo, who was standing aside, had already been looking at Su Luo with admiration. Those 2 slaps just now were like something out of a TV drama. A true domineering CEO. He slapped the male villain just to protect his young wife from harm. Why is Lu Maomeo still betting alone? Could it be that I have the potential to become an emperor? Oh no, I'm out of tune. "Sister, ya let's go," Su Luo said with a smile. Next, let Li Yang go in fear. After Su Luo got the evidence, on the one hand, she wanted to hide behind the scenes and send Li Yang in, but on the other hand, she had to meet this person. "If I don't teach them a lesson, I'll always feel a little unhappy. Those 2 slaps today really hurt my hands, but it felt really good." At this moment, Yi Zaiamu was extremely happy. It was a bit too much to say that she had taken revenge, but she was very proud of it in her heart. The kind-hearted Yi Zaiamu could never have imagined that Su Luo was not satisfied with this. Tanya started the car, and next, they were going to handle the company's affairs. At this moment, Li Yang was so frightened that he couldn't even feel the pain from being beaten. I kept thinking about what Su Luo had just said. Last August 26th, room 8609. Li Yang exclaimed and ran out using his hands and feet. He wanted to find Su Luo. He must know something about Su Luo. By the time he got downstairs, the square was almost empty, with only a few people walking back and forth. On the evening of August 26, 2022, room 8609, Jia Hotel, Pingjiang Road, Shanghai. Li Yang had a wicked smile on his face and walked towards the bed while unbuttoning his clothes. At this time, a man was lying on the bed, unconscious. Chapter 109, Xiaomu Entertainment officially launches. Tanya, who had been prepared for a long time, used the remaining time in the morning to complete the formalities. Xiaomu Entertainment was officially established. Xiaomu is taken from the phrase, "I look at the sky in the morning and the clouds in the evening. I miss you when I walk and I miss you when I sit." It is also the homonym of Xiaoramu. At this time, in the Orchid Hall of Xiayan, Ding Lei and several others, as well as Su Luo and 4 others, were sitting there to celebrate the establishment of Xiaoramu Entertainment. Of course, they haven't officially announced it yet. Tanya invested 10 million yuan, accounting for 10% of the shares. Ding Lei held 3% of the shares, and Su Luo paid 3 million yuan in advance. Lu Jun held 1.5% of the shares, and Su Luo paid 1.5 million yuan in advance. Li Xiaoshuang holds a 2% stake and agrees to provide all copyrights exclusively to Xiaoramu Entertainment, with Su Luo paying a deposit of 2 million yuan. Su Luo held 2.5% of the shares on behalf of others and paid a deposit of 2.5 million yuan. These were shares prepared in advance for Ding Lei and Lu Jun. At the same time, at the suggestion of Su Luo and Yi Xiaoramu, Lu Maomeo held a 5% stake, and Yi Xiaoramu advanced 5 million. Moved, Lu Maomeo hugged Yi Xiaoramu's arm tightly. The remaining 76% of the shares were finally acquired at Su Luo's suggestion. Yi Xiaoramu holds a 51% stake. Su Luo advances 51 million yuan, and Su Luo herself holds a 25% stake, contributing 25 million yuan. With a total investment of 100 million Chinese yuan, Xiaoramu Entertainment was officially established. I declare that Xiaoramu Entertainment is officially established. Su Luo raised his glass and said to several people, "Dry." Currently, Xiaoramu Entertainment is not very large. It rents an area of more than 600 square meters as an office, with an annual rent of about 3.6 million. Tanya had already arranged this a few days ago. After a few people had eaten and drunk their fill, they arrived at room 6606 on the 66th floor of the central building. Recording studio, gym, independent office, conference room, everything is complete. The hall was separated from the office area. Several people came to the conference room and started the first meeting of Xiaoramu Entertainment. At this time, Yi Xiaoramu was sitting in the main seat, feeling a little at a loss. After all, she had never been a boss. "Husband, please explain it to me. I don't understand." Yi Xiaoramu looked at Su Luo for help. Tanya and the others all looked at Su Luo. "Well, okay, I'll tell you first, and then we can discuss if there are any problems." Su Luo coughed lightly and said seriously, "Regarding the development of Xiaoramu Entertainment, I've actually given it some brief thought recently. Sister Ye, everyone knows her abilities, so I want her to be the president of Xiaoramu Entertainment. I believe that with her abilities, she is qualified for this job." Tanya could see that Su Luo had more to say, but she didn't interrupt. Of course, Sister Ye is a former agent, so she also serves as the head of the Artist Affairs Department. Su Luo had discussed this with Tanya before. Originally, Tanya came to help Yi Xiaoramu with the intention of being an agent and then managing other artists for a commission. As a result, Su La later considered letting her be the president, so the extra commission that was previously discussed was no longer available. But Tanya also took the initiative to give up the commission in this regard. As the president of Xiaoramu Entertainment, his salary already includes a commission, which does not conflict with his original interests. Lu Maomeo, Xiaomu's former personal assistant, is an excellent person and currently serves as the deputy director of the Artist Affairs Department. After all, Lu Maomeo has not officially become an agent yet, so she still needs Tanya to guide her for the time being. When Lu Maomeo officially becomes an agent, the director of the Affairs Department will be hers. Ding Lei, Director Ding, Head of the Production Department, Lu Jun, Director Lu, Deputy Head of the Production Department. Li Xiaoshuang, Director of the Screenwriting Department. Next, Sister Ye, we need to recruit as soon as possible to complete the company's organizational structure. Xiao Luo, you don't work in the company. Tanya looked at Su Luo in confusion. "I feel relieved that Sister Ye is in the company," Su Luo said with a smile. "Xiao Mu is the chairman, and I am the assistant to the chairman." Tanya rolled her eyes. After all these twists and turns, Su Luo actually became Xiao Mu's assistant. "By the way, let me tell you about the next business." Su Luo finally didn't leave the entire stall to Tanya. Xiao Mu is pregnant now, so the main focus for the next year is releasing an album. As for other business opportunities or endorsements, Miao Miao will screen them and then consider whether to accept them. Also, Maomeo has been mainly visiting various art schools to recruit talent during this period. "Brother-in-law, no, assistant to the chairman, I'm afraid," Maomeo said in a low voice. "Maomeo, I believe in you. Go and try it." Su Luo looked at Lu Maomeo encouragingly. We need to select at least 2-3 people to be our next main artists for Zaya Amu Entertainment. Sister Ya, if you have a candidate, you can bring him over to see. Okay, Tanya nodded. By the way, set up a copyright department as soon as possible. I wrote a novel, and I will focus on updating this novel in the future. The data is pretty good, and I believe the copyright adaptation will be very good. Zhangong Novel Network, Zhuxian Yuan, you can take a look. I will try my best to finish this novel within 2 months. Our next task will focus on this. Zhao Shuang, you should read this novel more and try to adapt it into a screenplay. Sister Ye, Director Ding, Director Lu. This drama will be our first project as we embark on our journey of development. When several people heard Su Luo's words, they took out their mobile phones, opened the novel website, and read Zhu Xianjuan. This book is great, Tanya exclaimed in praise when she saw that Zhu Xianjuan had 3 million readers and a rating of 9.8. Because this is our company's first project, I won't charge for the copyright, Su Luo said with a smile. Tusk, this company is yours and you're still charging. Yi Zaiamu rolled his eyes at Su Luo and said, Wife, it's unfair. You are the major shareholder. I am working for you, Su Luo immediately said in a pretentious manner. Isn't mine yours? Yi Zaiamu said helplessly. You two, calm down. This is your family matter. Please go home and talk about it. We don't want to be fed dog food, Tanya said helplessly. Haha, that's basically it, Sister Ya. The company still needs your more attention. Su Luo smiled and then spoke to Tanya sincerely. Don't worry, Tanya nodded in agreement. Okay, we'll be leaving first. You guys can get started. Zaiamu and I will be going back to our hometown to celebrate Kingaming Festival tomorrow. Please follow Sister Ya's instructions for all your arrangements. After Su Luo finished speaking, she glanced at Ding Lei and Tanya, then pulled Yi Zaiamu out of the meeting room. The first time I saw the two of them, I felt there would be a story. Now that we are in the same company, I wonder if there will be something interesting to tell. Su Luo smiled. Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu walked out of the central building, and it was only a few minutes' walk to go home. Wait, husband. Yi Zaiamu suddenly reached out to stop Su Luo. What's wrong? Let's go to your hometown tomorrow. I want to buy some things and I almost forgot. Yi Zaiamu turned around and pulled Su Luo back. Chapter 110, Heading to Purple Stone. Su Luo didn't mention not letting Yi Zaiamu buy it. After all, this was a kind of interpersonal communication. Of course, it's not that Su Luo's parents would care about these things, but in fact, it's the neighbors and relatives who would care about these things. After all, people's words are scary. If Yi Zaiamu comes empty-handed, Su's father and mother won't think anything of it, but neighbors and relatives may spread rumors. Especially since Yi Zaiamu is so outstanding, then the topic might spread like, a big star came to visit but came empty-handed. Many times, people's jealousy will make them arbitrarily morally blackmail others, or even worse, discredit others. So Su Luo didn't say anything, but followed Yi Zaiamu and helped her carry things. I bought some tea, liquor, cigarettes, and cosmetics, all common gift-giving items. Finally, Yi Zaiamu specially bought a pack of cigarettes for Su Luo. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. When the two returned home, Yi's father and mother had not yet finished get off work. This time they were not going to be away for long, so Yi Zaiamu packed 2 sets of clothes and put them in the suitcase. Then put it at the door with the gifts to prevent you from forgetting it tomorrow. Zaiamu, remember to post on Weibo later to promote Zaiamu Entertainment. Su Luo sat at the computer and typed while talking. Okay, just write well. Yi Zaiamu nodded in response. Then Yi Zaiamu walked to the bed, sat down, looked at Su Luo's back and smiled. Then he took out his cell phone and opened Weibo. Yi Zaiamu Entertainment has officially launched. We look forward to everyone joining us. We will stay true to our original aspiration and forge ahead. Wink blink like crazy. Wow, Miu Miu has started a company. I'll call you Bossy from now on. When will Mumu release a song? Miu Miu's songs have been removed from all major music platforms. This is because she has terminated her contract with Luohua Entertainment. I've resigned. I'm going to work at Dawn Entertainment. Yi Zaiamu browsed the comments below but did not reply. She was a rather aloof person. Yes, I Yi Zaiamu am the cool goddess. Honey, I'm hungry. Yi Zaiamu called sweetly to Su Luo. Okay, I'll go cook. Su Luo saved the draft, set it to update automatically, then got up and walked towards the kitchen. Yi Zaiamu followed Su Luo into the kitchen with his hands behind his back. The kitchen is quite fumed. Why don't you wait outside for a while? Su Luo turned around and scratched Izayamu's nose. Yeah, Izayamu squinted her eyes and nodded, then walked out shaking her hair. 30 minutes later, Su Luo brought the dishes to the table, and Yi's father and mother just arrived home. After dinner, Zyro Mu, ask Meow Meow's villa's recording engineer when the piano room will be ready. Su Luo, who was typing at the computer, turned and looked at Yi Zyramu lying on the bed and said, "Okay, are you ready to record a song? Well, record a little sweet and release a single to promote it." Su Luo nodded. "And I also want to sing the song Boy that you sang before," Yi Zyramu said with a smile. "Well, I'll sing them all for you. Hubby, kiss I love you." Yi Zyramu stretched out her hand and made a heart shape towards Su Luo. "Don't play with your phone all the time. It's not good for the baby. You keep typing, I don't want to sleep alone," Yi Zyramu said with a pout. Just now, Yi Zyramu wanted to sit next to Su Luo to accompany him, but Su Luo teased him a few times and carried him to the bed. "Then I won't write any more and come to accompany you," Su Luo said, standing up and walking towards the bed. "No, hurry up and type, I want to see it. I've written almost 100,000 words today. Let me keep you company," Su Luo said, lifting the quilt and lying down in it. "I've gained weight recently," Yi Zyramu murmured while lying in Su Luo's arms. "You are not alone now, so it's normal to be a little fat." Su Luo patted Yi Zyramu and said softly, "I feel like my old clothes are a bit tight. Then let's get up tomorrow morning and go buy a few sets of clothes. We should also buy some maternity clothes," Su Luo said with a smile. "Huh. Go to sleep. No, I want to hear a story. Tell me the legend of Zhu Xian." "Okay." The next morning at around 9 o'clock, Su Luo and Yi Zyramu finished washing up and walked out of the room. Yi's parents were no longer at home. He took the things he bought yesterday and the suitcase downstairs and put them in the trunk of the car. Then Su Luo and Yi Zyramu got in the car, with Yi Zyramu sitting in the passenger seat. Ding-ling-ling, Su Luo's phone rang. "Brother-in-law." "Mia, what's wrong?" Su Luo said. "Brother-in-law, the recording equipment, piano, and guitar have arrived. Do you want to arrange for them to be loaded in now?" "Sure, you know the password, just make the arrangements. Your sister Zyramu and I are going to Zaishi City now and will be back in 2 days," Su Luo said. "Okay, then I'll arrange to install it today. Thank you for your hard work." After hanging up the phone, Su Luo took out her cell phone and transferred 3 million to Lu Mio Mio. This was the final price that Lu Mio Mio negotiated 2 days ago. "Zyro Mu, when we move in, the recording studio will be ready. We will record a song for you then." Su Luo looked at Yi Zyramu and said with a smile. "Okay." Yi Zyramu squinted her eyes and nodded, then hummed softly. "I am still the same boy as before, not a single bit has changed." Su Luo looked at Yi Zyramu's happy expression, smiled, started the car, and drove out. After buying some maternity clothes in the central building, the two of them set off for Zaishi. Navigation started, estimated driving time 2 hours and 25 minutes. The car is running smoothly on the highway. "Honey, I suddenly feel a little nervous," Yi Zyramu said with a troubled look on her face. "What are you nervous about?" "I just feel nervous and worried that I won't perform well." Yi Zyramu raised his hand and fiddled with the seat belt, speaking softly. "Relax, my parents have a very good impression of you. They feel like you are their real daughter," Su Luo said with a smile. "And don't worry, I will be with you," Su Luo said gently. As if influenced by what Su Luo said, Yi Zyramu felt his heart gradually calm down. "Old Su, go downstairs and buy some soy sauce. We're out of stock at home," Sun Yun in the kitchen shouted to Su Siyuan, who was watching TV in the living room. "Okay, wait a moment, let me finish watching this," Su Siyuan replied casually while staring at the TV. "Hurry up, Zyramu and the others are almost here," Sun Yun urged when she saw that Su's father didn't get up. "They just left not long ago. It will take more than 2 hours. Why are you in such a hurry?" "It's the first time my daughter-in-law comes to visit, so of course I have to prepare a lot. Go quickly. Do you hear me? Don't wait for me at Shudao Mountain," Sun Yun said, her voice gradually becoming serious. Okay, go." Su Siyuan picked up the remote control and clicked pause. Then he got up and walked out of the living room. Chapter 111, You Are Such a Clever Little Ghost. Su Zhiyuan, Su Siyuan's elder brother, went to Kilu alone to work when he was young and eventually settled down there. Even though the two brothers have separated, they still have a good relationship. This time it is Kingaming Festival, so they can come back to worship their ancestors. On the other hand, he heard that Zio Luo had already started a family and was going to bring his wife home this time. So Su Zhiyuan specially prepared a vacation to bring his wife, daughter, and son-in-law back to visit. The 4 people were also driving at this time, heading north towards Zaishi. Zio Wu, drive slower and be careful, Yang Ziolan reminded while sitting in the back seat. Okay, Mom, don't worry, Wu Zhenghua replied while driving. Sitting in the passenger seat next to him was a gentle-looking woman. This was Su Zhiyuan's daughter and Wu Zhenghua's wife, Su Yan. At this moment, she was holding her mobile phone and casually browsing Weibo. Ever since Yi Xiaomu's pregnancy was revealed, she began to pay close attention to her sister-in-law. Su Zhiyuan also felt a little sad at this time. Due to the epidemic in the past few years, it was inconvenient to go back to his hometown. When he thought about it, the last time he came back was Su Luo's graduation banquet. Unexpectedly, when he came back this time, Su Luo was already married. Although Su Zhiyuan didn't spend much time with Su Luo, after all, he had already gone to Kilu before Su Luo was born. But every time he came back in previous years, he still liked his nephew who took him fishing. Strictly speaking, Su Luo's family business was supported by Su Zhiyuan. When Su Zhiyuan wanted to buy the factory but didn't have enough money, it was Su Zhiyuan who lent money to his brother despite Yang Ziolan's objections. With the support of Sun Yun's family, the business was finally purchased and has developed to its current stage. Ding-ling-ling, Su Zhiyuan's phone rang. Brother, Su Zhiyuan's voice came from the receiver. Zhiyuan, we are already on the way and will probably arrive in the evening, Su Zhiyuan said with a smile. Okay, go slowly on the road and be safe. Have Xiaoluo and the others arrived? Not yet, but probably soon. He said he would come back for lunch. Su Zhiyuan was walking back with soy sauce and a bag of salt in his hands. Okay, I brought a few bottles of wine. Let's have a good drink tonight. Su Zhiyuan's words made Yang Ziolan roll her eyes. She obviously couldn't drink much, but she kept clamoring to drink. No problem. Are Yanyan and Zio Wu back this time too? Well, we're all back. After all, it's Xiaoluo who's back with his wife, so we all have to come back, right? Su Zhiyuan was in a good mood. After all, he had been away from home for many years, and he felt comfortable every time he returned home. Brother, would you like to stay at home tonight? Su Zhiyuan asked hesitantly. The two brothers had separated a long time ago, and the old man and woman passed away quite early, so the property had been divided up long ago. Every time I came back before, I stayed in a hotel. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. Yes. Su Zhiyuan agreed without any hesitation. Okay, I'll ask Sun Yun to prepare it when I get back. The two brothers chatted briefly and then hung up the phone. Wife, my eldest brother and his family are staying at home tonight. Please clean up 2 rooms in the afternoon. After returning home, Su Zhiyuan brought soy sauce and salt into the kitchen. Okay, I'll clean up the room this afternoon. Sun Yun nodded. Su Luo's room had been cleaned up 2 days ago. By the way, use this salt to cook tonight. Su Zhiyuan handed over the salt in his hand. This was iodine-free salt. Su Yan has been married for 4 years and has not had children because of hyperthyroidism. However, her symptoms have improved a lot recently, and she is also considering preparing for pregnancy. Okay, go ask Zio Luo and the others where they are. Sun Yun waved her hand, signaling Su Zhiyuan to leave. Okay, I'll go out first, Su Zhiyuan said and left the kitchen. Take out your cell phone and make a call. Ding-ling-ling, Su Luo's cell phone rang. Yi Xiaomu took the phone and saw that the caller ID was Su Zhiyuan. She clicked the answer button and turned on the hands-free mode. Dad, Yi Xiaomu said softly. It's Xiaomu, when will you arrive? Yi Xiaomu looked at the navigation record in the car. It'll probably take another half an hour. Okay, be safe. Dad, let's hang up first. I'm driving. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu's embarrassed expression, smiled, and said, then signaled Yi Xiaomu to hang up the phone. After all, Yi Xiaomu and Su Zhiyuan had only met once, and Su Luo's family didn't have a family group, so they rarely communicated, and it was easy and there was nothing to say. Honey, I want to go to the bathroom. After hanging up the phone, Yi Xiaomu looked at Su Luo and said pitifully, then I'll stop at the next service area, Su Luo said with a smile. Are you nervous again? A little, Yi Xiaomu nodded. It's my blessing to have such an excellent wife. You don't have to be nervous, ha-ha-ha. That's right, you got a good deal. Yi Xiaomu was amused by Su Luo and said proudly. Yes, my wife is a fairy who has come down to earth. I am lucky to have won the favor of Goddess Xiaomu, Su Luo said as she drove the car into the service area. Ha-ha-ha. Young couples in love can happily chat about this kind of thing for a whole day. After using the toilet, Yi Xiaomu took Su Luo's arm and walked in the service area. Honey, I want to eat grilled sausage. Yizayamu said softly while looking at a store in the service area. Aren't you afraid of getting fat? Suluo looked at Yizayamu with amusement. Haha, no, because it's not what I want to eat, it's what the baby wants to eat. Yizayamu smiled and said, holding her stomach. Wow, wife, you are such a smart little girl. Suluo bought a sausage and handed it to Yizayamu. Yizayamu no longer cared about her figure. After all, nutritional supplementation during pregnancy was necessary. If you keep thinking about your figure and it doesn't do good to your child, you will really regret it later. So eat when you are hungry and eat whatever you want. As long as it is not harmful to your child, you can eat it with confidence. Try it. Yizayamu took the sausage handed to him by Suluo, put it next to Suluo's mouth and said, Eat it. No, take a bite, take a bite. Okay, Suluo smiled and took a bite. It's delicious, you can have some too. Yeah, Yizayamu squinted his eyes and nodded, then followed Suluo out. He opened the passenger door and let Yizayamu get in. Then he sat in the driver's seat. Honey, are you tired of driving? Yizayamu looked at Suluo with concern. I'm not tired and it won't take long. Suluo leaned over and helped Yizayamu pull the seat belt over and buckle it up. I can drive too, how about I drive for a while? It's okay, just have a good rest. Suluo smiled and rubbed Yizayamu's head. Yizayamu finished the grilled sausage in a few bites and threw the wooden skewer into the portable trash can in the car. Seeing Yizayamu's mouth full of oil, Suluo smiled, took out a tissue and wiped it gently. Chapter 112, It Must Be Sent Out. It must be sent out. Do you want to eat anything else? Should I buy some more? Suluo said. No need, my parents have already cooked and we'll have lunch when we get home. Yizayamu shook her head. If I were full now, I might not need to have lunch. This is my first time visiting you, so it would not be nice to skip lunch. It would be inappropriate if Sun Yun misunderstood that Yizayamu disliked her cooking. Then let's go, we'll be home in about 20 minutes. Suluo smiled and started the car. Okay, then I'll read some novels. Yizayamu took out his mobile phone and opened Zhuxian Zhuan. I have a draft saved on my phone, you can take a look first. I don't read it, I read it too quickly and there's no one to share it with. I read it on the app and can interact with fellow book lovers. It's so interesting. Yizayamu shook her head and said with a smile. At first, she read it when Suluo was writing, but she found that there was no one to communicate with about the plot. Later, after she used the app, she found that there was a paragraph comment function. Yizayamu began to transform into a big shot and began to express his own views in various comments. She has a master's degree in Chinese and has a good grasp of various understandings. Many people like her comments and brag about her understanding of the comments. Amidst all the praise, Yizayamu felt like she was floating. I just felt a sense of pride. Look, this is the book my husband wrote. And there is also a sense of superiority among literary masters who show off online. However, if Suluo knew what Yizayamu was thinking, she would definitely be happy. You are a singing queen with 30 million fans, but you are so complacent just because others recognize you for reading your novels and making comments. It is so incongruous. In fact, Suluo didn't know that the fundamental reason was that this was his book. Readers' praise for Yizayamu was actually recognition of the book. This is what makes Yizayamu happy. Seeing her husband being praised by others makes her feel happier than when others praise herself. She was enjoying the book when it suddenly disappeared. Yizayamu felt a little anxious, and then she saw the various ways book friends were urging for more updates in the chapter reviews. With a turn of his eyes, Yizayamu picked up Suluo's mobile phone and opened the Immortal Palace Writer Assistant. Suluo smiled and finally couldn't help but look at the saved drafts. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals find product recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add after a moment. Hubby, there is something I want to tell you. Yizayamu put down Suluo's phone and said in a soft voice. Okay, you say. I just acted impulsively. I sent out all your saved manuscripts. You won't blame me, will you? Yizayamu said this, blinking with an innocent look on her face. At this time, they stopped at the toll station exit. Suluo turned around and looked at Yizayamu and laughed angrily. Hundreds of thousands of manuscripts in stock. Did you send them all out at once? I've seen the latest one and you want to see more. Yizayamu covered her mouth and laughed. She did it on purpose. She had a draft saved, so why not publish it? She must publish it, she must publish it. So many book lovers are looking forward to it, and hundreds of thousands of them are urging for updates. We can't let them down. Okay, as long as you're happy. Suluo rubbed Yizayamu's head. Su Luo didn't care about the loss of his manuscripts. If he wanted, he could update 300,000 words a day. After all, he didn't need to conceive the plot, just write it. But he would not really do that. After all, it is so interesting to accompany Yi Zairamu. Isn't it nice to accompany his wife? After paying the toll, Su Luo continued driving the car. Zairamu, wait a moment, we'll be there soon, Su Luo said as they got off the highway and were about to arrive home. Yeah, I won't watch it anymore. I was just reading the comments, they were very interesting. Yi Zairamu grinned. Wow, what's going on with Yi Luo? Exploding Chapter 50. Is there a bug in the system? I used to be able to publish 4 chapters a day. Wow, I've seen something new today, so cool. Thanks to Yi Luo. Luo Yi Zairamu. I am Yi Luo's wife. I just used his phone to upload all his manuscripts. Now I am going to run away, ha ha ha. Wow, it turns out the comment master is really related to Yi Luo. No wonder the comments are so powerful. Haha, well done. Loi, if Yeluo blames you, tell us your address and we'll come over to protect you right away. The person above, I don't even want to expose you, you little black guy. Do you want Mr. Yi Luo's autograph? I just want to say, please take me with you. Waiting online for a follow-up. Yi Zairamu put away her phone with a smile. She had to admit that her book friends were quite cute. Soon the car stopped at the door of a self-built house, which had 3 floors in total. The two got out of the car. Yi Zairamu pulled the suitcase, and Su Luo carried various gifts and walked in. In the living room, Su Siyuan and Sun Yun heard the noise, stood up, and saw the door opened. The people who came in were Su Luo and the others. Sun Yun showed surprise on her face and immediately stepped forward, passing Su Luo. Zairamu is here. Are you tired? Sun Yun had a happy smile on her face. Mom, I'm not tired. Seeing Sun Yun's happy expression, Yi Zairamu also smiled sweetly. Mom, Dad, this is what Zairamu brought for you. Su Luo saw that she was ignored by her mother, looked at Su Siyuan, smiled, and spoke. Zairamu, come now, what else do you want to bring? Sun Yun said this, took Yi Zairamu's hand and walked inside. He really didn't even look at Su Luo. Su Siyuan walked over and patted Su Luo on the shoulder. The two looked at each other and followed her in. I put the gifts on the coffee table in the living room, and then put the suitcase at the stairs. Mom, is the meal ready? Su Luo asked Sun Yun, who was chatting with Yi Zairamu not far away. Eat. All you do as soon as you get back is eat. Can't you see I'm chatting with Zairamu? Sun Yun retorted without turning her head. When Yi Zairamu heard Sun Yun's words, she turned to look at Su Luo and stuck out her tongue. Oh, Mom, even if I'm not hungry, Zairamu must be hungry. Su Luo spread her hands towards Yi Zairamu and spoke. Oh yes, Zairamu, you must be hungry. The meal is ready. Let's go eat. Sun Yun immediately said kindly to Yi Zairamu. After saying that, Sun Yun pulled Yi Zairamu towards the restaurant. Su Luo looked at Su Siyuan helplessly again, and both of them had sympathy in their eyes. Mom and Dad, aren't you going to work today? Su Luo asked during the meal. There's nothing going on at the company, so you don't have to go there, Su Siyuan said with a smile. Come, Zairamu, eat this. Sun Yun added a piece of pork ribs to Yi Zairamu's meal. Thank you, Mom. Zairamu, come, eat more of this too. Mom, don't do this. You'll scare Zairamu again, Su Luo advised as she looked at Yi Zairamu's bowl, which was soon full of food. Sun Yun also took a look and realized that this seemed too enthusiastic and would indeed bring pressure to Yi Zairamu, so she stopped adding more dishes. Zairamu, we're home now. Don't be shy. This is your home, Sun Yun said with a smile. Yes, I know. Chapter 113, Brothers, I am suffering. After dinner, Su Luo took Yi Zairamu to the room on the 2nd floor. The 4-piece red bedding set, and all the toiletries in the bathroom were replaced with new ones. This was a special change made by Sun Yun. Although the wedding banquet has not yet been held, the certificate has been obtained, so the rooms in the house naturally need to be redecorated. Are you tired? Su Luo pulled Yi Zairamu to sit on the bed and asked softly. Not tired, Yi Zairamu shook her head. Don't be tired, take a rest. I'll go wash the new clothes. You lie down for a while and take a nap. Su Luo rubbed Yi Zairamu's head. Yeah, Yi Zairamu nodded. Su Luo opened the suitcase and took out 2 new sets of clothes she had bought today. As for maternity underwear, Yi Zairamu's pregnancy was not yet apparent, so Su Luo did not take it out to wash immediately. The 2 new sets of clothes I bought are both casual sweatshirts, loose and comfortable to wear. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Su Luo stood up, took her clothes, walked over and opened the door. Zairamu, Sun Yun walked in with a box in her hand. Mom, Yi Zairamu stood up and shouted. There's no need to be restrained. This is home. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable, Sun Yun said with a smile. Zyro Mu, this is what Grandma Zyro Luo left behind, Sun Yun said, looking at the box in her hand and glanced at Su Luo. Then Sun Yun opened the box, and inside was a pair of silver bracelets, the kind that babies wear. This is a family heirloom. Although it's not very valuable, it belonged to Zyro Luo's great-grandmother and has been passed down to me. Now, Zyro Mu, I'm handing it over to you. Sun Yun said seriously that this item is no longer for wearing, but is something with commemorative and symbolic significance. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add thank you, Mom. Yizairamu did not refuse and took the box solemnly. Okay, you two should take a rest for a while, Sun Yun said and stood up to leave. Back then, Su Luo's grandmother received 2 items in total. One was this silver bracelet, and the other was a longevity lock. She had 2 sons. She gave the longevity lock to her eldest son Su Zhiyuan, his wife Yang Ziolan, and the silver bracelet to Sun Yun. Seeing Sun Yun leave, Yizairamu stood up and solemnly put the box into the suitcase, intending to put it in Gyuanting's villa later. Su Luo smiled at Yizairamu, took the clothes and walked into the bathroom to rinse the new clothes and wash them. Not long after, when Su Luo came out, Yizairamu was already asleep on the bed. Su Luo carefully hung the clothes on the balcony and then tucked in the quilt for Yizairamu. Then he sat down next to his old computer and started typing. Now he didn't have any drafts of a chapter saved, so he could only find time to type some out immediately. I'm sorry, husband. Yizairamu opened her eyes and saw Su Luo stretching because of typing for a long time and said guiltily, Wife, you're awake. Su Luo heard the voice and smiled at Yizairamu. I'm sorry, husband, if I hadn't saved all your manuscripts. Yizairamu apologized. Zyro Mu, what are you doing? You're feeling guilty for no reason. Su Luo stood up and walked to the bed and sat down. She reached out and stroked Yizairamu's hair and said with a smile, This book was meant to be sent out, so it doesn't matter if it's sent out earlier or later. And didn't you see the comments? A lot of people applauded what you did. Su Luo said, took out her cell phone, opened the Xiangong Novel Network, and handed it to Yizairamu. Yizairamu looked at her phone and burst out laughing. Hubby, you're so funny. I saw Su Luo opened a single chapter. Single chapter, a letter to readers. Brothers, I'm suffering. Loi is really my wife. I wasn't paying attention today and she checked on me. I thought she was just checking my chat history. I didn't expect it. The checkup was fake, but the offline reminder was real. My saved drafts, so many saved drafts, were all uploaded to me in just a few minutes. I didn't know at first. I was wondering why she was avoiding me all day. Then at noon, she suddenly told me it was time to start writing. I just realized that I don't have any drafts saved. What a bolt from the blue. Right now, she's sound asleep and I'm typing away. Don't worry, guys, I must uphold our dignity as men. I have reset my phone password. He will never be able to open my phone again, and secretly uploading my saved articles will no longer happen. I'm so tough, I've set a password on my phone. Do I have any female readers? Looking at what Su Luo had written, Yizairamu laughed. Things that had not happened were described so realistically by him. Hee, Su Luo, you seem to be quite good at lying. Yizairamu looked at Su Luo with a smile. Well, this is not lying, this is public relations. Well, public relations, Su Luo said with embarrassment. After all, he also saw Yizairamu's account when he was typing. Although most of the comments below were positive, there were still some people who felt that Luo Yi was hyping it up and trying to get attention. Then he naturally had to follow Yizairamu's words and make up a story. For some public relations. Well, look at the comments. They are all praising you. Su Luo smiled awkwardly and saw that Yizairamu's mood had improved, so she spoke. Yizairamu chuckled, then looked at the comments on the chapter. Wow, Master Yi Luo personally endorsed Luo Yi. This is official certification. Zyro Heizi must be dumbfounded. Hurry up and reply to Loi's comments. Yeluo actually set a password on his phone. We don't agree with that. We must support Loi's actions. Yi Luo, what did you mean by your last sentence? Don't think we don't understand. This must be criticized. I don't mean anything else. I'm single, 24, and have no bad habits. Are there any female readers? I just want to find a female reader to discuss Zhu Xian Zhuan with. The person above, I'm embarrassed to say you, there are such shameless people in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not like the person above with bad intentions. I just simply want to make more friends. Hiccup, hiccup. Yizairamu laughed like a goose when she saw the comments. Are you feeling better now? Then how are you going to compensate me for uploading all my saved manuscripts? Suluo looked at Yizayaramu with a wicked smile. Well, Yizayaramu smiled, sat up and kissed Suluo on the cheek. Although Suluo mentioned this matter now, she understood what Suluo meant. This was just her way of making him laugh. Just a kiss. Isn't one kiss enough? Yizayaramu tilted her head and blinked. Of course it's not enough, at least 2 times. Suluo said as she turned her head and faced the other half of her face towards Yizayaramu. What? Is this okay? Yizayaramu looked at Suluo's childish appearance and felt funny, but her heart was full of sweetness. Chapter 114, this is an offline update. Suluo satisfied all her fantasies about her husband. Every girl has a fairy tale of Prince Charming in her heart, and Suluo is her Prince Charming. On the bedside table in her home in Shanghai, there is a wooden sculpture that Suluo carved for her. MMMs, this is compensation. Suluo touched her lips and said with a smile. Hateful, Yizayaramu pushed Suluo, pulled the quilt over his nose, and stared at Suluo with a pair of big watery eyes. You're still shy now? Suluo teased. It can be imagined that Yizayaramu's cheeks under the quilt should be flushed at this time. Who said I was shy? I just didn't react. Humph! Yizayaramu's voice came from under the quilt. How about another try? Suluo said as she moved closer. You're so annoying. Yizayaramu stretched out her hand and gently pushed Suluo. In fact, it was mainly because she had just woken up, and the organic matter in her mouth was fermenting. She was afraid that there would be a strange smell and felt a little embarrassed. I don't dislike you, Suluo said in a low voice. Yizayaramu's face turned red when he heard this. He knew it. Suluo looked at her shy appearance, smiled, and leaned over to kiss her. Yizayaramu's eyes widened as he looked at Suluo. Then he reached out and pinched Suluo's nose. After a while, the two separated, and Yizayaramu laughed. Suluo looked at Yizayaramu and touched her head lovingly. Honey, how many words have you written this time? Yizayaramu held Suluo's hands and asked sweetly. Almost 40,000 words. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add. It's already 40,000 words. Yizayaramu's eyes rolled around. Don't even think about it. This is tomorrow's update. Suluo reached out and tapped Yizayaramu's forehead, saying with a smile. I'm urging for updates offline. Heh. Yizayaramu said, covering his forehead. Okay, I'll give you the phone tomorrow. You can send it. Suluo raised the corner of her mouth and said gently. Yeah, Yizayaramu nodded, immediately picked up the mobile phone on the bedside table, and commented under the single chapter posted by Suluo. Luo Yi, book friends, wait for me to continue tomorrow. Humph, I still can't deal with him. Wow, looks like there will be another update tomorrow. What's going on when I inexplicably eat a mouthful of dog food? Am I the only one who thinks Yi Luo is kneeling on a durian? Upstairs, you are not alone. Yizayaramu smiled, put away his phone, put his arms around Suluo's head, and kissed her. You guys keep going, you guys keep going. Sun Yun suddenly pushed the door open and then immediately retreated. Ah, Yizayaramu exclaimed, let go of Suluo, lay down, pulled the quilt with both hands, and covered her head. Why are you shy? Suluo smiled. I guess my uncle and his family have arrived. You go first, I'll be there soon. Yizayaramu buzzed in the quilt. Okay, I'll go out and take a look first. Suluo stood up and said, then walked towards the door. Mom, what's wrong? When she reached the door, Suluo looked at Sun Yun, who was waiting at the door, and asked, You please be more careful next time. It's not even 3 months yet. Sun Yun looked at Suluo with annoyance. I know. Suluo touched her nose awkwardly. Sun Yun was still very happy in her heart. Her son and daughter-in-law had a good relationship, which was something that a mother was happy to see. Your elder brother and his family will be here soon to let you out. Your sister is back too. Sun Yun didn't dwell on what happened just now and stopped there. Okay, we'll be out right away. Suluo nodded. Sun Yun nodded, then walked around Suluo, stood at the door, and stuck her head out. Zairo Mew. Mom, Yizayaramu sat up immediately with a blush on her face. Seeing this, Suluo smiled slightly and went to the bathroom to wash her hands. I'll go down first. You and Zairo Luo should come down later, Sun Yun said with a smile. Okay, we'll come down right away. Yizayaramu calmed down and said seriously. Sun Yun looked at Yizayaramu with a smile, nodded with satisfaction, turned around and walked out. Seeing Sun Yun leave, Yizayaramu lay down again and pulled up the quilt. He whispered. This is unlike you who took the initiative just now. Suluo walked in and looked at Yizayaramu, teasing. You bastard, you're so annoying, Yizayaramu said coquettishly while hiding in the quilt. Suluo walked to the bed and sat down, gently pulling down the quilt, and saw Yi Zayaramu with her eyes closed. "Honey, be good, this is good, very cute." He put his hand on her cheek and said gently. Yi Zayaramu felt Su Luo's touch and slowly opened her eyes, only to see Su Luo looking at her tenderly. "HMPH." Yi Zayaramu snorted, pushed Su Luo's hand away, sat up, glared at Su Luo, and spoke angrily. "You are just thick-skinned. He, if you don't have thick skin, you won't like me so quickly." Su Luo reached out, helped Yi Zayaramu off the bed, and spoke. "Who likes you? I don't like you at all," Yi Zayaramu said proudly. Yes, you don't like me, you love me," Su Luo said, holding Yi Zayaramu's hand and walking out. Yi Zayaramu turned to look at Su Luo beside her, with happiness on her delicate face. "Yes, I didn't expect that I would fall in love with you so quickly," Yi Zayaramu murmured in a low voice. "What?" Su Luo pretended not to hear what Yi Zayaramu said. "It's nothing. Let's go down quickly and don't let our parents wait too long." Yi Zayaramu pulled Su Luo and urged her. "I didn't expect that I would fall in love with you so quickly." Su Luo leaned close to Yi Zayaramu's ear and whispered. Yi Zayaramu's body stiffened, a blush appeared on her face, and she followed Su Luo downstairs with a smile as beautiful as a flower. "Dad, Mom." In the living room, Su's father and mother were sitting on the sofa watching TV, and Yi Zayaramu and Su Luo greeted them. "Zairo, come and sit down," Sun Yun said happily, patting the seat next to her. Sun Yun was very happy that day, and several neighbors were coming to see her daughter-in-law in the afternoon. She refused them all. How could her daughter-in-law be disturbed during her nap? This is also due to the various boasting at the card games these days, saying that the daughter-in-law is a big star and will be back soon. Praise it to everyone and show off to everyone. "Sister Sun, have you eaten?" My daughter-in-law will be back tomorrow. She's a big star." Yi Zayaramu sat obediently next to Sun Yun. "Zairo, if that brat Su Luo bullies you in the future, tell me and I'll beat him up." Sun Yun looked at Yi Zayaramu's well-behaved appearance and spoke with a smile. "Yeah, thanks, Mom. If he bullies me, I'll tell you." Yi Zayaramu said this, looking up and giving Su Luo, who was sitting on the left, a provocative look. Su Luo chuckled at the funny Yi Zayaramu. Ding dong, just then the doorbell rang. Chapter 115, Su Yan's family arrives. "It should be my brother and the others who have arrived," Su Siyuan said, then got up to open the door. "Siyuan," Su Zhiyuan came to the door with 3 people and greeted with a smile. "Brother, sister-in-law," Su Siyuan said excitedly. "Next is the time to greet each other. I won't waste words here, otherwise one greeting would probably take several hundred words." Because they were all relatives of Su Luo, he did not cook dinner at this time, but sat in the living room with Yi Zayaramu and chatted. Sitting on the other side of Yi Zayaramu was Su Yan. After all, her sister-in-law was a big star, so she was quite curious. In addition, Yi Zayaramu herself has a gentle personality, and the two of them can chat quite well. "Zairo, why don't you chat with my sister? I'll go smoke a cigarette with my brother-in-law." Su Luo saw that Wu Zhenghua seemed a little embarrassed, and whispered to Yi Zayaramu. After all, this was Wu Zhenghua's first time here. Although Su Luo's family had met him once at a graduation banquet, they had never actually gotten along with each other. It was indeed a bit awkward at this time. I couldn't possibly join in the conversation between Su Siyuan and Su Zhiyuan. "Okay," Yi Zayaramu said without turning her head. She was chatting about gossip with Su Yan at this time. "Brother-in-law, would you like a cigarette?" Su Luo then looked at Wu Zhenghua and spoke. Good, Wu Zhenghua was overjoyed. This brother-in-law was so nice and saved him. Otherwise, he would sit there like a fool, and although he could watch TV, he would still feel embarrassed. It's not appropriate to keep staring at the TV. Suddenly, a Sophie advertisement came on. Isn't this a nuisance? Then he stood up and followed Su Luo to the courtyard outside. When Su Luo saw Wu Zhenghua coming out, she took out a cigarette, took out 2 and handed them over. Wu Zhenghua took one of them with both hands, then put his hands together and waved them to express his gratitude. Su Luo looked puzzled. This brother-in-law was so polite. Passing cigarettes between friends was usually very casual. 2 people sat on the stone bench in the courtyard, smoking. "Brother-in-law, you're welcome," Su Luo said with a smile. "You're welcome, haha." Wu Zhenghua was still a little embarrassed. In fact, Su Luo was also a little embarrassed. After all, he and Wu Zhenghua were not very familiar with each other and had only met once. 2 grown men who don't know each other well sit together and basically have nothing to talk about. You can't just say, "Your wife is very beautiful." That kind of thing is not appropriate. The 2 of them smoked awkwardly and didn't speak again. "Look at these 2, they're so embarrassed." Su Yan pointed at the 2 people outside the floor to ceiling window in the living room and laughed, covering her mouth. Haha, I always thought Su Luo was a social awesome guy. Yi Xiaomu also laughed. The last time they came back was at Xiao Luo's graduation banquet. They met once, Su Yan said with some emotion. You guys, Yi Xiaomu asked in confusion. We haven't been back in about 4 years. That was a long time ago. Hee, I came back this time just to see you, Su Yan said with a smile. In fact, this is how it is between relatives. Many times, when they are far away from each other, the contact between them gradually becomes less and less. Under normal circumstances, with this development trend, there may be almost no contact between Su Luo's children and Su Yan's children in the future. After all, they don't live together, and each has their own social circle. Of course, the feelings between their fathers will definitely not fade with time. Yi Xiaomu felt a little shy when she heard Su Yan's words. She lowered her head and didn't know what to say. By the way, before you go back this time, remember to sign an autograph for me. Several of my colleagues like you. They found out you're my sister-in-law some time ago, so they asked me to bring your autograph back. Su Yan said cheerfully. No problem, I have as much as you want, Yi Xiaomu said with a smile and squinted eyes. It doesn't have to be too many, just 5 will do. Yi Xiaomu nodded. Forget about signing 5, since the elder sister had spoken, she had to sign. Thank you, Xiaomu. Don't be polite, sister, we are all family. Yi Xiaomu waved her hand quickly. Yes, we are a family. When is the due date? Su Yan asked curiously. The doctor said it will be around November 1st. That's great, you should take better care of your health. A hint of envy flashed in Su Yan's eyes. Sister, you? Yi Xiaomu saw that Su Yan looked uneasy and asked. Yi Xiaomu herself was not a shrewd person and did not know how to avoid talking about deep things with people she had just met. But Su Yan herself was not a scheming person, so she did not mind Yi Xiaomu's problem. I have hyperthyroidism and have been taking medicine for years, so I can't have children, Su Yan said in a low voice. This, Yi Xiaomu didn't know how to comfort her. Don't worry, I stopped taking the medicine half a year ago, and I have also started preparing for pregnancy, Su Yan said with a smile. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let me tell you about my brother's childhood, Su Yan suddenly said excitedly. She was born in Kilu and would come back during summer and winter vacations when she was a child. She was a few years older than Su Luo, so she often took Su Luo out to play. Okay, Yi Xiaomu's eyes lit up. She was very interested in Su Luo's childhood. On the other side, after finishing a cigarette, Wu Zhenghua also took out 2 cigarettes and passed them around, and the relationship between the two people suddenly became closer. Brother-in-law, look, the two of them are looking at us and laughing. They must be saying bad things about me. Su Luo pointed at Su Yan and Yi Xiaomu in the living room. That shouldn't be the case. Wu Zhenghua looked over and said hesitantly while talking about Su Luo's hand. Who said she wouldn't? Let me tell you, my sister was a tomboy when she was little. She tricked me so many times. Su Luo said this, her eyes turning. Brother-in-law, don't you know what my sister did when she was a child? Well, I don't know much, Wu Zhenghua nodded. Let me tell you, every time she had a holiday, she would drag me to do something bad, and then let me take the blame, Su Luo said with pretended dissatisfaction. It's quite similar to her personality. Wu Zhenghua nodded in agreement. Obviously, he was used to being bullied at home. One summer vacation at that time, she took me to the countryside to play. There was a wasteland covered with grass, Su Luo said. One summer vacation at that time, I took him to the countryside to play. There was a piece of wasteland covered with grass, Su Yan said. Then what? Wu Zhenghua was obviously very interested in what his wife did when she was a child. Then she said she wanted to set a fire, and then put out the fire for fun. Su Luo seemed to have a picture in her mind, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. We bought a lighter, lit it, and then... Su Luo covered her mouth and laughed, then continued. The fire spread very quickly. She happened to be standing next to a patch of weeds, and the fire started all of a sudden. Her front hair and eyebrows were all burned off, Su Luo said, and then burst into laughter. The other side. Sister Yanyan, what next? Yi Xiaomu asked curiously. Chapter 116, The Brother and Sister Who Burned Their Eyebrows. The fire spread very quickly. He happened to be standing next to a patch of weeds, and the fire started all of a sudden. His front hair and eyebrows were all burned off, Su Yan said, and then burst into laughter. The actual situation back then was that both of them were now beside the weeds, and then, in the end, the two of them were beaten when they returned home. Of course, Su Yan, who was older at the time, took the initiative to admit her mistake and shouldn't have allowed her brother to play with fire. But no one believed it. because in the eyes of the elders, Su Luo was the naughty one. Su Yan is well-behaved in front of her elders, but mischievous in private, which Wu Zhenghua understands well. Yi Xiaomu laughed when she heard this. She grew up in Shanghai, but she didn't have such fun experiences as a child. After chatting for a while, Su Luo and Wu Zhenghua returned to the living room. At this time, the atmosphere was a little strange. Wu Zhenghua looked at Su Yan and wanted to laugh, while Yi Xiaomu looked at Su Luo and also wanted to laugh. "What are you talking about?" Su Luo asked curiously, looking at Yi Xiaomu's expression. "Haha, let's talk about the time your eyebrows were burned off." Yi Xiaomu covered her mouth and laughed. "Haha, I was ignorant when I was a kid." Su Luo's face changed and she smiled awkwardly. Wu Zhenghua looked at Su Luo strangely and thought, wasn't it Su Yan's eyebrows that were burned off? Su Luo thought Su Yan meant that both of them were in urgent need of help, so she didn't mention the matter again. So let's leave this question to Wu Zhenghua and Su Yan's night talk. "It's time to eat," Sun Yun and Yang Ziulan shouted after bringing the dishes to the table. The four fathers-in-law and sons-in-law sat together. On the table was Daoyutai wine brought back from Qi and Lu. It was cheaper than Maodai, but it was also a wine produced in Guizhou. Su Luo and Wu Zhenghua looked at each other and smiled bitterly. In this situation, the two youngsters would probably have to drink less. "Zio Luo, Zio Wu, you two should drink less," Sun Yun reminded. "Zhiyuan, Zio Wu rarely comes home and he's staying upstairs today. He has to have a few drinks anyway." Su Ziyuan waved his hand and spoke. Although Yang Ziulan didn't want Su Zhiyuan to drink too much, and it wasn't appropriate to say too much on this occasion, she was still relieved. "First, we are indeed at home, and second, this is a family dinner after all, so we won't drink too much." Okay, brother can't drink much, so you should be careful." Sun Yun glared at Su Ziyuan and said. "Don't worry, I know how much you need, brother," Su Ziyuan said with a smile. "Sister-in-law Yanyan Xiaomu, let's eat more dishes," Sun Yun called out. The family of 8 enjoyed the meal to their heart's content and divided the 2 bottles of wine among themselves. The men drank quite a bit, so Sun Yun took Su Zhiyuan and the others to the 3rd floor, where 2 rooms had been cleaned up in the afternoon. "Sister-in-law, the room has been cleaned up and the toiletries are all new," Sun Yun said. "Thank you, sister-in-law, for your hard work." Yang Ziulan returned the greeting. "You're welcome. You should go to bed early, Yanyan Zio Wu." Sun Yun said hello and went downstairs. Yang Ziulan took Su Zhiyuan, and Su Yan supported Wu Zhenghua and they each returned to their rooms. Wu Zhenghua returned to the room and woke up instantly. "You're not drunk," Su Yan said with a smile. "You know how much I can drink. Dad is drunk, so it would be inappropriate for me not to pretend." Wu Zhenghua rubbed Su Yan's head and said with a smile. "What a pity you drank today," Su Yan suddenly said with a pout. "What's wrong? It's time for us to have a baby. It's not appropriate for you to be like this today," Su Yan said with a slightly red face. "Yeah, then there's no rush. I still want to spend more time with the 2 of us. Let's just let nature take its course," Wu Zhenghua said gently, leaning close to Su Yan. Let's go wash up." Su Yan felt happy when she heard that, and then she pulled Wu Zhenghua into the bathroom. Yan likes calligraphy. After washing up with Zhenghua, she holds the brush in her hand, opens her red lips, and moistens the tip of the brush. Adding water to the inkstone, Zhenghua rubbed it with his fingers, while Yan closed her eyes contentedly. After a while, the water stained the ink, and Yan observed the ink dot on Zhenghua's lips, smiling sweetly. Then Yan took up the brush, dipped it in ink and rubbed it, then wrote on the paper. Her strokes were vigorous, as if penetrating into wood, and the brush danced on the paper. Zhenghua was very happy. He lay on the bed, holding cherries in both hands to congratulate Yan. 3 minutes later, all the ink and brush was on the paper. The masterpiece was naturally completed, and Yan couldn't help but feel happy. "Oh, how comfortable it is," Yan sighed, putting down her pen. Zhenghua brought the inkstone and brush wash with him. After practicing calligraphy, Su Yan leaned obediently in Wu Zhenghua's arms and closed her eyes. After driving all day, writing calligraphy with Su Yan, and drinking a little, Wu Zhenghua was exhausted and had already fallen asleep. On the other side, Yi Xiaomu and Su Luo, who had just washed up, were lying on the bed, talking privately. "Zio Mu, how do you feel today?" Su Luo asked softly. "It's pretty good. I was a little nervous at the beginning, worried that they wouldn't like me, but after we really got along, it was pretty good," Yi Xiaomu said with a smile. "I told you my mother likes you very much," Su Luo said with a smile. "Of course, I am a little fairy," Yi Xiaomu said proudly with her head raised. "That beautiful little fairy, can you go to bed now?" Su Luo stretched out her index and middle fingers, put them together in front of Yi Xiaomu, and then bent them to indicate that she was kneeling down to worship the fairy. My little fairy doesn't want to sleep now. I haven't read the 300,000 words yet, Yizayamu said proudly while shaking his mobile phone. Okay then, don't look at it for too long. I'll continue typing. After Suluo finished speaking, she lowered her head and kissed Yizayamu, then stood up to type. Suluo? Suddenly, Yizayamu's eyes turned red and he looked at Suluo angrily. Wife, what's wrong with you? Who offended you? Suluo looked at Yizayamu and felt a little nervous. She immediately ran to the bed, hugged her, and asked, Damn it, how could Bai Wei die? Yizayamu said in a trembling voice. Suluo didn't know what to say. Honey, will she be resurrected? Yizayamu asked with some anticipation. Suluo was silent. He had read all the plots of Zhu Xianjuan, but in the end, hate it, I won't watch it anymore. Suluo, sleep with me. Yizayamu pursed her lips and said angrily. Okay. Suluo typed another 40,000 words tonight, and now has 80,000 words in reserve. Suluo was quite satisfied. With about another 1,000,000 words left, the book could be completed. After turning off the computer, Suluo lay down next to Yizayamu. Yizayamu hugged Suluo tightly, feeling a little upset. This is love. Suluo gently stroked Yizayamu and said softly. Yizayamu nodded. She was very quiet that night and just hugged Suluo tightly. Cherish the present, cherish what you already have. Gradually, the two fell asleep in each other's arms. Although they were a little emo before, at this moment, they both had smiles on their faces. As Yiluo updated 300,000 words today, the comment section is bound to be turbulent. Chapter 117, Sorry for the joke. Host. You bastard, give me back my biwei. 3 lives and 7 generations, forever in hell. I cried, Master Yiluo will Bai Wang be resurrected. My heart aches, I'm crying so hard. These tears are only for biwei. No, I seem to hear the sound of bells. Is it my biwei? Zhang Ziaofen, why didn't you tell Bai Wang earlier that it was her you saw in that ancient well? I'm so angry, so angry. Suluo didn't read these comments, but from this moment on, Zhu Xianjuan was sublimated. The scholar had dark circles under his eyes and noticed that the background data had soared again. Li Ziaoshwang was hiding in the quilt and crying loudly at this time. From the company's project establishment, the first project was The Legend of Zhu Xian. She watched it carefully, preparing to write the script, and ended up reading this today. At this moment, she wished she could rush straight to Suluo's house and put a knife to Suluo's neck. After thinking for 3 seconds, she decided to forget it. She didn't dare, but she was definitely not a coward. After all, he was her boss. And she had a faint hope in her heart that Bai Wei could be resurrected. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals recommended products. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. Ding ling ling. Early in the morning on Qingming Festival, Yizayamu's phone rang. Yizayamu answered the phone in a daze, and a scream came out. Yizayamu immediately put the phone away and looked at the caller ID, Zhu Qing. Zioking, why are you calling me so early in the morning? Yizayamu took the phone back and said dissatisfiedly. Suluo was also woken up by the phone call and watched Yizayamu answer the phone quietly. What do you think I did? Did your husband do it on purpose? Oh, my dear biwei, Zhu Qing screamed miserably. Isn't it just a novel? Why are you so excited? Suluo said indifferently when she saw Yizayamu turning on the hands-free mode and looking at her. Oh, why am I even more angry? Suluo, you are so annoying. I am so angry, Zhu Qing said and hung up the phone directly. Husband, I told you that you are so annoying. You even erased the name Bai Wei. Yizayamu patted Suluo and said angrily. I'm trying to push the plot forward. It's been set up long ago. Suluo shrugged and said helplessly. Give me your cell phone. Yizayamu looked at Suluo with a helpless look on her face and stretched out her hand. Suluo picked up the phone and put it in Yizayamu's hand. Then she clicked a few times, and 40,000 of Suluo's 80,000 manuscripts were sent out. Yizayamu is not stupid, so how could he possibly clear all the words that Suluo had worked so hard to type again? This is actually just a kind of fun. She has always thought that these book friends are so interesting. Then Yizayamu turned on her mobile phone. Luo Yi, I'm so pissed. I've already sent out all his saved drafts, humph. Yi Luo wrote Bai Wei to death, which made his wife angry. Why don't you quickly arrange for her to be resurrected? I like Lu Zuki. If Bai Wei dies, then so be it. You may not like Bai Wei, but please don't hurt Bai Wei's fans. Suluo looked at Yizayamu, who was commenting casually, and shook her head. Immerse yourself in the mind. Bite. Congratulations on receiving the Qingming Festival gift package. The system prompted. Opened. Opened successfully. Congratulations on obtaining God-level hacking abilities. Su Luo was delighted. This ability was exactly what he needed. He had been planning to find one privately. Tongzi, you have won my heart. Excuse me, host. Su Luo got up, washed up, then sat down at the computer and turned to look at Yi Xiaomu, who was still commenting. Seeing that her attention was not here, he started working frantically on the computer. The moment Su Luo finally hit the enter key, all traces of Su Luo on the internet today disappeared. On Weibo, within just 10 minutes, a hot search was instantly pushed to the top. Li Yang revealed his criminal record, which included homosexuality, rape, and WCN. Just for thanking him, he should be sentenced to at least 13 years. It also includes evidence of various economic crimes, misappropriation of company funds, and bird-head businesses in the entertainment industry. Su Luo controlled Li Yang's own account and sent out all the evidence. At the same time, in order to spread the message faster, he also at Eid Brothers Entertainment and the Shanghai Police Department. The Shanghai Public Security Bureau did not disappoint everyone and verified the information as soon as possible. In just 20 minutes, Li Yang was taken back to the police station. After doing all this, Su Luo deleted all the log records in the computer and hid his achievements and fame. Su Luo did not touch Yang Xiaodong this time, because once she touched him, the two people's situations of being exposed were similar. The police deduced through interpersonal relationships, and it was very likely that Su Luo was the one involved. Then Su Luo turned off the computer and walked to Xiaomu. "Wife, do you want to sleep a little longer or get up now?" Su Luo asked. "Let me get up, we have to worship our ancestors today," Yi Xiaomu said as he sat up. "It will be fine at noon, we have nothing to do in the morning," Su Luo said with a smile. "It's not good to get up, it's already 8 o'clock," Yi Xiaomu said, stretching out his hands. "Hubby, pick me up." "Okay." Su Luo picked up Yi Xiaomu in a princess hug, then gently placed her on the ground, put on her slippers, and let her stand up. "I'm going to wash up first. Wait for me and go out together." Yi Xiaomu tilted his head, blinked at Su Luo, and then walked towards the bathroom. "Xiaomu, I have news to tell you," Su Luo said with a smile, holding Yi Xiaomu's hand. "Li Yang has been arrested and sentenced to at least 13 years. Yi Xiaomu heard it, was stunned for a moment, and then a smile appeared on her face. "Did you do it?" Seeing Su Luo's confident look in front of him, Yi Xiaomu looked at Su Luo expectantly. "It can be and it can be not," Su Luo gave an ambiguous answer. Yi Xiaomu understood what was going on after hearing this. With her intelligence, she would never mention this matter again, because she was already certain that it was Su Luo who did it. "Thank you, husband." Yi Xiaomu threw herself into Su Luo's arms, hugging Su Luo's back tightly with her arms. She likes the feeling of being protected and cared for. "Okay, wife, go wash up," Su Luo said, pushing Yi Xiaomu into the bathroom. Soon, Yi Xiaomu finished washing up and pulled Su Luo out of the room. At this time, next to the living room downstairs, Su's father and mother, as well as Su Zhiyuan and Yang Ziolan, were sitting in the living room chatting. Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu greeted each one of them, and then took Yi Xiaomu to the restaurant. Maybe they were really tired from practicing calligraphy yesterday, so Su Yan and Wu Zhenghua were still sleeping at this time. Brothers Entertainment President's office. Luo Wen was so angry that he threw his phone directly to the ground and looked at his assistant beside him. "Help me check Li Yang's recent activities and find out who he offended." "Okay, Mr. Luo," the secretary bowed and left the office. Chapter 118, Return to the Magic City. In detention center, Li Yang's heart was filled with fear. He knew that he would definitely go to jail for what he had done. What he will have to face for the rest of his life are soap, batons, and shit stirrers. But now he has no idea who harmed him. He squatted in the corner trembling. A figure appeared in his mind, and the scene of being slapped was vivid in his mind. But he really couldn't figure out how Su Luo could achieve such a level of success if she did it. After eliminating all possibilities, the one that remains, even if it is impossible, may be the correct answer. So an idea suddenly popped up in Li Yang's mind for a moment. Eliminate all possibilities, and the only thing left is impossibility. Did he really take those criminal records and upload them himself? Do I have a split personality? Shit. Li Yang is feeling miserable. I really didn't take this photo seriously. Ancestor worship during Qingming Festival is a Chinese tradition with many meanings. The air is clear and the scenery is bright, and activities to commemorate ancestors are carried out with ritual sacrifices. Remember the tradition and pass on the Chinese national spirit. Solemnly express your thoughts and respect for your deceased relatives and ancestors. We are grateful for the dedication and efforts of our ancestors for our descendants and future generations, and for passing on the cultural spirit of China. After Su Luo and Yi Zairamu finished bowing, the Qingming ancestor worship ceremony ended. The two families sat together in the restaurant to eat. "See you, and we will be going back soon," Su Zhiyuan said. "Brother, can't you stay for 2 more days?" "I can't stay here anymore. I can't leave the company," Su Zhiyuan said helplessly. "I understand, it's all the same," Su Zhiyuan nodded. "The company has been running for a long time and has made enough money, but it continues to operate in order to prevent its employees from losing their jobs. This is a kind of responsibility. Brother, you might as well learn from me. I found a professional manager and handed over the rest to him. I freed myself." Su Zhiyuan smiled and said that his original ambitions had been put aside, but because of his son's marriage and his father Yi's liking for him, he was asked to give up his power and just be a director in peace in the future. "There's no other way. The economy has been in recession in recent years, and I still have to bear it," Su Zhiyuan sighed. His main business is foreign trade, which has been greatly affected this year. Now the entire company has not yet recovered, so he still has to give it a try. "Okay, big brother, I won't keep you here. If you have any difficulties, don't hesitate to give me a call," Su Zhiyuan said seriously. After dinner, Su Zhiyuan and his family drove away, and the originally lively home became quiet. "Zairo Luo, your mother and I will be moving to Shanghai in 2 days. The handover at the company is almost complete." Su Zhiyuan looked at Su Luo, who was walking over, and said with a smile, "Okay, I bought a house over there. Are you sure you don't want to move there?" Su Luo pulled Yi Zairamu to sit on the sofa and spoke. "We won't go there. It's more comfortable for you two to live on your own, but it's nice for your mom, Zairamu's parents, and I to visit each other." Su Zhiyuan refused. "Okay, that's up to you." Su Luo nodded and agreed. There was nothing to do next, so Su Luo and Yi Zairamu packed up simply, said goodbye to their father and mother, and set out on the journey back to the Magic City. "Zairo Mu, do you have any ideas about the album?" On the way, Su Luo began to think about Yi Zairamu's plans for the next period of time. "I don't want to make an album anymore, let's just release a single. The last one was a bit sweet," Yi Zairamu said with a smile. After all, an album needs songs, and she has tried to compose it herself, but obviously she has no inspiration. "Are you afraid that you won't have any songs?" Su Luo glanced at Yi Zairamu's face and naturally understood her concerns. Yi Zairamu was seen through by Su Luo and was speechless, not knowing what to say. "Don't worry, I'll write the song. Don't worry about anything else," Su Luo said with a smile. "What kind of music do you like?" "Sweet," Yi Zairamu squinted her eyes and laughed. "Sweet love, I want to sing it with you." "Wife, are you going to show off your love to me online?" Su Luo raised the corner of his mouth. "Yes, why don't you want to?" "You must be willing," Su Luo replied. "However, I still have to write a few songs that suit you, otherwise it would be bad if I angered the sour grapes." Su Luo thought for a while and spoke. According to Su Luo's idea, the duet song would be released as a single, and then exchanged for a few songs suitable for Yi Zairamu to release an album. "During the year of pregnancy and the time when the child was young and needed his mother, I maintained my popularity by singing. When the children are older, you can consider entering the film and television industry, and then find a way to write or exchange a script yourself. But I don't know if his wife will still want to make a comeback by then. As long as there are fans who like me, it's fine to sing for them," Yi Zairamu said sweetly. "Honey, why don't we move there tonight?" Yi Zairamu continued, seeming to be in the mood. "Don't you want to stay another night?" "No, I'll tell my parents and we'll move there tonight." As Yi Zairamu spoke, she took out her cell phone and sent a message to her parents. Su Luo smiled and did not object. "All right, let's go home and grab some common things, and then we can go. If we don't have enough, we can buy more." Yi Zairamu put away her phone and spoke. "Okay, I'll listen to you," Su Luo smiled. "Sister, I will find a way, but don't get your hopes up. After all, the evidence is too sufficient," Luo Wen said helplessly while holding the phone. "I don't care, he is your nephew," Li's mother said, crying. "I told you long ago to discipline you, but now you've caused trouble. I'll try my best to find a solution." Luo Wen couldn't bear to see his sister too sad, so he had to agree. But he had no idea what to do to save his nephew. He couldn't just let him go to the execution ground and shout for mercy. At this time, Luo Wen's assistant, Lu Yao, walked in. "Mr. Luo, I found out that the couple Su Luo and Yi Zairamu had a conflict with Li Yang recently. It is said that Li Yang had tried to drug Yi Zairamu before, but was discovered." Lu Yao placed the information in his hand in front of Luo Wen and began to talk about what he found in the document. Yizairamu Su Luo, Luo Wen murmured. Do they have this ability? Luo Wen seemed to be talking to himself and seemed to be asking the assistant beside him. Forget it, no matter if they have it or not. These two people will notify our partners and ban them. Luo Wen shook his head, stretched out his hand and pinched his eyebrows, speaking casually. Yes, Lu Yao nodded and left the office. Luo Wen sat in the chair and thought for a long time, then took out his cell phone. Luo Wu, my sister, asked us to find a way to rescue Li Yang. Is there any way? Luo Wen called his brother. Chapter 119, recording a new song. What can I do? You overestimate me. The evidence is irrefutable. Do you know what irrefutable evidence means? Luo Wu spoke casually, with a hint of gloating in his words. Luo Wu is also a shareholder of Brothers Entertainment, but he just holds a position there. The chairman is Luo Wen. He has always disliked Li Yang. His dandy behavior is useless to him. He also tried to persuade his sister to open a new account, but she was unwilling to do so. I know it's difficult, so I called you to find a solution together. Luo Wen was also helpless to have such a nephew. The evidence showed that Li Yang had directly or indirectly embezzled more than 200 million yuan from the company over the years, but his sister didn't mention it at all. If it weren't for this reason, no matter who Li Yang is, he would definitely be punished severely, and he might even never be able to make a comeback. There's nothing we can do. It's best to let him reform himself. Based on the circumstances, he should be sentenced to at least 30 years. Luo Wu finally sighed. After all, that was her sister's flesh and blood. Can't we get him out, make him a mental patient, or some disease? Luo Wen asked tentatively. Brother, don't even think about any crooked ways. There's no hope for what Li Yang did, Luo Wu said and hung up the phone. Where were we just now? Luo Wu, who had hung up the phone, was now sitting in a cafe opposite a charming beauty. Mr. Luo, you said you would make me the leading actress, the beautiful woman said charmingly. Okay, what matters most is your performance, Luo Wu said with a wicked smile. Mr. Luo, do you have time now? I've just learned a new dance. Can I show you? The beautiful woman hooked Luo Wu's legs with her feet in stockings. Of course I have time, Luo Wu said with narrowed eyes. Then Luo Wu stood up, pulled the beautiful woman over, held her in his arms, and walked towards the parking lot. A hint of disgust flashed across the beauty's eyes, but quickly disappeared. Luo Wu thought that the difference between him and Li Yang was that he was completely based on mutual consent, while Li Yang was somewhat unscrupulous. Wow, this recording studio is so professional. The first thing Yizairamu did when he arrived at the villa was to look at the recording studio. It's pretty good, Su Luo nodded. Remember to reimburse my Omeo, Yizairamu said seriously. Don't worry, it has been reimbursed. I will definitely not let that little girl suffer any loss, Su Luo said with a smile. Record a song, Yizairamu said excitedly. Aren't you tired? Su Luo said in surprise. Why are you so tired? I haven't recorded a song for a long time. Yizairamu waved his hand and said, Okay then. Su Luo nodded and followed Yizairamu into the recording studio. Su Luo and Yizairamu both have top-notch singing skills, and they recorded a somewhat sweet song in just one take. Zairo Mu, you record the song here, I'll go cook, Su Luo said as it was already evening. Okay, I want to eat sweet and sour pork ribs, Yizairamu said expectantly. Okay, but I need to order some takeout and have some food delivered. It'll take a while. Su Luo looked at Yizairamu and felt happy unconsciously. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not very hungry now. I'll record it again and wait for you outside. Yizairamu nodded and said with a smile. Su Luo took a look and found nothing wrong, so she ordered spare ribs, pork belly, and some vegetarian dishes. System redeem song type, love song duet. Redemption successful, reward song because of love. Su Luo immediately wrote down the lyrics and music. While waiting for the takeaway, Su Luo took the lyrics and music to find Yizairamu, who had just recorded the song. Wife, take a look at this song. Su Luo handed over the paper. Yizairamu took it and found it was another song. Hubby, you're awesome. You wrote another song. Yizairamu looked at Su Luo without even raising her head. Su Luo said that she suddenly felt so perfunctory. He didn't even raise his head when praising someone. She was so angry. Just as he was thinking about it, he saw Yizairamu put his arms around Su Luo's neck, pulled him down, and kissed Su Luo on the lips. Honey, you're awesome. This song is so good, Yizairamu said excitedly as their lips parted. Basic exercises are not bad, Su Luo said proudly. Looking at his wife's admiring eyes, Su Luo felt proud. Childish, then I'll make the accompaniment first, and we'll record it later. Yi Zayaramu patted Su Luo, then sat down next to the equipment and spoke. Okay, I'll send the recorded song to Mayo Mio, Su Luo said as she picked up the phone. Mayo Mio, brother-in-law, what's wrong? Zio just recorded 2 songs and will send them to you later. You can upload them to the music platform. By the way, write the lyrics and music for Yi Luo, Su Luo said. Really? Okay. Lu Mayo was obviously very excited. After all, Yi Zayaramu is the only artist in Zayaramu Entertainment at the moment. I'm also pregnant, so I haven't had any other work during this period, so I'm just recruiting people. Su Luo hung up the phone and sent the lossless files of the 2 songs. Then Su Luo walked out of the recording studio. Because the takeaway had arrived, she took the ingredients to the kitchen and sorted the ones that would not be used today and put them in the refrigerator. Honey, okay, let's go record the song. Yi Zayaramu ran into the kitchen with an excited look on her face and said, The meal will be ready soon, let's eat first. Su Luo smiled and rubbed Yi Zayaramu's head, speaking gently. Snap, Yi Zayaramu turned off the fire. No, eat after recording, otherwise it won't feel right, Yi Zayaramu said seriously. Okay, Su Luo nodded helplessly. I had been planning to finish the remaining 8 songs at once today. Seeing Yi Zayaramu's condition, it's better to slow down a bit. Otherwise, she will forget about her pregnancy and record songs day and night without eating or sleeping. When it comes to singing, Yi Zayaramu has always been very serious. Of course, the reason why Su Luo agreed was because, with their abilities, they only needed to record once or twice. Soon, Su Luo, I'll give you a CD from the past. Yi Zayaramu, I can't sing songs like that anymore. Yi Zayaramu, because of love in that place. Su Luo, there are still people wandering there. Together, people coming and going. Passed in one go. Yi Zayaramu listened to it again. Honey, it's really great. Although it's a simple song, it can bring the most real touch to people. I like this song very much. After listening, Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo and spoke seriously. As long as you like it, Su Luo said with a smile, it's time to go eat. Okay, okay. Yi Zayaramu smiled and walked out of the recording studio with Su Luo in his arm. Husband, how come you are so talented? Yi Zayaramu exclaimed. Admiration, Su Luo thought to herself. That's because your husband is a bit of a jerk, but it feels good to be admired by his wife. I feel guilty, I feel guilty. The host is so shameless. Because of love. Lyricist, Ki Jiale. Composer, Ki Jiale. Original singer, Izan Chan / Fei Wang. Chapter 120, The host is not stupid, just shameless. Didn't you ask me to say it was an original song when I sang Youth? What can I do then? Su Luo thought embarrassedly. Host, I gave you the option to deny it, but you didn't choose it. Your option of denial is a punishment, and I'm not stupid. The host is not stupid, just shameless. Tongzi Yu. Lululu. On the other side, Yi Zayaramu pulled Su Luo and stopped at the door of the restaurant. He looked at Su Luo with a sweet smile, and the two looked at each other. Admire, like, what about you, do you like me? Yi Zayaramu said seriously. I like you, Su Luo replied seriously. 2 people slowly approached. Ding-ling-ling. Yi Zayaramu's cell phone rang, interrupting the sweetness between the two. Mayo Mia, what's wrong? Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo helplessly and picked up the phone. Su Luo smiled and pulled Yi Zayaramu, who was answering the phone, to sit next to the dining table. Sister Zayaramu, something happened. I just called several music platforms, and when they heard it was your song, they refused to accept it. Lu Mayo Mio said nervously. Yi Zayaramu's expression suddenly became serious, and then he turned on the hands-free mode. Have you asked the reason? A calm voice came out of Yi Zayaramu's mouth. I heard that it was Brothers Entertainment that proposed to ban you and your brother-in-law in the circle. Lu Mayo Mio explained. Have all music platforms rejected it? Su Luo frowned and asked. Brother-in-law, I contacted several major music platforms, but they all rejected me, said Lu Mayo Mio. Several major music platforms are not afraid of Brothers Entertainment, but there is no need to offend Brothers Entertainment for Yi Zayaramu. After all, it is no secret in the circle that the copyright belongs to the company after Yi Zayaramu terminated the contract, and it may not be much better if she chooses new songs to sing. Therefore, everyone understands how Yi Zayaramu and Brothers Entertainment stand on the same side. Su Luo sighed inwardly, thinking that she was careless, even though she used a god-level hacker to hide the fact that she had reported Li Yang. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals fine recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add. However, the conflict between Li Yang and him could still be found out. Even if they were not sure whether it was Su Luo who did it, They obviously wanted someone to vent their anger at this time. Mio mio, first look for some small music platforms to see if there are any interested in cooperation, Su Luo said. In fact, Su Luo didn't have too much to worry about at the moment, as he could provide the resources himself. Therefore, Brothers Entertainment's ban on the couple will not have much effect at all. Okay, brother-in-law, Lu Mio Mio agreed. Zio Luo, it's Tanya. At this time, Tanya took Lu Mio Mio's call and spoke. Sister Ya, what's wrong? Su Luo asked puzzledly. This ban isn't just targeting you too. Xiaomu Entertainment should be affected as well. Meow Meow brought back an artist yesterday. They were planning to sign a contract tomorrow, but they just called and said they didn't want to sign. Of course, since the company hasn't officially started operations yet, the impact isn't that big. Tanya briefly explained the situation. It was not a big deal, but it was not a good sign. Okay, Sister Ya, I understand. Don't worry. Let Mio Mio continue looking for someone. You can go directly to the school to look for them, Su Luo said. If the song really cannot be released in the end, then Su Luo will definitely have to find a way to enter the film and television industry. Okay, the company's operations and recruitment have not been affected. There's still time. But I estimate that it will only take a few days at most. By then, without the artists, everyone will be idle, Tanya said. Okay, Sister Ya, don't worry. It's not a big problem. Husband, Yizayamu hung up the phone and looked at Su Luo. It's okay, don't worry, let's eat. Su Luo rubbed Yizayamu's head and said gently. Okay, Yizayamu nodded, feeling a little uncomfortable. Don't think too much, wife. You're pregnant now. I was just banned by Brothers Entertainment. Don't worry, you know my methods. Su Luo picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork ribs and put it in Yizayamu's bowl. Really? Of course I have to. I already have a solution. Don't worry, this problem can be solved in a week at most. Su Luo smiled mysteriously. Yizayamu's mood immediately improved when she saw Su Luo's relaxed look. She didn't care whether she would be banned or not, but Xiaomu was Su Luo's career, and she cared about it. Let's eat. After dinner, I still have to go right. I don't have many drafts saved, Su Luo said with a smile. Yeah, Xiaomu nodded, and the two of them ate while talking and laughing. After dinner, Su Luo washed the dishes and went back to the master bedroom on the second floor to start typing. Xiaomu put the two people's clothes into the closet, then lay on the bed and looked at the messages on Weibo. Ding-ling-ling. Xiaomu's cell phone rang again. Xiaomu answered the call and turned on the speakerphone. Sister Xiaomu, I just called several smaller music platforms, and finally one showed intention to cooperate. Lu Mio Mio said straight to the point. Su Luo also stopped typing and walked to the bed and sat down. What platform? Xiaomu asked. Tomato music platform, I checked it out. It's a newly established music platform, and there aren't even many songs on it. Lu Mio Mio began to introduce this newly opened music platform. Don't they know that we have been banned? Su Luo asked. I asked, and they said they didn't care. As long as there were good songs, they were willing to collaborate. What are the details? Su Luo asked. They want to meet tomorrow to discuss cooperation, but I haven't agreed yet. Well, promise them that I'll go and take a look tomorrow. Su Luo thought about it briefly and agreed. Okay, then I'll go and make an appointment with them, Lu Mio Mio said and hung up the phone. After a while, Lu Mio Mio called again to confirm the time and place. Tomorrow at noon, summer banquet in Peony Hall. Then Su Luo typed for a while. Honey, I'm ready to take a shower. Xiaomu hung up the phone and said softly. Okay, I'll accompany you. Su Luo looked at the time. It was already past 9 o'clock in the evening. In these few hours, Su Luo typed another 40,000 words. Yeah, Xiaomu opened the wardrobe, took out her pajamas, and followed Su Luo into the bathroom. Huge bathroom with shower and a heart-shaped bathtub. 40 minutes later, Su Luo and Xiaomu finished washing up. Su Luo threw her clothes into the washing machine, while Xiaomu washed their underwear by hand. Honey, lie down quickly. I'll go hang up the clothes. After Su Luo finished speaking, she carried the basin to the balcony and hung up the clothes one by one. After hanging up the clothes, Su Luo washed her hands and lay down next to Xiaomu. Looking at Xiaomu, who was already asleep, Su Luo smiled, hugged her from behind, and then closed her eyes. Chapter 121, Smell It. There is still fragrance. The next day, young actress Ma Chuchen committed suicide by jumping off a building this morning. According to the autopsy report, he had taken a large amount of hallucinogenic drugs before his death, and it was ultimately determined to be an accidental death. Luo Wu was at home at this time, watching the news with a changing expression on his face. Cough, a light cough came from behind Luo Wu. Brother, Luo Wu turned around and looked at Luo Wen at the door. Don't worry, it's been dealt with. Luo Wen walked to the chair next to Luo Wu and sat down. Brother, what about the evidence? Luo Wu said hesitantly. Don't worry, they have all been suppressed and all the Weibo posts have been deleted. Luo Wen said casually. That's good. Luo Wu nodded and breathed a long sigh of relief. You better be careful next time. Don't let someone set you up without you even realizing it. You know, if we were in this position and everything we did was exposed, we wouldn't have enough lives to survive. Luo Wen looked at Luo Wu and spoke seriously. That kid Li Yang doesn't know much. If he can figure it out, he'll figure it out. If he can't, forget it. Luo Wen added. Ma Chuchen is the beautiful woman who appeared in the coffee shop with Luo Wu yesterday. Her sister died a few years ago. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930, /TT keyword add even she and her parents hadn't seen her sister's body before it was cremated. She didn't believe that there was nothing wrong. Her sister was an artist of Brothers Entertainment a few years ago, so she has been working hard in the entertainment industry in recent years just to investigate the truth behind her sister's death. Finally, she was brought home by Luo Wu yesterday. She took advantage of Luo Wu's tiredness and sleep to look for evidence. She found her sister's necklace and a USB drive. So Ma Chuchen ran home overnight and opened the USB drive. There were various short videos in it. Ma Chuchen didn't care about the eye irritation and opened it to watch immediately. Finally, Ma Chuchen opened a video, and when he saw the woman in it, his eyes instantly turned red. The woman struggled hard and was then dragged out of the video by Luo Wu. Then some noises made Ma Chuchen conclude that Luo Wu was persecuting the woman. Soon there was no movement. Then a man came in from outside and was surprised to see the scene in front of him. Luo Wu, what are you doing? The man said in shock. Brother, this woman is still resisting. I'll teach her a lesson, Luo Wu said casually. Damn it, she's dead. Luo Wen moved closer to the woman and checked. What? Luo Wu was shocked. Brother, what should we do? Luo Wu's voice was a little panicked, and he looked at his elder brother pleadingly. Don't panic, I'll find a way, Luo Wen said calmly. Be more careful next time, don't do this kind of thing again. After Luo Wen and Luo Wu discussed the solution, they gave serious instructions. Brother, I understand. I promise to follow your and our wishes from now on, Luo Wu promised immediately. Okay, let's go. I'll arrange someone to handle it, Luo Wen said and walked out of the room. Then Luo Wu walked to the camera and turned off the video. Ma Chuchen covered his mouth tightly, his body shaking violently. He didn't know why Luo Wu kept this video, but it also allowed her to see today that her sister's death was not an accident. Ma Chuchen immediately took out her mobile phone, logged into her Weibo, sent a message, and at Eid Brothers Entertainment. Upload the necklace and video. The video you uploaded failed to pass the review. Ma Chuchen had no choice but to mosaic some of the videos immediately. When she finished uploading, a smile appeared on her face. Finally, the truth about her sister was revealed. But soon, she found that the video she uploaded had been deleted, and she could no longer log into her Weibo account. The video she uploaded caused some minor stir, but it never seemed to go viral. Just when Ma Chuchen was about to upload again, the door of her house was opened. When Su Luo opened her eyes, Yi Xiaoramu's feet were on her face. Looking at Yi Xiaoramu, who was sleeping sideways, Su Luo couldn't help laughing. Xiaomu. Su Luo sat up and called softly. Husband, good morning. Yi Xiaoramu opened her eyes in a daze. Then Yi Xiaoramu felt something was wrong. Where was the pillow? She stood up and realized that she had been sleeping sideways. Ha, this bed is very comfortable to sleep on, Yi Xiaoramu said embarrassedly with a slightly red face. Indeed, the stinky feet were placed on my face, Su Luo said with a look of disgust. Where does it stink? Yi Xiaoramu's face changed when he heard that and he spoke. I was woken up by the smell this morning, Su Luo said seriously. Seeing the way Su Luo spoke, Yi Xiaoramu felt a little suspicious. She raised her foot and put it on her nose, and her nose moved slightly. Who said that? Smell it, it's not smelly at all, Yi Xiaoramu said, relaxing. Then he lifted his foot and brought it to Su Luo's nose. I don't hear it, Su Luo dodged. No, you must smell it. My feet don't smell at all. They are fragrant. Yi Xiaoramu followed Su Luo's movements and shook his feet. Okay, it doesn't smell. My wife's feet don't smell. Su Luo smiled, grabbed Yi Xiaoramu's feet and spoke. No, you didn't even smell it, Yi Xiaoramu said with a pout. Okay, let me smell it, Su Luo said lovingly as she looked at Yi Xiaoramu, who suddenly became childish. Then he pulled Yi Xiaoramu's foot and put it next to his nose. But Yi Zairamu's eyes turned, and her little foot touched Su Luo's lips. "Ha ha ha, doesn't it smell good?" Yi Zairamu said with a big laugh. Seeing this, Su Luo moved to Yi Zairamu's side, leaned over and kissed her. Yi Zairamu was speechless. "Ha ha ha, wife, do your feet smell good?" Su Luo let go of Yi Zairamu and said with a laugh. "Pa pa pa." "Wife, are you disgusted with yourself?" Su Luo teased with a smile. "Su Luo, you are so annoying. Humph, I'm going to wash up," Yi Zairamu said angrily. Looking at Yi Zairamu, who was running away in a panic, Su Luo smiled. "My feet smell good. Humph." Yi Zairamu walked to the bathroom door, looked at Su Luo, and said loudly. Then, with a proud snort, she pushed the door open and entered the bathroom. Su Luo touched her lips, then stood up and walked into the bathroom. "Bad guy, what are you doing in here?" Yi Zairamu said coquettishly while squeezing toothpaste. "Of course I accompanied my wife to wash up." Su Luo smiled and rubbed Yi Zairamu's hair. "HMPH, you even dislike my smelly feet. Get out of here right now. I don't want you to accompany me," Yi Zairamu said with her head raised. "My wife's feet don't smell, they smell nice, I love them." Su Luo leaned close to Yi Zairamu's ear and whispered. Feeling the hot breath from Su Luo and hearing her words, Yi Zairamu suddenly felt hot on his face, and his ears turned red. "Hate it, you're so perverted," Yi Zairamu said in a low voice with a hint of shyness in her eyes. Chapter 122, Not As He Wish. "Do you like it?" Su Luo controlled her voice and spoke gently with a hint of magnetism. Yi Zairamu immediately felt numb all over. "Ha ha ha, okay, go wash up. I'll make you breakfast later." Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu's shocked expression and laughed out loud. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals recommended products. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add. "Wife, do you know that you are not well when you sleep?" Su Luo said. At this time, two people were sitting in the restaurant eating breakfast. "It should be okay." Yi Zairamu lowered his head and said in a low voice. "I wasn't like this before. I only became like this when I slept with you. It's all your fault." Looking at Yi Zairamu's angry look, Su Luo smiled. "From now on, I'll hold you from behind when we sleep." Then you'll always poke me." When Yi Zairamu heard Su Luo's words, a picture instantly appeared in his mind and he blurted out. "Cough, cough." Su Luo almost spit out a mouthful of porridge. Yi Zairamu finally agreed and thought about what she had just said, but she was not so shy anymore. After all, it was not Su Luo who was flirting with her at that time. After all, she had various close contacts with Su Luo, so it was normal for her to drive a car. Yes, that's right. There's no need to be shy about driving with your husband. "Hubby, are you shy?" Yi Zairamu teased Su Luo with a fake smile. "Well, what do I have to be shy about?" Su Luo drank the porridge calmly, but her mind couldn't help but think of certain scenes. "Well, you are allowed to hug me from behind to sleep at night." Looking at Su Luo, whose ears were red, Yi Zairamu said calmly. "I'm done eating." Then, Yi Zairamu quickly fled the restaurant and ran back to the bedroom. This was not because Yi Zairamu was teasing Su Luo on purpose, but because she knew that bad sleeping posture would be bad for the child. So it was good for Su Luo to hold her tightly at night and prevent her from moving around. Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu, who seemed to be running away, smiled, stood up, cleaned up the dishes, and returned to the room. At this time, Yi Zairamu was sitting barefoot on the windowsill, looking at the early morning sun. Her long hair fell behind her, and her fair and delicate face was covered with a layer of radiance. Looking at such a peaceful scene, Su Luo couldn't help but take out her cell phone and take a picture of it. "Wife, what are you thinking about?" Su Luo put away his phone, walked to Yi Zairamu, and gently placed his hand on her shoulder. Yi Zairamu raised his head, took Su Luo's hand, and held it in front of him. "It wasn't until today that I suddenly realized that the morning in Shanghai can also be beautiful," Yi Zairamu said softly. "If you like watching it, I can watch it with you every day," Su Luo said as Yi Zairamu looked out the window. "Fortunately, Lu Mio is not here. Otherwise, she would definitely tell it. That's because you live in a villa now, so of course the scenery is beautiful. Before, in order to get my parents' support, I wanted to achieve something. It felt like I was either singing or practicing songs, and I couldn't stop at all. Now that it has suddenly stopped, I feel that this kind of life is pretty good." Yi Zairamu turned his head and looked at Su Luo seriously. "I support you in whatever you want to do." Su Luo smiled at Yi Zairamu. "I want to be a true top queen, and I want to be a top star. Brother Entertainment is trying to ban us, right? I don't want him to get his wish. With so many fans supporting me, especially with you by my side, I feel like I'm not afraid of anything." Yi Zairamu's face was full of determination at this moment. "Okay, Suluo smiled and took Yizayaramu into her arms, agreeing with a smile. Since you want it, then I, Suluo, will accompany you to the top. I say, are you two going to work yet? Suluo and Tanya were being affectionate when Tanya called. Boss, do you still want to go to work? Yizayaramu blinked and said, besides being the boss, you're also an artist. Hurry up and let's go meet the person in charge of Tomato Music at noon. Okay, we'll be there soon, Yizayaramu said and hung up the phone. Sister, you asked us to go to work, Yizayaramu said with a pout. If you don't want to go, then don't go, Suluo said while rubbing Yizayaramu's head. That won't do. We just set a goal and it's not appropriate to give up now, Yizayaramu said somewhat embarrassedly. It's okay. Even if you give up, I will still support you and write a few more songs for you, Suluo said with a smile. Haha, then let's look forward to the works of the great talent Su. Yizayaramu stood up, took Suluo's hand and said with a smile. What do you mean by Sir Su? I'm just a student. Suluo felt flattered by Yizayaramu's praise. Yes, you are a married college student. Yizayaramu nodded and said seriously. It is said that it can add extra credits, Suluo said, touching his chin. Okay, let's go. Sister Ya said she has to meet with the people from the music platform at noon. Seeing Suluo showing off, Yizayaramu pulled him out the door. Yizayaramu walked in with Suluo on the 66th floor, room 6606, central building. Wow, it's really Mew Mew. The joke teller Suluo is here too, hahaha, I'm not wrong. When the two people walked in, the employees became lively. Suluo walked while waving her hands with a smile on her face. Thank you for your hard work, comrades. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Su. A voice came from one of the employees. Stand up, salute the Soviet sailors. Puch, Yizayaramu laughed out loud and gave the employee a thumbs up. Su Heyman, we're all your fans, the employees shouted. You are my black fans. After saying that, Suluo looked embarrassed and pulled Yizayaramu into Tanya's office. Listening to the laughter coming from the other side, Yizayaramu couldn't stop laughing. Suluo had no choice but to smile. You're already married, but you're still acting like a child, Tanya said helplessly in the office. I'm not big to begin with, Yizayaramu said with a smile. Then Yizayaramu pulled Suluo to sit on the sofa, and Tanya also sat over. Not long after, Lu Mayomio came in with a bottle of mineral water and handed it to Yizayaramu. Sister Zayaramu, drink mineral water. Yizayaramu took it and had no objection. After all, she was pregnant, so it was normal that she couldn't drink coffee or tea. After a while, a girl came in with a tray with 3 cups of coffee on it. Mr. Yi, Mr. Tan, Minister Lu, Assistant Su. The girl greeted them and placed the coffee in front of the 3 people except Yizayaramu. This is my assistant Jiang He. He's a fan of yours, Zyro Luo, Tanya introduced. Yizayaramu nodded and looked at Suluo. Lu Mayomio and Tanya did the same, looking at Suluo. Suluo looked at the 3 of them, feeling a little confused. Was this asking him to express something? Well, I didn't bring any red envelopes, he said with an embarrassed smile. Puchai, several people laughed out loud. Chapter 123, Lu Mayomio. You are the #1 black fan. What are you laughing at? Suluo said puzzledly, touching her head. These are your fans, why don't you show some respect? Tanya said with a smile, covering her mouth. Suluo then realized that the 3 of them wanted her to say something. Are you my fan? Suluo looked at Jiang He. Yes, I'm a sailor. Jiang He smiled at Suluo and said. Sailor, Suluo had a question mark face. Seaman corresponds to sailor, is that what you mean? Yizayaramu said with a smile. Yes, Jiang He nodded with a smile. You are a devil, Suluo's face changed. You are not my fan, you are a hater. Ha ha ha, Suluo started laughing as she spoke. He didn't understand how the title of sailor became his label. Zio Jiang. Suluo restrained her smile and spoke seriously. Think about it, change the name. This sailor is too low. This was started by our fan leader. Jiang He looked embarrassed. I still have fans. Come on, Zyro Jiang, I'll add some fans. Suluo sat up straight, took out his cell phone and said. Tanya and Lu Mayomio's expressions suddenly became a little strange at this time. Jiang He kept glancing at Lu Mayomio. Brother-in-law, I'm your fan leader. Lu Mayomio raised her hand and said in a low voice. Since Suluo made breakfast for the little girl during the recording of the celebrity couple program, Lu Mayomio decided to help Suluo. After all, he was the 3rd best person to her besides her relatives. The first is Yizayaramu, the second is Tanya, and the 3rd is Suluo. Just you a fangirl, a seaman, a sailor. I feel like you're my biggest fan. Tell me what's the best name for you? Sailor, is that a proper name? Suluo held her forehead and said helplessly. Why are seamen and sailors so indecent? Yizayaramu said. It's serious, but when it comes to me, This is my dark history, Su Luo said, looking a little embarrassed. Okay, it's just the name of our company now, don't be nervous, Tanya said with a smile. Brother-in-law, Lu Mio pouted and called out with some guilt. I was just joking, call me whatever you want, I don't care. Su Luo put away her embarrassment and said with a smile. Okay, Captain Su. A smile appeared on Lu Mio's face again. Fuck it, forget it, I'm tired, whatever. Su Luo spread his hands and said casually. Our company is almost fully staffed, and Li Xiaoshuang is currently converting the existing plot of Zhu Xian into a script. After everyone had been frolicking for a while, Tanya suddenly spoke. Sister Ye, you don't have to tell me everything. You are the president, just make the decision. Su Luo waved her hand and interrupted Tanya's report. That won't work. There needs to be some rules. I'm reporting to the shareholders. Tanya said seriously that if there were no rules, there would be problems. In other words, Tanya doesn't have any bad intentions now. If she really leaves and keeps nothing to herself, then Zaya Amu Entertainment will definitely be in trouble if anything goes wrong. Su Luo had no choice but to listen to Tanya talk about what had happened in the past 2 days. I have enough funds on hand at the moment to invest in some shows or TV series. That's basically it. Tanya took 5 minutes to explain the actual situation. Sister Ye, you can handle this on your own. As for the project, I only have one request. Although Su Luo is not the highest-ranking shareholder, even Yi Xiaomu listens to Su Luo at work, not to mention others. Therefore, everyone listen to Su Luo carefully. For all our projects, we must focus on word of mouth. We would rather not make that much money than not make money. We must ensure that the films, TV shows, or other programs we invest in spread positive energy and are excellent works. Tanya nodded when she heard this. She didn't care before, as long as she could make money. But now that she is the decision-maker of the company, she has to consider long-term development first. It's almost time, let's go to the summer banquet, Tanya stood up and said. This time there were only Tanya, Lu Mio, and Su Luo, a total of 4 people attending the banquet. Tomato Music was attended by the publicity director, Kai Cheng, and the president, Zhang Xin. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Kai, Tanya greeted with a smile. Mr. Tan, these two must be Yi Xiaomu and Su Luo, right? They are indeed a perfect match. Zhang Xin pointed at Su Luo and the other person, and said with a smile. After a few people briefly introduced themselves to each other, they started eating. Since it was noon, no one chose to drink. They just ate and chatted. Zhang Xin thought, why don't they seem so anxious? Tanya thought to herself, these two seem very calm. Zhang Xin thought, if Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu come to stay, it will definitely bring a lot of traffic. Tan Yaxin said, after all, these small music websites only have niche songs, which will have an impact on the future positioning of our Xiaomu songs. How about we get straight to the point? Su Luo said as she watched the two people's expressions change constantly. What conditions will you offer for Xiaomu's songs to be included on your platform? Seeing this, Tanya sat up and said seriously, we want exclusivity, Kai Cheng asked without mentioning the salary first. This can be discussed, Tanya said. 40% to 60% split. 40% for us, 60% for you for 5 years exclusive, Zhang Xin said simply. Mr. Zhang is bullying us Xiaomu because we have no resources now. You should know that the non-exclusive profit sharing is already 50-50, Tanya said with a smile. After all, we also have to bear the pressure of Brother Entertainment, right? If it's divided into 40% and 60%, then we can only sign for 1 year, Tanya said seriously. This year they just need to maintain their fame. After Xiaomu gives birth and comes out to perform, they will not be so passive. At least 3 years. If it's 3 years, it can't be exclusive. We must demand exclusivity. Otherwise, we risk offending Brother Entertainment and not getting the corresponding benefits. With Xiaomu's songs, your precarious music platform can be revived. The two people argued constantly. Well, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Tan, let me say something. Su Luo spoke up when she saw that the two people seemed to be determined to continue arguing. This is Su Luo, a shareholder of our Xiaomu Entertainment, Tanya introduced. I know I'm also a fan of your CP, Zhang Xin said with a smile. The situation that was previously quarrelsome suddenly became harmonious. I have a suggestion, Su Luo said. Mr. Su, please speak. I suggest that we keep the original terms and split the profits 40% to 60%. Plus, you get a 5% stake in Tomato Music. Su Luo sat up straight and spoke lightly. Chapter 124, Signing a Contract with Tomato Music. Hearing Su Luo's words, Zhang Xin looked at him in surprise, as if wondering why he made such a decision. Boss Su, you're at a great disadvantage with this condition, right? It's no wonder that Zhang Xin was surprised. After all, Tomato Music Platform is just a small platform now. It is estimated that the market value of the entire company may not even be worth 50 million. 5% of the shares is only worth more than 2 million. Su Luo doesn't look like a fool unless he knows. Of course, Su Luo knew nothing, and just at that moment, the system in her mind gave a prompt. But it has been detected that the host intends to sign a contract with the Tomato Music Platform. Please specify the reward direction first. 1. Money shares. 2. God-level skills. 3. Entertainment works. 4. Other options. Select one for both. Su Luo did not hesitate, because starting a company had reduced her money, and the other options were also for performance. At present, it would be more appropriate to choose money this time. The selection is successful, and the reward for the mission selection is in the form of monetary shares. 1. Accept the normal negotiation results and receive a cash reward of 5 million. 2. Obtain 5% of Tomato Music Platform shares and receive a capital information reward. Su Luo thought for a moment and made her choice. Option 2. Choose success, award rewards. Information. Tomato Entertainment is a wholly owned company founded by the son of the chairman of Character Dance. When seeing this news, Su Luo smiled in her heart. What a good deal. Don't worry about this, Mr. Zhang. How about this? If you agree, we can sign the contract directly. Su Luo smiled and said, I need to discuss this with the chairman. Zhang Xin said seriously when he saw that Su Luo didn't seem to be joking. Sure, Su Luo stretched out her hand to signal Zhang Xin that he could contact their chairman. Tanya was suppressing her doubts. Lu Maomio and Yi Xiaomu had no objections. They both had immense trust in Su Luo. One is his wife, and the other is his #1 fan, who is a bit of a black fan. A few minutes later, Zhang Xin returned to the private room. Our chairman agreed, Zhang Xin said with a smile. It's a pleasure to work with you. Su Luo stood up and said with her hand stretched out. It's a pleasure to work with you. Next, Tanya came forward and finalized the contract with Zhang Xin. Then Lu Maomio sent the lossless music of a little sweet, youthful to Kai Cheng. After a discussion, a few people decided to release the song directly at 12 noon tomorrow. As for the song, Because of Love, Yi Xiaomu planned to put it in the album, so she didn't take it out. Then, several people returned to Xiaomu Entertainment. Tanya's office. Zio Luo, isn't 5% of Tomato Music shares too unprofitable? After all, it's just a small company, Tanya asked impatiently. The 5% stake is not for making money, but to allow Xiaomu Entertainment to establish a relationship with Tomato Music. Su Luo shrugged and said, Have a connection? What does Tomato Music have to do with it? Tanya looked at Su Luo in surprise, and Yi Xiaomu and Lu Maomio did the same, looking at him curiously. Think about it. There must be a reason why Tomato Entertainment doesn't care about Brothers Entertainment's ban. Su Luo did not reveal the person behind Tomato Entertainment. After all, the other person must have his reasons for hiding the truth. Of course, this was just Su Luo's explanation to them. In fact, Su Luo didn't care at all whether the Tomato Music Platform had a background or not. As long as she could release a song, she would definitely become popular. Su Luo had already planned for this. Don't think too much. Don't worry, I will take action. Seeing several people lost in thought, Su Luo put his hands in his pockets and raised his head 45 degrees. Stop it, Yi Xiaomu laughed and reached out to pinch Su Luo. This husband is just unreasonable sometimes. Sister Ye, let's go back. After chatting for a while, Su Luo spoke. You haven't been working for a few hours in total. Why are you going back? Tanya showed the anger of a worker. Of course I'll go back and give her kisses, hugs, and lift her up high, Su Luo said with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. Yi Xiaomu, who was standing by, heard this and slapped Su Luo hard, then blushed and lowered his head. No, we are newlyweds, this is normal. As Su Luo spoke, she nudged Yi Xiaomu with her shoulder and turned to look at her. Hateful, Yi Xiaomu covered her mouth and smiled, muttering. Tanya rolled her eyes helplessly as she watched the two of them flirting with each other. Hurry up and go, hurry up and go. Ha ha ha, let's go then. Su Luo stood up with a smile and pulled Yi Xiaomu to leave. Wait a minute. Tanya suddenly spoke as if she remembered something. What's wrong? Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu stopped at the door and turned to look at Tanya in confusion. You two haven't had any announcements lately, but the problem now is we can't find any artists. How will the company operate from now on? After all the company employees will be in place soon. Without artists, there will be no income, no scripts, and no way to shoot the show. This means that the entire company is in a state of having no work, which is not a good phenomenon for an entertainment company. You can consider it, Zhu Qing, Yi Zayamo said. Her contract expires next year. If the penalty isn't too high, you could consider signing her. She should have no problem with it. Well, I can contact them about this. Tanya nodded. She also knew the relationship between Zhu Qing and Yi Zayamo, but she didn't know when Zhu Qing's contract would expire, so Yi Zayamo specifically asked about this before. But this won't solve the immediate problem. After all, even if Zhu Qing's problem is solved in advance, it will probably take more than a month just to negotiate the termination of the contract. And if it doesn't go well, we'll have to wait until her contract expires next year. Listening to Tanya's words, Su Luo understood that with the influence of Brothers Entertainment, it would be easy to influence their Zayamo contracted artists. Sister Ye, don't be anxious. Let's wait until Zyro Mu's song goes online tomorrow to see the effect. In addition, I will also speed up the update of Zhu Xianjuan. Have Zyro come up with a script as soon as possible. The first TV series must be approved and filmed as soon as possible. As for the lack of artists, there's no need to worry. It's better to have nothing than to have bad artists. Even if the company ends up having no business, then it's fine as long as we just pay them salaries. After Su Luo finished speaking, she pulled Yi Zayamo out of the company. In fact, his idea was very simple. Although he opened an entertainment company, his original purpose was just to give Yi Zayamo an environment where she could sing freely. If Zayamo Entertainment fails to recruit any artists in the end, it will transform and serve Yi Zayamo alone. Moreover, based on the current situation of the system, most of the rewards in the future will be entertainment works, so everything will not be a problem. Chapter 125, Chen Chicha invites a variety show. After Su Luo and Yi Zayamo left Zayamo Entertainment, they did not go home immediately, but drove to the bookstore. She bought a bunch of books of all kinds. In Yi Zayamo's words, this is her hobby. A hobby of buying books? Su Luo asked curiously. Go away, I like reading, Yi Zayamo said angrily. By the time the two of them returned home, it was already past 5 in the afternoon. Su Luo moved boxes of books from the trunk to the study, and then it was time for Yi Zayamo to unpack the boxes. Zyro Mu, I'm going to cook, Su Luo said to Yi Zayamo, who was unpacking a box to take out a book. Okay, Yi Zayamo said without raising her head. Okay, don't put it there. Wait until after dinner tonight. Su Luo looked around the bookshelf and found a slightly higher shelf and spoke. I know. Ding ling ling. Su Luo was about to go out when her cell phone rang. Hello, Brother Chicha. Su Luo took out her phone and saw the caller ID. It was Chen Chicha. Yi Zayamo heard Su Luo's voice and stopped what he was doing. Zio Luo, are you busy lately? Chen Chichai's cheerful voice came from the receiver. Looking at Yi Zayamo getting closer and closer, Su Luo rubbed her head with amusement and turned on the hands-free function. Not really, I'm taking care of Zayamo, Su Luo said. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals fine recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. Regarding what we talked about last time, are you interested in participating in my variety show? Chen Chichai invited. Su Luo heard what Chen Chichai said and glanced at Yi Zayamo. Brother Chichai, I'm sorry. Zayamo is newly pregnant and I can't leave. The celebrity couple only participated last time for Zayamo's reputation. Su Luo refused, but Yi Zayamo on the side became a little anxious and glared at him. In fact, normally speaking, no matter what, Chen Chichai is a senior, and it is generally not appropriate to refuse an invitation from a senior. But Su Luo now also knows the current situation, although he doesn't go on Weibo very often. But the actual situation now is, Zayamo Entertainment has received mixed reviews. Those who are willing to support it are fans of Yi Zayamo and Su Luo, while the others are mostly pessimistic. More importantly, there is a ban from Brothers Entertainment within the circle. It was really unwise for Chen Chichai to invite him at this time. All right, brother, stop making excuses. It's just for fun, don't worry, we've got you covered. Time to go out and make some money, bro. Chen Chichai said this casually, his words revealing disdain. Thank you, brother Chichai, Liu agreed. Yi Zayamo couldn't help but speak up. After saying that, Yi Zayamo stuck out her tongue at Su Luo, then blinked and looked at Su Luo a-ba. Su Luo was amused. Since Yi Zayamo had already spoken, he didn't know what to say and could only agree with her. Oh, Zio Mu, your words are still useful. This brat should be properly controlled. Sister-in-law, don't worry, I will transfer the remuneration for this film directly to your card. Chen Chichai said with a smile. Brother Chichai, it's great that you invited me. It doesn't matter whether I get paid or not. Su Luo said this seriously. After all, it was rare in the entertainment industry that someone could still think of helping at this time. That's fine. We'll arrange for the pay to be coordinated with your company when the time comes. Is that okay? Sure, Brother Chichai. Su Luo nodded and replied. I'll be in Fuzhou, Fujian on Sunday afternoon. I'll send you the address later. Okay, Brother Chichai, thank you, Su Luo said seriously. It's not because there is a show to participate in, but because Chen Chichai can support him at this time. After all, we have to admit that many interpersonal interactions among adults involve many trade-offs. You're welcome, okay, enough talking, I'm going to go eat. When it's time, tell me and I'll pick you up. After hanging up the phone, Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu helplessly. I know you want to take care of me, but I'm just pregnant, not a child, Yi Xiaomu said seriously. Besides, I can't stay at home all the time. I also want to go out and play, hee. It doesn't matter whether it's a show or not. The point is, I want to go out and play. Yi Xiaomu put his arm around Su Luo's neck and said loudly. Can't you wait another month? Su Luo said helplessly. After 3 months, it became much safer. You old pervert, what are you thinking about? Yi Xiaomu blushed and muttered softly when she heard it. What are you thinking? Don't you know that the first 3 months of pregnancy are more dangerous? And you're calling me a pervert? I think it's you. Su Luo suppressed her smile and teased Yi Xiaomu. What did you say? I can't hear you. Yi Xiaomu pretended not to see anything, stretched out his hands, and walked back into the study. Silly boy, put the books here and I'll go cook. Su Luo smiled and said. Ding-ling-ling. Su Luo was helpless. How could it be so difficult to cook? Sister Ya. Su Luo answered the phone and turned on the speakerphone. Zio Luo, Chen Chichai invited you to participate in a variety show, Tanya said straight to the point. Yes, I just called and I agreed, Su Luo replied. Okay, great. Their production team just called and arranged to discuss the contract tomorrow. Lu Mio and I will go over to discuss it. Tanya was happy. There was finally an announcement. Although it was not about Yi Xiaomu, Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu were already tied together. If Su Luo could become popular, Yi Xiaomu would also benefit. Moreover, both of them were now considered Xiaomu's artists, but Su Luo just didn't admit it. He considered himself the chairman's assistant, that is, Yi Xiaomu's assistant. As an assistant, participating in a program shouldn't be too much, right? This is how Su Luo explained it. Okay, it's okay if the pay is a little less. They are under pressure if they are willing to invite you, Su Luo reminded. Assistant Su, don't worry, you know what's going on. Oh, and remember to have Xiaomu promote the new song on Weibo. After all, Tomato Music just came out, and not many people know about it. Now Xiaomu Entertainment is also considered a small shareholder of Tomato Music. 5% of the shares is not much, but what if it grows? When signing the contract, Tanya specifically proposed that the 5% stake before listing should not be diluted, and the other party readily agreed. Okay, Sister Ya, I'll post on Weibo in the evening, Yi Xiaomu said. Okay, now Lu Mio is not only Yi Xiaomu's agent, but also your agent, Su Luo. Is that okay? I'm fine, Su Luo said. Sister Yo, remember to ask Mio to book a ticket for me, Yi Xiaomu said immediately. Miss, Su Luo is going to record a show. What are you doing there? Tanya rolled her eyes. This girl doesn't care about her health at all. Chapter 126. Climbing up the pole V's climbing up the nose. I'm just going to take a look. I don't want to be separated from my Luo. Yi Xiaomu looked at Su Luo, and the affection in his eyes was about to melt. What they didn't know was that Tanya and Lu Mio on the other end of the phone looked at each other and realized that they were both stranded in the world. Sister Ya, if Mio can get away, let her go with you, and then just follow Xiaomu. Su Luo knew that Yi Xiaomu wanted to go out for a walk, so she spoke up. You can leave, of course. After all, there is not much business right now, but Xiaomu, you have to pay for your ticket yourself, Tanya said with a smile. Why? Yi Xiaomu was confused. Because they didn't invite you to participate in the variety show. This is your personal behavior, ha. Because there were announcements, Tanya's mood improved a lot and she started to joke around. Hehe, just deduct it from my salary, Yi Xiaomu said with a smile. Just kidding, I've already made arrangements. Mio will accompany you there. By the way, if there are any good seedlings by then, you should also keep an eye out for them. Tanya spoke up to remind them that Xiaomu Entertainment still needed fresh blood after all. Okay, sister, you don't worry, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to go cook. Have you eaten yet? Su Luo nodded in agreement, then politely indicated that she was going to hang up. Okay, Mio, and I will be there soon, Tanya said with a smile. Seeing the call being hung up, Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu were stunned. Did I just invite them to dinner? Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu in confusion. No, Yi Zaiamu said uncertainly. Okay, then don't clean up. Rest in the living room for a while. When they come, you give them the orders, otherwise you won't have any food. Su Luo smiled evilly and started talking. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add honey. Isn't this a bad idea? Yi Zaiamu said with a smile covering her mouth. It's indeed a bit bad, Su Luo nodded. Then you should stop staring at them. It might be better this way. Puch, a husband, you are so bad, Yi Zaiamu said with narrowed eyes. Let's go, I'll go cook, you go and rest for a while, Su Luo said, pulling Yi Zaiamu out of the study. You sit down, I'll go cook. Su Luo took Yi Zaiamu to the sofa in the living room and said, Okay, okay. Yi Zaiamu immediately fell on the sofa and lay down. Su Luo smiled and walked into the kitchen. Cooking was a very fulfilling thing. Watching the dish in your own hands, using different heat and different seasonings to create different flavors. This is a very interesting thing. Sometimes just a ladle of water can change the taste of the dish. Su Luo smiled and enjoyed cooking. Ding ding, the doorbell rang. Yi Zaiamu stood up, walked to the door and opened it. Zairo Mu were here to have a free meal, Tanya said. Then he and Mayo Mio put the milk and cigarettes in their hands at the door. These are for Yi Zaiamu and Su Luo respectively. Since it's my first time visiting them, I have to show some appreciation. Sister Yamayo Mio, you just came, but why did you bring anything with you? Don't do this next time, Yi Zaiamu said with a smile. I won't bring it next time, but Zaiamu, your place is really nice. Tanya glanced around and exclaimed in admiration. It's okay. Yi Zaiamu nodded, grinned, and spoke calmly. Tanya looked at Yi Zaiamu and her mouth twitched. What a Versailles look. Yi Zaiamu, you are getting carried away. Sister Yamayo Mio. Su Luo heard the voice, walked out, and greeted. Zairo Luo, you have a good image, a house husband. Tanya looked at Su Luo in an apron, gave a thumbs up and praised. Haha, cooking is my hobby, Su Luo said with a smile. Zaiamu, take Sister Yo and Mayo Mio to the study. I have 2 dishes to prepare. Then Su Luo winked at Yi Zaiamu. Sister Yamayo Mio, let Liu go cook, I'll take you to the study. Yi Zaiamu blinked, the signal was received. Tanya and Lu Mayo Mio followed Yi Zaiamu to the study with puzzled looks on their faces. So, you want us to help clean up? Tanya's tone was filled with disbelief. Oh, look at you guys, you're here and you're rushing to clean up the study. I don't know how to thank you enough. Yi Zaiamu took advantage of what Tanya had just said on the phone and acted in exactly the same way. Tanya and Lu Mayo Mio looked at Yi Zaiamu, who was acting a little pretentiously with twitching lips. Well, Zaiamu, let's learn some acting skills when we have time. We can get a role in Zhu Xian in the future. Tanya patted Yi Zaiamu's shoulder awkwardly. Mayo Mio, come on, help Zaiamu. After Tanya said that, she pulled Lu Mayo Mio and started working on it. Between them and Yi Zaiamu, they don't care about whether to help with the work or not. They have a very close relationship. Otherwise, they wouldn't come directly to eat for free. Tanya's words just now made Yi Zaiamu's heart move. Indeed, it seemed that it would be nice if he and Su Luo played such a role in the legend of Zhu Xian. She wants to play Bai Wei. Yi Zaiamu thinks that Bai Wei is really a bit like her. She dares to love and hate, and expresses her feelings bravely once she makes up her mind. Yi Zaiamu also had a candidate in mind for the role of Lu Zuki, Zhu Qing, who is very suitable in terms of temperament. This way, the sisters can work together. Thinking of this, the embarrassment caused by their poor acting skills disappeared. Yi Zaiamu shook his head, temporarily suppressed the thoughts in his mind, and helped Tanya and Lu Mayo Mio organize the books. Zairo Mu, why did you buy so many books today? There are all kinds of books, Tanya asked while arranging the bookshelf. I originally thought that I would record songs at home next, so that I could read books when I have nothing to do, Yi Zaiamu explained with a smile. You are indeed a family of scholars, Tanya exclaimed. Ha ha ha, I haven't touched a book in several years, Yi Zaiamu laughed. I was just thinking, now that I have nothing to do, I'll read some books and see if I can try writing some songs. No matter what, Yi Zaiamu is also a master's student in Chinese. Even if she can't write a song, she can at least write the lyrics. She doesn't care about her face. Well, it's good to calm down for a while, Tanya nodded in agreement. After all, many celebrities start to run around constantly after becoming famous and have no time to study. Eventually, when the popularity fades, they can only slowly fade into the crowd. Zyro Mew, Sister Ya Meow Meow, it's time for dinner. Su Luo called them in the living room. Coming, Yi Zioamu responded, then led the two of them into the restaurant. Wow, it's very rich, Tanya exclaimed as she looked at the 5 dishes and 1 soup in front of her. Of course I have to. Sister Ye is visiting my humble home, so I have to treat her well, Su Luo said with a smile. Chapter 127, however, this old guy is not good enough. All right, Liu, stop joking. Sister Yamayo Mio, sit down and eat. Don't be polite, we are all family. Izayaramu patted Su Luo gently, then looked at Tanya and Lu Mayo Mio and spoke. After the 4 of them finished their meal, Tanya, Lu Mayo Mio, and Yi Zioamu slumped on the sofa, clutching their stomachs. This tastes amazing, I'm so full, Tanya exclaimed. My brother-in-law cooks delicious food. He even made breakfast for me while I was on the show. Lu Mayo Mio agreed with her eyes narrowed. Zio Mew, you guys chat, I'm going to write. Su Luo cleaned up the kitchen and spoke when she saw that the 3 people had started chatting. Okay, husband. Yi Zioamu knelt on the sofa, raised her arms, tilted her body slightly to the left, and then put her hands together on top of her head. He made a heart shape with both hands towards Su Luo. Su Luo squatted down, did the same action to Yi Zioamu, and then went upstairs. Are you two so affectionate with each other every day? Tanya asked with some disgust when she saw Su Luo sitting back. If you're envious, go find a boyfriend. I think Director Ding is a good one, Yi Zioamu said with a smile. I saw Director Ding yesterday, Lu Mayo Mio echoed. Halfway through her words, Tanya immediately ran over and covered Lu Mayo Mio's mouth. Yi Zioamu's eyes lit up, and she looked at Tanya with scrutiny. Sister Ya, something's wrong with you, Yi Zioamu said softly. No, don't talk nonsense, Tanya denied it immediately. I understand. Yi Zioamu nodded in agreement as if he understood. Don't let your imagination run wild. We haven't even started yet. Tanya looked at Yi Zioamu and Lu Mayo Mio, whose faces had the word disbelief written all over them, and said helplessly, Have you discussed the birth date? This means good things are coming. Congratulations, Sister Ya. Yi Zioamu covered her mouth and said exaggeratedly, Zyro Mew, I was wrong, let me go. Tanya was helpless and could only beg for mercy. Honestly, Sister Ya, Director Ding should be quite talented. I don't believe you can't see that he is interested in you, Yi Zioamu said seriously. I see, but this old guy is no good. His head is full of nonsense, and he thinks about Q rules all day long, Tanya said with a pout. I don't think so. He is very low-key in Zioamu Entertainment. I haven't seen any female employees complain about him, Yi Zioamu said doubtfully. Pache, Lu Mayo Mio covered her mouth and laughed. That's because Sister Ya pointed at his nose and scolded him. It's about that girl at the front desk in our company. Director Ding said he wanted to help her debut, saying she had the potential to be a star, and that he wanted to take her out for a late-night snack. As a result, Sister Ya stood behind him that day. Then, Director Ding was kicked and scolded by Sister Ya. From then on, he dared not chat with the opposite sex in the company. Lu Mayo Mio looked excited and told Yi Zioamu about interesting things in the company. What about Director Lu and Zioaxuang? I don't seem to have seen them today, Yi Zioamu asked curiously. Director Lu and Zioaxuang are both in the office every day now. One is learning directing and the other is working on screenwriting. They're almost obsessed, Lu Mayo Mio said helplessly. After all, relatively speaking, in the company, only she and Li Zioaxuang could communicate. Otherwise, Tanya is the boss, and we are the newly recruited employees. After all, you still have to put on some airs in front of new employees. Stop chatting, Mayo Mio, we should go now. Don't disturb the young couple. Tanya felt that she had almost digested it, so she stood up and spoke. Sister Ya, why are you leaving? Stay here tonight, there are rooms here. Yi Zioamu tried to persuade her to stay. No, it's getting late. You should go to bed early. Tanya waved her hand, pulled Lu Mayo Mio over and refused. Okay, then I won't keep you here. By the way, Sister Ya, remember to get Mayo Mio a car tomorrow. No matter what, you're my agent now. Seeing that Tanya Wu was here, Yi Zioamu had no choice but to agree to let her go. But in the end, he brought up the issue of a car. After all, Lu Mayo Mio herself would have to spend money to buy a car. This little girl is a bit stingy. Don't worry, the company will arrange a car for the ministers. Tanya walked to the door, reached out and pulled Lu Mayo Mio over, rubbed her head, and said with a smile, Okay, Sister Ya, slow down, Yi Zioamu said with a smile as she walked into the house. Sister Zioamu, goodbye. Lu Mayo Mio waved to Yi Zioamu. Zyro Mew, we're leaving first. Remember to post a Weibo to promote the new song. After saying that, Tanya took Lu Mayo Mio away. Watching Tanya and Lu Mayo Mio walk away, Yizayaramu closed the door and walked back to the room on the second floor. Sister Ye and the others have left. Hearing the voice, Su Luo turned around and saw Yizayaramu walking in. Yeah, I just left. Yizayaramu walked behind Su Luo, hugged him, put his head on his shoulder and said with a smile, "Do you want to go wash up?" Su Luo stopped typing, reached out and held Yizayaramu's hand and asked softly, "Wait a minute, I'm going to post something on Weibo." Yizayaramu said, kissed Su Luo on the cheek and ran to the bed and sat down. Okay, Su Luo was about to continue typing. Wait a minute, Yizayaramu spoke immediately. What's wrong? Su Luo was puzzled. Come with me, Yizayaramu said, pulling Su Luo downstairs. In the piano room, Yizayaramu fixed the phone in the recording position. Honey, let's talk about something sweet. Let's sing a duet. I want to post it on Weibo, Yizayaramu said. Okay, Su Luo nodded and sat down next to the piano. Yizayaramu was also very proficient in piano and sat next to Su Luo. The two people looked at each other, and then 4 hands gently placed on the piano keys and melodious music sounded. After getting to know each other for a while, the two of them cooperated better and better. Su Luo slowly spoke. Yizayaramu put away her phone with satisfaction. Well, give your husband a reward. Yizayaramu sat on Su Luo's lap and kissed him. Be good, come on, let's go upstairs. Su Luo patted Yizayaramu's buttocks, then picked her up in a princess hug. Ah, Yizayaramu cried softly and put her arms around Su Luo's neck. Yizayaramu leaned on Su Luo's shoulder, her face full of smiles. Su Luo put her on the bed and kissed her on the cheek. It's done, hurry up and post on Weibo. We should wash up and go to bed. Su Luo rubbed Yizayaramu's head, then sat down at the computer and sorted out the words she had typed today. Yizayaramu edited the video and saved the part of the two people singing together as a separate file. Yizayaramu, Moose, the new song is a little sweet. Boy, it is all created by my husband. It will be exclusively released on the Tomato Music platform at 12 noon tomorrow. At Tomato Music at Su Luo. Upload the video and then post it on Weibo. April 4, 2023, 21:38. Chapter 128, New Song Promotion. Honey, let's go wash up. After Yizayaramu finished posting on Weibo, she opened her arms and shouted to Su Luo. Here I come. Su Luo turned off the computer, walked to Yizayaramu, bent down, and let Yizayaramu hug his neck. Then Yizayaramu wrapped her long, straight legs around Su Luo's waist. Su Luo exerted a little effort, stood up straight, held Yizayaramu's hips with both hands, and then walked towards the bathroom. Ding dong, ding dong. The phone was ringing, but no one was paying attention at the moment. Come, husband, let me help you wash, Yizayaramu said shyly. Stop it, take your hands away, Su Luo said speechlessly. I don't, Lululu, Yizayaramu said with a smile. Today's shower took 20 minutes longer than yesterday. Su Luo threw the clothes into the washing machine and then washed her underwear by hand. Yizayaramu, who was brushing her teeth, blushed and didn't dare to look at Su Luo. Hey, sister, are you shy? Su Luo teased with a smile. All men are liars, Yizayaramu pouted and said coquettishly. It's not me. I have always disagreed, you. Don't say that. Yizayaramu immediately covered Su Luo's mouth with both hands. There's no one else here. Why are you shy, dear? Su Luo raised her head, let Yizayaramu's hand go, and said with a smile. You lied to me and said you didn't feel anything. Humph! Yizayaramu put down his hand and patted Su Luo. Hee, I'm just embarrassed to say it. Su Luo looked embarrassed when he heard this. His old face turned red and he suddenly felt a little ashamed. Yizayaramu put down the toothbrush and wiped her mouth with a towel. There's no one else here. Why are you shy, dear? Yizayaramu looked at Su Luo mischievously and teased. Have mercy, wife, I was wrong. Su Luo raised his hands in surrender. He was really shy. Well, Yizayaramu looked at Su Luo and felt even happier. He stood on tiptoe and kissed her. Wife, you go out first. I'll hang the clothes out to dry right away, Su Luo said with a smile after parting their lips. Okay, then hurry up, Yizayaramu said and walked out of the bathroom with her hands behind her back. Recalling the beauty of the bathroom just now, Yizayaramu smiled shyly, walked to the bed and lay down. I took a look at the phone and saw a message from Zhu Qing. Zyro Mew, damn it, showing off your affection so late at night. The song is so beautiful. Haha, I'll release a new song tomorrow, let's promote it, Yizayaramu replied with a smile. I want to find a boyfriend too. Ah, come on, old G. Because Zhu Qing had to film a movie the next day, the two of them didn't talk for long. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930, /TT keyword add then. Yizayaramu opened Weibo, which was slightly stuck. At this time, the number of comments had exceeded 1 million, and Yizayaramu browsed through them casually. Is this still the same cool goddess from before? I've had enough dog food today. This song is so good, I asked my boyfriend to sing it to me, but he keeps singing it off-key. It's so annoying. Upstairs, I haven't considered changing my boyfriend. I sing really well. This song is completely different from Miu Miu's previous style. It turns out that marriage can change a person. Finally, I can listen to Miu Miu's songs. Have you noticed that all of Miu Miu's previous songs are no longer available? Is there an internet cafe upstairs? Mumu terminated her contract a while ago. I heard that the contract she signed stated that all copyrights belong to the company. This company has absolutely no vision. Even if they take back the copyright, no one will sing it. After all, Miu Miu's original version has already affected the soul. These are some comments from Moose, a fan of Mumu, which sounds like Moose. Yizayaramu browsed the comments, and except for the water comments, they were generally positive. Tomato music platform? I've never heard of it, but I downloaded it for Miu Miu. Miu Miu is pregnant. Does this mean she can only release songs this year? Wife, what are you doing? You look so engrossed in watching. Su Luo hung up the clothes and saw Yizayaramu lying on the bed staring at the phone, chuckling. Honey, look quickly. The netizens are so funny. Yizayaramu waved at Su Luo, signaling him to come over quickly. Su Luo walked to the bedside and leaned over to take a look. Wow, he was either full of jealousy or full of praise. Su Luo, who has God-level music theory, naturally understands that the song A Little Sweet does not have too much connotation, but she can't help but feel sweet. When Yizayaramu saw Su Luo, she moved to the other side to make room, then looked at him and then at the pillow next to her. Su Luo immediately understood what Yizayaramu meant. She lifted the quilt and climbed onto the bed, letting Yizayaramu lean over. Wife, I'm going to help you create a mini album with about 8 songs, Su Luo said. Husband, isn't this request too high? Yizayaramu looked at Su Luo with some concern. After all, there are 8 songs. You have to know that Yizayaramu has not composed a single song in the 4 years since his debut. Don't worry, the problem now is that I need to think of the theme of the album. Su Luo had a preliminary idea in her mind. System, use the song reward card, type to choose encounter. Song reward card X1 used. Reward song, meeting. Su Luo did not tell Yizayaramu immediately, but planned to make the music score tomorrow morning and then let Yizayaramu learn it. So we should be able to record it tomorrow, from meeting to falling in love to the future. This order seems to be quite meaningful, Su Luo thought to herself. Go to bed, wife. Su Luo saw that Yizayaramu seemed to be thinking about it, so she reached out and took her phone away. No, I'm chatting with my fans. Yizayaramu raised her phone excitedly. Fans will feel bad if they know you don't sleep. Su Luo smiled and leaned close to Yizayaramu's ear, speaking gently. Okay, I'll just go to sleep. Yizayaramu pouted and looked at Su Luo, saying helplessly. Then Yizayaramu lay down with his back facing Su Luo. Be good and go to sleep. Su Luo smiled when she saw this. She embraced Yizayaramu from behind, and Yizayaramu leaned into Su Luo's arms. Good night, husband, Yizayaramu said softly with a smile on her face. Good night, wife. Su Luo smiled and responded gently. The two of them slept very harmoniously that night, and Yizayaramu stayed in Su Luo's arms all night. On Weibo, Yizayaramu's status is also constantly rising. As the sky gradually brightened, the last hot search on Weibo was Yizayaramu's new song shows affection. As a result, the Tomato music platform app saw tens of millions more downloads that night. The next day, Su Luo got up quietly very early. After washing up, she did not close the bedroom door. Hear winter leaving. A melodious song like the sound of nature rang out from the first floor of the villa, and the gentle voice surrounded Yizayaramu's ears. Meeting you is the most beautiful accident. The song ended, and Yizayaramu slowly opened her eyes. Meet. Lyricist Yi Jiayong. Composer Lin Yifeng. Original singer Stephanie Sun. Chapter 129. Your pain is the source of my happiness. Yizayaramu, who was wearing pajamas, could faintly hear Su Luo's singing. He stood up and walked to the piano room, where he saw Su Luo sitting beside the piano, looking at him with a smile. What song is this? Yizayaramu asked. Meet, Su Luo said with a smile. It sounds nice, Yizayaramu praised with narrowed eyes. I'll sing for you. Su Luo stood up, walked to Yizayaramu, and handed the music score to Yizayaramu. Teach me to sing? Yizayaramu took the music score, took a look at it, then hugged Su Luo's arms with both hands and said coquettishly, Then go brush your teeth and wash your face first. I'll go make breakfast and I'll teach you after we finish eating. Suluo smiled and rubbed Yi Zairamu's head. Okay, I'll go then. After Yi Zairamu said that, he turned around and walked upstairs. Suluo looked at Yi Zairamu's back, smiled, and then walked towards the kitchen. In the recording studio, Suluo sang You Giant again. Looking at Yi Zairamu, who was like a little fangirl, Suluo couldn't help but feel a little proud. Hubby, I love you. Yi Zairamu put down the phone that was recording, walked to Suluo and said coquettishly. Me too. Suluo reached out and rubbed Yi Zairamu's hair. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add, give it a try. Record this song as well, and I'll think about what to record next. He continued. Okay, Yi Zairamu nodded. While Suluo was thinking, the phone rang. Hello, Sister Ya, Suluo answered the phone. It's popular. Both Zairamu and Tomato Music Platform are popular. Tanya's excited voice came. Sister Ya, you're a top agent after all. Aren't you a little too excited? Suluo moved the phone a little further away and started jokingly. There hasn't been any good news for a while now, and now there's finally some good news. Can't we be excited? Tanya said this unhappily, and her excitement was dampened by Suluo. Where's Zairamu? Why is there no one answering her phone? I'm recording a song. Suluo and Yi Zairamu on the other side of the glass looked at each other and smiled, then spoke. A new song? Tanya asked curiously. Yes, I'm recording now. Suluo nodded and replied. Of course, Suluo, you are quite talented, Tanya praised. No, it's just an accidental discovery, Suluo said with a smile. Okay, you're being modest. Tanya rolled her eyes on the other end of the phone and said speechlessly. Is everything okay, Sister Ya? What's the matter with you calling? Haha, Chen Chich has already negotiated a deal. 1 million yuan per episode. They were originally going to pay more, but in the end, they just charged the market price as you said. Tanya explained the situation. Okay, no problem, Suluo nodded. After a few words, Suluo hung up the phone. She didn't care about the 1 million yuan. It was considered as a profit for the company. 30 minutes later, the recording of Yi Zairamu's encounter was completed. Then Yi Zairamu sat on the bed in the bedroom, holding a book, an actor's self-cultivation in her hand and reading it. Suluo sat next to the computer and started typing. Zhu Xian has been updated with more than 500,000 words, and Suluo has 200,000 words of manuscripts in hand. Suluo originally planned to complete it within 2 months, but now he has changed his mind and plans to finish it within 10 days. Then we started to adapt it into film and television, so that Zairamu Entertainment would have something to do in the future. Zairamu, why do you suddenly want to study acting? Suluo turned her head to look at Yi Zairamu, noticed the book in her hand, and asked. I want to film too. Yi Zairamu tilted his head and smiled at Suluo. So you just want to sing? Suluo asked curiously. I've changed my mind. I want to be a triple-talented superstar, Yi Zairamu said confidently. It's not that the couple is so attached to the entertainment industry, but they want to give an explanation to their fans and bring down Brothers Entertainment. Neither of the husband and wife is a coward. At noon, the two had lunch with their parents in Walton. Yes, Suluo's parents have also officially moved to the Magic City, just opposite Yi's father and mother's house. Yi's father and mother also took advantage of the fact that they had no classes at noon to rush over and join in the fun. Father Su and Father Yi did not drink too much, after all. Father Yi had classes in the afternoon. However, the two of them agreed not to go home until they were drunk that night. Suluo said that she wanted to be alone with Yi Zairamu and would not attend the family gathering of the 4 of them. After all, if the 2 of them were present, it would become that Su's father and mother instruct Suluo, and Yi's father and mother instruct Yi Zairamu. As expected, the dinner was not peaceful, so the 2 of them left early after finishing their meal. At 12 noon sharp, Tomato Entertainment launched A Little Sweet and Youth on time. Within 1 hour of its release, the download volume of A Little Sweet exceeded 10 million. The download volume of Youth exceeded 8 million. The Queen of Pop is showing off her love online, and the duet is a bit sweet. It quickly became a trending search. The whole process was so sweet, I felt like I was just laughing like an auntie. My old man has a girlish heart, and I want to fall in love too. What are you dreaming about? Wait, my girlfriend's tire is deflated. I need to go and fill it up. After listening to this, I was so angry that I watched a few videos of the teacher teaching. I felt lost. Nothing else mattered anymore. Upstairs, can I borrow a phone to talk to you? Thank you, Mumu. I'm in love. My boyfriend is singing this song downstairs in the dormitory to express his love for me. Who is your boyfriend singing this duet with? Is he sure he's confessing his feelings to you and not just showing off his affection? Don't talk to me, that's my ex-boyfriend. Yi Zayaramu. Although it is a sad story, why do I want to laugh? At this time, Su Luo was sitting on the sofa in the living room of her home. Yi Zayaramu was lying barefoot on Su Luo's legs with a mobile phone in her hand. Honey, look at this person. Her ex-boyfriend and current girlfriend are singing a sweet song downstairs of her dormitory. It's making me laugh to death, Yi Zayaramu said with a big laugh. Wife, is your reply a little hurtful? Su Luo said helplessly as she looked at the reply that was pinned to the top. Discover Mumu now open. Has Miu Miu been led astray by Su Luo? Is she still the goddess she used to be? But to be honest, it's sad, but also really funny. Is this the legendary saying, your pain is the source of my happiness? Hahaha, this is a sad, puff story. The floor was already tilted, which made Yi Zayaramu laugh. Suddenly, Yi Zayaramu's expression changed, and Su Luo looked at her curiously. What's wrong? Su Luo asked softly. This person said it's a bit sweet and a cliché song. Yi Zayaramu pouted and said dissatisfiedly. Su Luo took the phone and saw the hot search at that time. Wang Jian V. What's wrong with the music scene these days? A song that's just a slang song with absolutely no substance is still popular. Chapter 130, Touching Movie. Wang Jian is a famous music critic who has reviewed 80% of the songs in the music industry. Since most of his comments are about analyzing the details of the songs, he is very popular among those who love details. There are many people replying below at this time. It turns out this is a catchy song. I thought it was amazing. It seems that, as Wang Leaping said, this song really doesn't have much nutritional value. I think it sounds pretty good. Does it sound the same as I do? At this time, many people began to criticize this song online. Zhu Qing, I think as long as everyone likes it, it's a good song. I really like it. Chen Chichai, Zaialuo, you two should stop showing off your affection. Remember to come and record the show. Chen Jiajun, it's a bit sweet, and when people listen to it, they will unconsciously feel happy from the heart. It makes me miss the time I spent with my wife. It's a good song. Chen Jiajun, a superstar singer and a true master of the music world, with his support, public opinion was instantly reversed. Xiaomu King Chen has come out, you are awesome, Tanya called. It's okay, Yi Zayaramu replied, but in fact she was not very happy. She thought that this song was written by Su Luo, but people still said so. Xiaomu, you don't seem very happy. Su Luo touched Yi Zayaramu's head and spoke. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals boutique recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930 / TT keyword add. I understand. Su Luo stretched out her fingers to cover Yi Zayaramu's mouth. I understand, don't worry. I don't really care about these things, you know. Yeah, Yi Zayaramu nodded and lay back on the sofa. The two of them lay on the sofa for a while. Yi Zayaramu felt a little sleepy, so Su Luo took her back to the room to sleep. Seeing Yi Zayaramu fall asleep, Su Luo sat down at the computer, a hint of dissatisfaction flashing in her eyes. She opened Weibo and began to check Wang Jian's Weibo. Using her hacking skills, Su Luo found out that Wang Jian had received money from Brothers Entertainment. Looking at the results of the search, a hint of ruthlessness flashed in Su Luo's eyes. Originally, I thought that I would rely on the growth of Xiaomu Entertainment to gradually suppress Brothers Entertainment. Banning is a trade-off of interests and a business tactic, but smearing touches Su Luo's bottom line. Su Luo took out her cell phone and sent a message. Then she walked to the windowsill, looked at the scenery outside, and muttered to herself, "Since you're resorting to trickery, don't blame me for being unethical." The sky gradually darkened. "Husband, what are you doing?" After Yi Zayaramu woke up, she saw Su Luo standing by the windowsill. "Wife, let me take a look at the scenery again. You're awake. I'll make you whatever you want to eat tonight." Su Luo turned and walked to Yi Zayaramu, saying softly, "I want to eat hot pot," Yi Zayaramu said in a low voice. "Then let's go out to eat." There were no hot pot ingredients or dishes at home. Su Luo thought about it and suggested going out to eat. "Great," Yi Zayaramu stood up excitedly. Su Luo looked at Yi Zayaramu lovingly and waited for her to wash up. "Ah, so cool," Yi Zayaramu said while leaning back and holding her stomach in the Chongqing Hot Pot restaurant's private room. "What do you want to do later?" Su Luo asked curiously. They were now in the central square. "Hee, I want to watch a movie. Look at this." Yi Zayaramu and Su Luo were walking in the mall, and Yi Zayaramu pointed to a private cinema. The two of them walked in arm. After all, Yi Zayaramu was a public figure, and going to a public cinema was still risky. You are not my second choice, nor my spare tire. I don't know when it started, but I think of you when I eat, dream of you when I sleep, and even worry about whether you have an umbrella on rainy days. It turns out that my heart has long been filled with you. Honey, what's wrong with you? You're crying. Yi Zaiamu looked at Suluo in surprise as she shed tears. Zairo, don't you think it's very touching? Suluo wiped her tears with a tissue and said in surprise as she looked at Yi Zaiamu, who seemed unresponsive beside her. What's so touching about this? Yi Zaiamu couldn't figure out what was so touching about it. The most important thing is that Yi Zaiamu did not empathize with him. Don't you think it's touching that a man's heart is filled with women? I didn't notice that, Yi Zaiamu said with a smile. Okay, Suluo was a little depressed. She had carefully selected the items, but she didn't expect Yi Zaiamu to not be moved. I should have watched a horror movie earlier. No, I have a baby now, so horror movies are not allowed. Let's change one, Yi Zaiamu said with a smile, squinting his eyes. Sea turtles have lived on the blue planet for 200 million years, and geological changes have occurred, and things have changed over time. Yi Zaiamu's eyes were already red at this time, and then, Zairo, what's wrong with you? Suluo looked at Yi Zaiamu, who was wiping her tears in surprise, and asked in shock. It's so touching, don't you think? Yi Zaiamu said while sobbing. Suluo began to wonder if there was something wrong with her brain. This, the animal world, is very touching. Husband, look, life is so great, Yi Zaiamu said with emotion. Honey, I feel much better now, thank you. After leaving the cinema, Yi Zaiamu said with a smile while holding Suluo's arm. That's good. Looking at Yi Zaiamu's smile, Suluo also smiled. Let's go home. Well, let's go home, Suluo nodded. Two people, holding hands, strolled along the street in the moonlight. Ding dong, a message came on Suluo's cell phone. Zaio Luo, everything has been arranged. Okay, thanks, I'll treat you to dinner next time I go back, Suluo replied. No, I'm going to Shanghai later, and will bring my sister-in-law out to see her. Okay, tell me when you come, Suluo replied and put away her phone. Who is it? Yi Zaiamu was walking beside Suluo with his hands behind his back, jumping and skipping. I asked my other childhood friend, Jiang Yu, for a favor this afternoon, Suluo said. The one who compares himself with other girlfriends. Yi Zaiamu looked at Suluo teasingly. Haha, Suluo smiled awkwardly and said, No, it's the other one, the one who was comparing himself with others and is still serving in the army, Suluo explained. Suluo didn't introduce much information about Jiang Yu, and Yi Zaiamu was not interested either. According to Jiang Yu's reply, he will be coming to Shanghai soon. I'll introduce him to you then. In fact, Suluo has always been running a company with the intention of entertaining herself or confronting haters on Weibo. Therefore, this time, Suluo was somewhat dissatisfied with Brothers Entertainment's relentless thinking. Wife, let's go home. Suluo tapped her forehead with her mobile phone, took Yi Zaiamu's hand, and walked towards Giyuan Courtyard. Under the street light, the shadows of two people were dancing continuously. Hubby, you have to hold on to me tight. Yi Zaiamu held Suluo's hand, shaking it gently, and looked at Suluo expectantly. I'm holding on tight and won't let go. I love you. Suluo looked at Yi Zaiamu seriously and smiled slightly. Chapter 131, The Goddess of the Burial Love Family. Both Xianian and Yidan Tian were written and composed by Yi Luo. Who is Yi Luo? Yi Luo, Yi Zaiamu, and Suluo. Is this a song written by Suluo? No way. How is that possible? Suluo is a finance graduate. How could she possibly write songs? But this Yi Luo does have something. The two returned home and washed up. Liu, netizens are guessing your identity. Yi Zaiamu was lying on the bed, browsing Weibo. It's okay, as long as I don't admit it, they won't be able to guess, Suluo said with a smile. Why don't you admit it? Yi Zaiamu looked at Suluo curiously. We need to get them talking about it, that way it will generate buzz. In the next 2 days, Suluo would write whenever she had free time, and Yi Zaiamu stayed at home with Suluo for 2 days. Brother Chicha, we're in Fuzhou. On the afternoon of April 9th, Suluo and the other two were at the airport. Because the three of them deliberately kept a low profile, they did not attract much attention. Zaio Luo, I'm at the door, I saw you. Chen Chicha was not far away and waved to the three of them. Suluo hung up the phone and brought the three of them to Chen Chichai's side. After exchanging greetings, Suluo sat in the passenger seat, while Yi Zaiamu and Lu Maio sat in the back seat. The road was smooth, and soon Chen Chichai parked the car downstairs of the Grand Hyatt International Hotel. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. data tag equals find recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add Zio Luo, you will stay here today. Here are your room cards. After parking the car, Chen Chichai took out 2 room cards and handed them to Su Luo. Okay, thank you, brother Chichai. Su Luo took the room card and thanked him. Let's go upstairs, have a good rest in the afternoon, have dinner together in the evening and get to know each other. The show will officially start recording tomorrow. After Chen Chichai finished speaking, he led the 3 of them into the hotel. Next, Su Luo did not stay in the hotel to rest, but took Izaya Amu and Lu Mayo Mio for a walk around the area. That afternoon, a message appeared on Weibo. In 2016, Brothers Entertainment artist Ma Xiaochen died unexpectedly. In 2023, Brothers Entertainment artist Ma Chuchen committed suicide by jumping off a building. Coincidentally, Ma Xiaochen and Ma Chuchen were biological sisters. At the same time, the editor checked all the artists who died accidentally from 2016 to 2023. I suddenly discovered an astonishing piece of information. In the past 8 years, there have been approximately 18 artists who died unexpectedly, and 12 of them were artists from Brothers Entertainment. When I discovered this, I was initially in disbelief. Could this coincidence really be an accident? At Huaxia Procurator Rate at Madu Police Station at Brother Entertainment. In a room in Zixi City, a handsome young man with a slightly sickly complexion was sitting next to a computer with a cigarette lit in his hand. The screen showed, sent successfully. Ding-ling-ling, the phone rang. The young man's expression changed slightly and he picked up the phone. Jiang Yu, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you posting on our unit's official account? A rough voice yelled. Hey, Director Liu, isn't it our job as journalists to dig deep into this kind of stuff? Didn't you see the title I gave it? Shocking. Brothers Entertainment is actually a murderer. What do you think? Is it attractive? Jiang Yu said with a smile. Suck you, big head ghost. Delete this immediately. We are Purple Stone Observation, not some entertainment industry observation site. Manager Liu completely collapsed. Jiang Yu was playing with his own future. He might even end up in jail. It's impossible to delete it. This is the result I got after 2 days of investigation. Jiang Yu calmly put out the cigarette. Su Luo had called Jiang Yu a few days ago and asked him to use the media to investigate Wang Jian's case. As a result, after following the clues, we found out that it was Brothers Entertainment that was behind this. As Su Luo's good brother, although Su Luo did not ask for Jiang Yu's help, he felt that he still had to do something for Su Luo. Then, over the past 2 weekends, using Ma Chuchen's death as a clue, we actually found out a lot of things. He is an editor at Purple Stone TV, where he has worked for 3 years and is responsible for the operation of the Purple Stone Observation Weibo account. Don't you want to do this anymore? You will go to jail if you do this, came the stern voice of Manager Liu. First, I'm just stating the facts, so I won't go to jail. Second, if my boss thinks what I did is wrong, he can fire me. Third, I will not delete the Weibo post. Jiang Yu said in a firm tone that he, Jiang Yu, Wu Chen, and Su Luo grew up together, and this kind of relationship cannot be replaced by a job. At worst, he could just quit and go home to inherit the family fortune. Wouldn't that be nice? However, the family business of selling toilets was a bit shameful. Jiang Yu, I am now officially informing you that you are fired. Manager Liu was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Manager Liu, you have no right to fire me. Please have the Human Resources Department come and talk to me. I will pay you a penny less in compensation. Jiang Yu replied calmly while browsing the messages on Weibo. This is terrifying when you think about it. Purple Stone Observation, isn't this the account of the Purple Stone TV station? Is it that awesome? I suddenly wonder if there's something fishy about Ma Chuchen's death. At Madu Police Department at Huaxia Procurator Rate, requesting an investigation. My Ma Xiaochen, the goddess of our Zhang AI family that year, I now have reason to suspect that her death was not an accident. God's funeral love family. Jiang Yu, go to the TV station right now immediately. Manager Liu shouted. Today is Sunday, I'm off. If I go to the TV station, I'll have to pay extra. Jiang Yu reached out and scratched his ear, speaking casually. Fuck you. Jiang Yu ignored Manager Liu and hung up the phone. This is actually a big deal. After all, the TV station's official directory represents the official in a certain way. But Jiang Yu was not panicked at all. After all, if what he investigated was true, then Brothers Entertainment had crossed the bottom line. In just 20 minutes, the account of Zai Shi Observation was revoked, and then the Weibo posts posted by Zai Shi Observation were directly deleted. but the matter has already fermented, and many enthusiastic netizens have posted screenshots. Many netizens went directly to the accounts of the Chinese Procuratorate and the Shanghai Police Department, leaving crazy messages and demanding an investigation. All of a sudden, all sorts of information about Brothers Entertainment was exposed, and the entire Weibo hot search was calling for a thorough investigation of Brothers Entertainment. There is a strange thing mixed in among these hot searches. Wang Feng seemed to be releasing an album today, but now there's another big news. I feel bad for him. Jiang Yu looked at the content on Weibo, smiled faintly, took out his mobile phone and sent a message. Brother, let me help you, don't thank me. Chapter 132, Su Luo speaks. Su Luo was typing after finishing her shopping trip. Yi Xiaomu and Lu Maomil were eating melons together. The two people looked at the Weibo hot search list with shock and disbelief on their faces. The accidental death of an artist will indeed cause quite a stir, but no one has ever specifically investigated whether there is any connection between the artists who died accidentally. When most people pay attention to celebrities, they don't care about the entertainment company behind them, so no one has paid attention to this matter in the past few years. It was not until Jiang Yu this time that all the information was deliberately integrated. The level of online communication in 2023 is completely different from that of previous years. Once a shocking melon appears, it can even go viral within 30 minutes. Information related to life is even more noteworthy. At this time, Brothers Entertainment was in chaos. After this matter became popular, the Public Relations Department took measures immediately, but he couldn't suppress it at all. In fact, the president of Weibo had already blocked Luo Wen's phone number. President Weibo was sitting in his office at this time, staring at the phone in his hand. This matter was no longer something he could decide. Ding-ling-ling. The phone rang, and the Weibo president immediately picked up the call. There's no need to suppress the hype. This matter has a huge impact and is beyond our control. We just need to wait for news from above. Yes, Chairman. President Weibo nodded in agreement. TT keyword add data title equals beauty. Data tag equals recommended products. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1930/TT keyword add. Ding dong, Su Luo's cell phone rang. Brother will help you, don't thank me. Message from Jiang Yu. Su Luo was a little confused when she saw the message. When she was about to reply, she saw the expressions of Yi Xiaomu and Lu Maomil beside her. What's wrong with you two? Su Luo asked curiously. Liu, there's a big news in Brother Entertainment, Yi Xiaomu said, looking up. Upon hearing this, Su Luo immediately opened Weibo and saw that the hot searches were all about Brothers Entertainment. He immediately thought of the message Jiang Yu had just sent him and clicked on a few trending searches to take a look. The content that was first revealed by Zai Shi observation, so it seems possible that Jiang Yu did it. You did it, Su Luo sent a message back. Yeah, isn't it awesome? You lost your job. It doesn't matter. At worst, I can go back and inherit the family business. Jiang Yu replied indifferently. I don't know how to thank you. Su Luo smiled bitterly. She just wanted him to help investigate Wang Jian's case, but she didn't expect that. Even if Su Luo were to investigate, she might not have noticed this situation, but Jiang Yu made such a big fuss about it. I already told you, no need to thank me. From now on, when we meet, just call me Dad. Just think of it as me venting my anger for my son. Get out, you unfilial son, you are committing a heinous crime. Su Luo replied with a smile. Haha, son, I'm going to Shanghai in a few days, remember to pick me up. Jiang Yu replied with a big laugh. He was planning to resign on Monday and then go to Shanghai for some fun. Jiang Yu is 4 years older than Su Luo. He joined Zai Shi TV station after graduation. He was busy with work before, so even when Su Luo was on vacation, they didn't have much time to meet. Now that I have lost my job, it's a good opportunity to go and meet and see the legendary sister-in-law. Okay, I'm in Fuzhou now. I'll probably go back on Tuesday or Wednesday, Su Luo replied. Okay, see you then. Su Luo put away his phone and smiled. He really didn't expect that Jiang Yu was now something special. The Shanghai Police Department and the Chinese Procuratorate were also forced to work overtime and launched an investigation into the incident. It has to be said that this information, which they had ignored back then, now made them look a little downcast. Shanghai Police Department. Regarding the series of accidental deaths of artists under Brothers Entertainment in recent years, we will cooperate with the Huaxia Procuratorate to initiate an investigation. The law will never let any bad guy go. We will make the investigation results public. Please think rationally and control your emotions. Although it has nothing to do with me, I still want to know the truth. Justice will prevail. Rumor has it, Wang Feng fainted in the toilet from crying. The stars have all remained silent now, not because they are unwilling to support justice, but because it is very sensitive at this time, no matter which side they lean towards. If they are not careful, their career in the entertainment industry will be over. Su Luo, on the other hand, had no worries at all. She opened Weibo and posted a message. Su Luo, the net of heaven is vast and wide, nothing can escape it. Justice may be late, but it will never be absent. At Brother Entertainment, Su Luo's clear team shocked his fans, although the matter has not been finalized yet. But Su Luo's remarks at this time, undoubtedly, made them more determined to believe that this was really done by Brothers Entertainment. Then Su Luo's Weibo was liked by Zhu Qing, Yi Xiaomu, as well as Chen Chichai, Deng Keo, Lu Han, and other members of the Haha variety show. Brother Chichai, what are you doing? Su Luo immediately took out her cell phone and called Chen Chichai. I saw your Weibo post. You're a mature person, and I think you must have evidence, so it's not a problem for me to give you a thumbs up to support you. Chen Chichai said calmly. In his mind, Su Luo always looked confident, so this was most likely evidence of illegal activities by Brothers Entertainment. Brother, what will happen if I say I have no evidence? Su Luo covered her forehead and said helplessly, this is a misunderstanding. What, you have no evidence? Chen Chichai was shocked. I'll cancel the like now and say that I slipped my hand. It shouldn't be a big problem. Chen Chichai had a bitter look on his face. It's already on the trending search, it's too late for you, Su Luo said with her hand covering her mouth. As the first public figure to speak out, Su Luo's Weibo was immediately on the hot search list. The likes from Chen Chichai and others were all uploaded. Even if we withdraw at this time, it will only affect more things, and the negative impact will be even greater. Brother Chichai, what's wrong with you? Su Luo asked when she saw Chen Chichai remain silent. Xiao Luo, this matter? Chen Chichai hesitated, not knowing what to say. Don't worry, although I have no evidence, I feel that Brothers Entertainment is probably finished. Su Luo smiled slightly. He believed in Jiang Yu's judgment, otherwise he would not have released it. After all, if it was not true, Brothers Entertainment would be the one that benefited in the end. That's fine. I feel relieved after hearing your words. I don't care. The main thing is that Brother Keo and Xiao Lu have helped me. If I really cheat them, I will never refuse. Chen Chichai's tone relaxed. Thank you, Brother Chichai, really. Su Luo didn't expect that the people from Haha Variety show also liked it, although it was only for Chen Chichai's sake. But it is also real support, and I have stood on the side. It is worth it to participate in the variety show. Chapter 133, Brother Keo and Brother Lu's Request. You're welcome, Xiao Luo, Chen Chichai said with a smile. The two chatted for a while and hung up the phone. Chen Chichai reminded Su Luo to remember to have dinner together in the evening. Because the guests of the program team were having dinner together, Yi Xiaomu and Lu Miao did not participate. After all, there would be some inappropriateness to some extent. So Yi Xiaomu took the initiative to say that shopping in the afternoon was too tiring. So he and Lu Miao stayed in the hotel to watch TV. Su Luo came to the hotel booked by the program team alone. Brother Chichai, Chen Chichai was waiting at the door. When Su Luo saw him, she walked over and called out, Xiao Luo, here you are, come in. Chen Chichai laughed and pulled Su Luo inside. Brother Chichai, don't you want to wait for the others? Su Luo asked. It's okay, come with me in first. Chen Chichai waved his hand and pulled Su Luo in. When we arrived at the private room, there was already someone sitting inside. Xiao Lu, this is Su Luo, just call him Xiao Luo, Chen Chichai introduced. Teacher Lu, Su Luo called politely. Xiao Luo, just call me Brother Lu. Hello, you dance very well. Lu Han stood up and spoke in a calm voice. Brother Lu, I think I'll be happier if you praise me when I dance in men's clothing. Su Luo's face darkened. She said jokingly. Ha, Lu Han laughed, then took the initiative to walk to Su Luo's side, pulled him to sit down, and began to communicate in a low voice. Lu Han used to be a trainee in South Korea, so he is very proficient in and loves dancing. Although Su Luo was dancing in women's clothing, her sense of rhythm and strength showed that she was very professional. Chen Chichai smiled as he watched the two people talking, then sat down on the other side of Su Luo. TT keyword add data title equals beauty, data tag equals recommended products, data type equals 1, data value equals 1930/TT keyword add Kai Xiao Lu. The voice was heard before the person arrived. Su Luo stood up immediately and saw someone coming in. Teacher Deng Keo. Xiao Luo, just call me Brother Ko like you do Xiao Lu. Deng Ko obviously had a good impression of Su Luo. Brother Ko, Su Luo called out. Haha, very good, Deng Ko said and found a place to sit down. Next, 4 more people came in. General Fan, Wang Mayan, Uncle Dong, and Du Heishu. After greeting each other, everyone got to know each other. Here, Du Heishu and Su Luo are the flying guests of this episode, and the other 6 are permanent guests. During the meal, Su Luo toasted everyone with a glass of wine, feeling a little dazed. Xiao Luo, we are all brothers, why are you doing this? Chen Chichai watched Su Luo toasting everyone one by one, and couldn't help but remind them in a low voice. Brother Chichai, it's only natural since this is our first meeting, Su Luo replied in a low voice. It was the first time we drank together, and since I was the youngest, I still had to toast him. Although everyone knew that Su Luo was not a good drinker, no one tried to stop her. This actually represented their recognition of Su Luo. Su Luo toasted with wine, and several people drank it in one gulp. If it were someone else, Deng Ko and the others would at most just take a sip, and that would be enough to show their appreciation. However, because of Chen Chich and Su Luo's initial performance, everyone had a very good impression of Su Luo. After dinner, Chen Chichai made some arrangements and took a few people to an entertainment club. Of course, the main reason was that Chen Chichai could see that Deng Ko and Lu Han seemed to have something to say to Su Luo. Although he is a permanent guest and old friend of Du Heishu, there are still differences in closeness and distance between them, so some things are not suitable to be said openly. Therefore, a second corresponding social gathering was born, and this environment is suitable for private chats. Of course, at this time, Chen Chichai didn't do anything fancy. After all, they are public figures, and they can't just find anyone to accompany them in such occasions. In the end, in order to create a good atmosphere, Chen Chichai contacted the director of the program and arranged for a few girls to come. I just came here to sing, drink, and liven up the atmosphere. Su Luo was just about to find a place to sit down when she was pulled by Deng Ko, and Lu Han to sit on a separate sofa on the side. Brother Ko, Brother Lu, Su Luo looked at the 2 smiling men in horror. Xiao Luo, although this is the first time we meet, Brother Ko, and you feel like we've known each other for a long time. Deng Ko's face was wrinkled with laughter. I think since we're both young people, we should get along well. We should communicate more in the future. Lu Han said, took out his mobile phone and opened the QR code. Bite. Su Luo scanned twice and added 2 people as WeChat friends. Then he saw 2 people looking at him a little embarrassedly. Brother Ko, Brother Lu, if you have anything to say, just tell me. Su Luo really found the appearance of the 2 men a little funny. They were both very old. Well, Lu Han was 10 years older than him. My wife saw the wood carving you made for your wife. Deng Ko said this somewhat embarrassedly. After all, this was their first meeting, and he couldn't be as shameless as Chen Chichai. He thought so himself. And my little kid, Lu Han also looked embarrassed. Well, these 3 people are so shameless. No problem, Brother Ko, Brother Lu, and Brother Chichai will also need some carvings. When the time comes, ask Brother Chichai to get some more wood. Su Luo agreed immediately. She would definitely not refuse Chen Chichai's closest friends, Deng Ko and Lu Han. Xiao Luo, you're such a brother. You don't know, my guy has been watching your live broadcast every day for the past 2 days. Deng Ko patted Su Luo's shoulder and said with a smile, as soon as your wood carving came out, she pushed me to make her one. Otherwise, I won't have a good life when I go back. As Deng Ko spoke, he and Lu Han looked at each other, and both of them saw empathy in each other's eyes. Don't worry, Brother Ko, Brother Lu, leave it to me. Su Luo patted his chest and said with a smile. Let's have a drink, Deng Ko said, raising his glass. Brother Ko, I really can't take it anymore. Let me go. Su Luo immediately waved her hands and begged for mercy. Xiao Luo, I'm talking about you. How can a man say no? Lu Han fanned the flames. That's right, let's do it, Deng Ko echoed. Next, Deng Ko and Lu Han turned into 2-door gods and helped Su Luo block all the wine. Brother Ko, Brother Lu, thanks to you, otherwise I would have been carried back today. At the end, the 3 of them walked out arm in arm, and Su Luo expressed her gratitude. We are all brothers, but you need to practice your drinking capacity, otherwise don't join any drinking parties in the future. Deng Ko smiled mysteriously and warned. Okay, Brother Ko. Su Luo nodded in agreement. Although he couldn't fully understand what Deng Ko meant, he roughly understood it. Chapter 134, The Eve of Recording. After returning to the hotel, they separated. Ding dong, Su Luo rang the doorbell. Brother-in-law, you're back. I'll go back first. Lu Mio opened the door, saw Su Luo, and spoke. Thank you for your hard work, Mio. It's okay, it's what I should do. After saying that, Lu Mio waved to Yi Xiaomu and left. Why don't you go to bed first? Su Luo walked into the room and whispered to Yi Xiaomu. I can't sleep without you here, Yi Xiaomu said in a soft voice. Okay, then I'll take a shower with you. Su Luo smiled at Yi Xiaomu and said. Wait, Yi Xiaomu said immediately. What's wrong? Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu curiously. Come here. Huh, what's wrong? Su Luo walked to the bedside in confusion. Then Yi Xiaomu suddenly stood up, grabbed Su Luo, and her nose twitched. Not bad, there is no fragrance except the smell of alcohol. It seems that you have been very well behaved at night. Okay. Yi Xiaomu smiled sweetly. Su Luo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this the legendary checkup? Su Luo reached out and gently tapped Yi Xiaomu's forehead. You still don't believe me. I believe it, Yi Xiaomu nodded firmly. But I can't do nothing just because I believe it. I'm afraid you'll think I don't care. When couples get along, full trust is inevitable. But occasional jealousy or checking on each other will increase